people who would have jumped on board to sing the Imagine video. Because when the Imagine video came out, everybody in this room, I can't speak for Danielle, but everybody else in this room was clearly on the side of this is super embarrassing.
Welcome
Remember the Imagine video?
to Sam Roberts Show.
So
They all
cringe.
did it in different Like, it's really painful to listen to.
It was tough. I mean, Troy's allergic to it so bad. I shouldn't have brought it up. Here we go, guys. Let's start our Tuesday, huh?
Olivia Wilde would have absolutely sung Imagine.
Sam
She would have
Roberts
sent
Show.
it to Harry Styles and been like, is this good?
But
You want to call in? The phone number is
now the same people are like able to admit when something is 969-1969.
Follow along on
I mean, it's
social.
ultimately a good thing, but I also go
Sam Roberts.
Okay,
SXM.
I think that some of you
on,
guys might be trying to get off the
Instagram
hook for
and on
previous
X.
transgressions.
The social
You know,
media
I think
site
some of you
formerly known
guys
as
may be
Twitter.
trying to reinvent the wheel a little bit because
I
you're
was
not
all
going to
over
go
X.
all the way.
Yesterday, we had a
But you're
great
gonna have a little more
segment
edge now
with
because
Dan
you see the
Soder.
pendulum starting to swing.
Dan Soder was in here for the first time in a long time.
Way. And he was shot
You know
out
what I'm
of a
saying?
cannon. He was amazing.
Does that
I
make
mean,
sense?
just I don't know if this
I
was
think
all
so.
just
I
on
think
his
so.
mind. We caught him on the right
Made
day, or
sense
this
to you.
is just
Now, the rate at which he's
I will say
operating right
it's
now,
worth being made fun of.
but it was.
I
I
was
was
watching
one of my favorite
coverage
Dan
of
Soder
these
appearances
ladies
going
ever.
into space,
which you can
quite
listen
a
to
bit after
yesterday.
today's show,
And
of
I
course,
mean,
on the app.
they
Now,
were
you'll
great.
miss
Just Katy
some
Perry
great stuff
getting off
today
that
if
spaceship.
you listen right
So
now.
I mean,
but
we've seen
I would
this
listen
before,
after
by the way.
because
We've seen
one of the things
like,
that we talked about, and I mean,
William
he came
Shatner
in.
did it.
hot
I don't
and
remember
fired
who
up,
else did it.
you
It's
know,
always been
about the ladies
stupid
going
to
into
me.
space. The space
That you
ladies
go up.
that we
I
got
mean,
to
it's a
see
theme
yesterday.
park ride.
Is that their
You
name?
go
the
up
space ladies
in the
yeah.
dick rocket.
I had kind of.
And
I
then
knew it was
you're
happening,
kind of in space,
and then
like just
kind
above
of
the
forgot
earth.
to bring
You're
it up
kind of in space
while the show was on
for about
I didn't
3.5,
realize it was
4 minutes,
yesterday.
and then you
I
come
had
back
already
down.
happened.
I think I read over the weekend
perspective
that the
has
space
changed.
ladies were going up.
I would love
and
for
coming
people to
back
do
down.
follow-up interviews a year later
within a
Go,
very
how's your
short increment
perspective
of
now?
time yesterday.
They did that with William Shatner, and he said
But
it was
Soder
like,
came
horrible.
in all fired up and
He said it was
everything. I'm like,
horrible?
this is
Hang on.
great.
'Cause he loved
started,
it the
you know,
first
kind
time.
of looking at it in real
But
time.
that makes sense for him.
And then,
Because he's a
I
space
don't know.
fan.
I
He was
kind
on the
of
show about space.
Yeah.
feel
I don't-
like
honestly,
I don't have a problem with
this
I
that.
wasn't
is
mad at it either. I wasn't mad at
you
it.
know, people are
Plus, you get to
pointing
hear
out
Shatner pontificate about things.
And that's
things
fine.
that
Who
happen that
doesn't
show
love
how
that?
the culture is changing.
And also on the record,
and little
as a
instances that
pontificator.
go like, you know what?
He's not
this
singing
is-
about fireworks.
This is how
He's
culture is shifting.
pontificating.
Oh,
That's
like
what he
girl
does. Remember when he did
No,
that
you're
interview
thinking
show and he
of
had the weird chair so he
the
could sit
Spice
right
Girls.
next to
I
everybody?
think it's Spice
He's a
World.
weird guy.
Spice World, spice up your life.
'Cause that really
William
changed
Shatner.
Well, that was a different cultural shift.
That was
year
the
or
rise
so
of girl
after,
power.
a while after.
And
And
I
I
think
think
the
the
space
ladies, the
filled
space
me with
ladies,
overwhelming
thought that this
sadness.
would be like girl power to the next level. But something has happened along the way where I think people have realized
what was that
it was
opening
safe. And
Go up a little bit. There you go.
everybody who's wanted
passed
to
by.
dunk William Shatner's new book, Boldly
has
Go,
decided
Reflections
that
on a
Katy
Life
Perry and Gail King
of
going
Awe
to
and
space
Wonder. I'd rather
is
kind of find
the
out who he hooked
occasion
up with on
that will
Star
allow
Trek
them
and
to dunk.
what
Like,
his
everybody
reflections
who
are
you would have
going to
thought
space.
would,
I
would
mean,
be
fake
okay.
space is way
The
more
assignment
interesting.
is now to embrace.
I
this.
like the gossip.
The assignment is now to go. Hey, look at
okay,
them.
this is the whole-
They're
so
really
he was
doing
saying
it.
about
Oh,
the
hey,
space.
look at this
Okay.
wonderful perspective that they have now.
I mean,
knowing that they didn't believe that. You know, you really
years,
think that for most people,
we've been seeing this where you
who go
know
up into the rich person
people
space trips
have kind of a high profile.
I'm sure they do
don't
come
believe
back
what they're
with a new
saying, but they
perspective.
follow the assignment. And
But
that's
you ever
fine.
go
It's part of the
on
gig.
like a beautiful vacation?
Something has
Troy,
happened
remember when you
where
went
they,
to what
they
was it,
feel
the Pig
no
Beach?
obligation to
Pig
follow
Island.
the assignment.
The Pig
I think it
Island,
was
the Bahamas, yeah.
I think it's
And you know,
it's a
when you go
wonderful
someplace like that.
combination of
And it's like all these pigs.
where we're at as a society, where we don't have to be quite so sensitive
And you
anymore.
go.
We're better than
That not
Yeah, we are.
Everything
But you go and you have a whole
is this
new
wonderful
lease on life
sort
while
of
you're
explosion of emotion
right?
that we've all
and you
needed
go like, you know
forever.
what? I've been doing
And
everything all wrong.
Katy Perry
I'm
is
going to
cringe.
recenter. Anytime
And there
I
is
go,
no getting around.
basically
I
this
think
happens
it
to me anytime I
really
go
just takes,
outside. I
like,
go, you
one
know what? I've been thinking about it
person,
all
one
wrong.
event
I got a
for
whole new
everyone
lease on life.
to be like,
I'm
you
going
know
to
what?
reprioritize.
I was thinking the
I'm
same
going to change
That's
my
it.
perspective.
And
I'm
then
gonna start
and
the days
then
differently.
one person because they said
and that's going
I
to
don't know
affect.
who,
And I'm going to really
like,
figure out.
Lady
Okay,
Gaga,
no, I
have to
figured
delete a
life
tweet
out.
or something.
Figure out life.
And some people are like
in
seriously
that moment.
going like, you
and then
guys
you
are
carry
bad
it with you
people.
for the rest
I
of
think,
your trip.
I think like
And you're like,
Olivia
here we go.
Wilde,
And then you get on the
is her
plane and you're like,
name?
Olivia
man,
Munn,
I
or was
can't
it
wait to
Olivia
get
No, I know
home.
Olivia
It's gonna
Munn
be a
had things
whole
to
Olivia
say
Wilde
too.
in the-
And then you wake up the
She
next
did a
morning and you go to
movie.
work and
Yeah,
you
what?
say, here
Olivia
we go,
Wilde.
day one.
Who I definitely
And
think
within
should be
15
pointing out
minutes
bad
at work,
people.
you're right back
you
to where
know,
you were
the
when you
lady
started.
who made a
Travis
movie with
Pastrana
Harry
was
Styles
like,
and left her
oh
family.
my
You got to be kidding suddenly
back
she
to
was
right where we
like,
were at.
and you had
On
no
her-
idea.
on her kind of
but that's
moral
right.
high
That's
ground,
right. That's
going
what
like,
happens.
hey,
Everybody's
how
got
much
a
money are we
Travis
spending
You
to
know
send
I'm going
these
to be here.
Queens
But
to
you don't
space.
think about it.
I use my last.
I
You know,
would
we
use
got
my
problems going on down here.
They picked an unlikable group.
And he's got an ability to ruin it. Group. Although, I mean...
Well, because I haven't been on a vacation, Spice Girl.
That's right.
Drag you down.
That's right. You haven't changed. Your life hasn't gone parallel to Troy's in the week that you've both been off. But you know what I'm saying. You come back...
I feel like that a lot. Like when I just,
as a matter of fact, I don't know why anybody would.
Right.
As a matter of fact, you don't check your phone. I think sometimes if you just get 8 hours wife of billionaire fits right in. I figured it all out. Category of unlikable. But the minute you get back into your habits, it's over, and you realize you didn't figure it all out. You're just enjoying.
We don't like Katy Perry.
Like this isn't.
People have felt that way.
I feel like most of the time you spend $1 billion. Like people go to space. Kind of felt that way. You go, oh my god, I got a whole new perspective. They were like, I think I'm over this. By lunchtime, and then when it became permissive to be over, and by lunchtime, you're probably back to where you started. No more hits.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of money there.
Cut her, and she started getting. It's a great morning. Just acting weird.
What, going up to space?
It's a fabulous morning,
and
you
probably
do
about like, oh my god, like
her relevancy
we're all
sliding.
Connect.
Look at, and started making all these manic decisions. It looks just like the pictures. Then everybody was like, "Yeah, my face, fuck her."
And then she danced like,
you know, they were yelling about seeing the moon when they went up there. Oh my god, you can see the moon.
Because don't forget, for a while,
and I was like, I see the moon.
It was her,
I saw it last night.
Lady Gaga, and Taylor Swift.
It's still super far away.
Same level. Like they were as famous as each other.
That's what I'm saying. Like I looked, I was like, it doesn't even look any closer. Like they go up to space, and guess what? Because the moon is crazy far away. The other two couldn't get a ticket. It's not like they would have asked the other two, and they just said, "No, that's stupid."
No, the other two are not expendable.
And you're like, oh, we have to do is get past, what if the spaceship through New York, then we get into Jersey, get past Jersey, get past Pennsylvania, and we're all good.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't realize, like, once you get into Pennsylvania, you're like, great, we're almost there.
Everybody's number 2.
All I have to do is get to the end of this state. Jersey was quick. And you don't realize.
Were you going to say something?
Yeah, no, well, you mentioned the girl boss thing,
right?
And or girl power thing,
right?
And how far we fall.
That's what happens when you go up.
I think if we unpack this a little bit more.
They got
just
sheets,
remember we
and
had
they don't
the
have
girl
sheets in
boss
space. That's true.
movement in the
but they
early
got the freeze-dried ice cream.
We
love girl bosses.
But no, I think that movement annoyed the shit out of a lot of people, because it was telling millennial
when you
women
go up
to
space
corporate
on your way to the moon,
and sort of
you're like, oh, okay, we're already in space. Like,
let's just
get to the moon. As opposed to just trying to be the boss.
And it's like you're working in a fucking office. Like you don't need to give a power pose in the bathroom and go out ready to
going up to
attack
space and seeing the moon.
And we were kind of inundated with this, and after a while, it just got played out. And then I don't know if you remember, Sam. You're very on like me.
I love the I get excited when it's a
Gen Z boss and a mini
full moon. When it's a full moon and a clear sky, I'm like, hey, look at that.
Look at that. There's the moon. Mercury's in
Gen Z boss in a mini.
That's why.
So
I remember Lazy Girl jobs. I don't know if I know Gen Z boss.
That makes sense.
There's a little bit of overlap between this and Lazy Girl jobs. But there was this video of these chicks from
I don't even know where to begin with
these makeup company.
Love that.
You want to see them seeing the moon from space?
It's them doing some sort of.
This is them coming back down.
I don't know the terminology.
No, I'm just loading my
video, whatever, where they're leaning in and leaning out.
Oh, we love boomerangs
and dropping these stupid catchphrases.
Oh, no audio, no.
And
what is going? Why is that not working?
It further annoyed the shit out of people.
We opened up one website.
Oh,
I
remember
this.
Oh, yeah.
I did, and then I didn't close out of the website in time.
This was fun.
I gotta get these videos.
Oh no! Oh, okay.
Once we're done.
I thought it was fun.
All right.
They're leaning in. They're going. They're zooming in. They're zooming out.
Wait, what's the audio?
So they went. They're having fun. Oh yeah, Gen Z boss and a mini. She is a Gen Z boss. So this is we got footage of them in space. Now I have, and we'll listen to it. There is double confirmation on the claims of Katy Perry singing "What a Wonderful World" in space, which is as douchey as anything I've ever heard has ever happened. Like I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
Even the 5'3" and a mini skirt.
People are annoyed by
I don't feel like that's
infuriated
as douchey as Katy Perry singing "What a Wonderful World" are looking at in a way like in space.
That is douchey.
I don't. Did they ever intend for everybody on the planet to see it? Sometimes these things go viral.
I mean,
we just thought this was funny amongst ourselves.
Put it online. That's the risk.
I know. And then they put it online, and they go, "Oh, our friends will laugh at this." She fell off, and then hard. The whole world sees it, and they go, "This might be overexposure."
They're not even from America, and this might have flipped the election for Trump.
Yeah,
she didn't figure out why.
You think this was bigger than the podcast?
Like she was like, "Oh,
everybody says the podcast. It might have been Gen Z put out another mini. Sounds exactly like the other one.
It's
possible. I'm sure it's everyone else. Let me just remind them how great I am. Right, like we've had an.
God on Ozempic.
We've had an Ozempic.
And I think there's sort of just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right, and then
she did. Be considered.
She did almost to the point where I was like, maybe give Katy Perry a second.
I think that's
fair. And then I missed. But then she does some dumb shit, and you're like, never mind. It was a trick.
Beauty company on their page.
She did. Okay, and that's what she did. She's like, maybe if I like,
you're right, and people
come back through it when they realize where it came from.
I can go back
when you
to
realize
all this weird shit that I love,
like
to
a
do.
corporate thing.
You got to make good songs.
You got to make
that
good
you
songs.
realize like now what?
And
are
she
you
made
doing?
a ton of good songs.
It becomes more annoying. People call her the Lady Adam Levine.
Don't you remember when they were like,
that's how good
they
she
had
is.
like all the women and they'd be like boom boom and they'd point to another one and it would go to like Nancy Pelosi.
Oh yeah,
boom boom and it would go to like AOC.
But
it's like two people doing it. There was that Choose Your Fighter video.
Honestly, it's not Adam Levine. I think Katy Perry now has the energy of a character played by Adam Levine.
What are you doing?
And I think that's kind of just as you reach the threshold of like I can't take anymore.
That's her character arc.
1 year ago, I think it really is. She started as Adam Levine and then somehow goes to a character played by Adam Levine. And a lot of the people. Not us, not Soder.
This is the
ladies.
Like a lot of the big like A-list celebrities that are
kind of
dunking. And by the way, I watched this clip,
and Gayle King.
And I was like, this is like a reality show.
I think a lot of them would have
know
been supportive
that if
of
they
it.
had spent any
Because
longer
they would have been pretending
than
4
minutes in space,
because
all of this has happened since then, and we can all admit
enough of these reality shows to know
they would have figured out there were cameras in there too. Emily Ratajkowski, but they would have been fighting with each other. If they had had 10 minutes,
if I do a little
fighting with each other,
will people get mad at me?
And then they don't.
I mean, they weren't in space long enough for her to get through the entire "What a Wonderful World."
And it's okay. And all of a sudden, is this her?
See some of this?
I would love to. Okay, Emily Ratajkowski. She had blurred lines.
1, 2, 3.
I think she's saying that song.
Maybe she did.
I think she take up space. She still looks attractive.
Tamir's in space.
Mission this morning. That's end time shit.
You pause for a moment.
Thing that you care about Mother Earth and it's about Mother Earth and you're going
how
up
you
in a
know
spaceship.
If I was a billionaire, no, there'd be way funner stuff on
by a
it.
company that's
If I was a billionaire, I'd have a trampoline warehouse. I'd build a fun factory like Rob Dyrdek. And they go like, "Oh, you want to go to space?" I go, "No, too much fun in my factory."
What was the marketing there? And then to try to make it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you have a rocket car, no,
I'm disgusted.
Going up to space is not that impressive.
Right.
Look, okay,
I mean, I didn't hear like anything wrong. Incredible.
No.
I didn't either. It
looks
great. She was like, her eyes are so pretty.
But
I don't
honestly, I didn't hear what she said.
Like, I'm a grown ass. She's amazing looking. When I fly over the Grand Canyon, I peek out the window. I go, "Wow, that's amazing to see." I don't go,
the world.
"Oh my god, everybody!" I also, I mean, look, let's take a picture. Part of me goes, if they invited her to space,
just because you prefer the ninth wonder of the world to
there are
actual
people
wonders of the world.
who are going. This is bad. Really. By the way, I'm a huge fan of the 8th and 9th wonders.
Like, what was the point? Also, when's the next flight?
Yeah. Also. Is there some kind of social media sponsorship tie-in?
How was it? You're like,
that we're doing for the space flights? Because I'd like to.
It's actually flat.
You're not gonna believe it. You just insist on it. I had forgotten about it. I blocked it out of my head. But you're right, Mike. I wasn't.
I guess
infuriated. Yeah, it was really. And I think that's what it was. These girls are not going to tell you that I didn't think about it anymore. It's fucking flat. Mike in Florida. They're right.
It's flat as
shit.
It
is totally flat. What's going on, guys? I mean, hey man. It's a plane.
Mike Montone is all over today with the hot takes because
it's crazy. There are
Kamala
edges
all the way.
Like
I was
and they don't want to tell you. And it's crazy. I'd like to find out why. I have no idea why.
Because then they're going to call Buzz. Buzz is going to have to give some answer.
And I went full MAGA.
No, I remember you calling in.
He's been up there. He's going to have to give some answer.
But you remember that, right? Like I was all in. I was down.
Yeah, you were down. You're down for the cause. And then I go all of a sudden, look. Well, I'm glad you called in because all of a sudden one day you were just not. I'm just saying what I saw. What happened to Mike? Many videos. And I guess it was 5 for 3 in a mini. It was flat. When I was up there, I looked out the window. It is
good stuff. All right,
totally flat. Thank you for the explanation. Flat as a board. Which honestly, it finally all makes more sense when you think about it. Now look, with all that said, I was just taken aback by the amount of people that were dunking. It wasn't just the usual suspects. Because theory on flat Earth was that we've had many airplanes, and he looks out the window. Sort of, it's flat. There's been a clear delineation.
Logic.
He looks out the window.
No
embarrassing things, and people who dunk on the people. I think he might be embarrassing things. I think he might be, but Shaq also thinks if one of the first times in a while for gas at a time, where the price of gas never goes up. God bless them, peace and love. Yeah, but people who you would couple with doing the embarrassing things the reason, are now doing the dunking. And also, like Emily Ratajkowski, when you're living the life that these folks are living, this is some dumb shit. Your intake is surprising to me. Because my theory I believe that this was not 5 years ago. Are making Emily Ratajkowski. Is because they're done the Imagine, and all they keep repeating is "We're in space." You see what I'm saying? Like this is where I'm coming from. Like there's no insight coming to any of them. That they just keep saying it's space. Amy Schumer
is back
kind
to
of
making
just
jokes.
like trail off and go silent.
Because I feel like
this is just a minute.
Still, 5 years ago, Amy Schumer would have been singing Imagine if somebody asked her. That's what I'm saying.
That's
if
kind of
if we're looking at 1 minute,
when I zoom
of their
out,
time spent in space. I go,
and
I
it's
spent
fun.
the whole time.
I'm not
just
criticizing
saying
it. I don't think it's hypocritical. I just think it's
reflection.
Well, it's a little
There's no
hypocritical.
like just like
but it
staring
is.
in awe.
It is. Can you imagine if Neil Armstrong
that is
got
the
off
notation of things
the
shifting.
spaceship? The
It's
rocket,
the people who would have
stepped
jumped
onto
on
the
board
moon
to sing the
and
Imagine.
is there anything
Because when
you'd
the
like to say?
Imagine video came out,
we're in space.
everybody in this room, I can't
This
speak
is
for Daniel,
space.
but everybody else in this room,
Can you believe
was
we're in
clearly
space?
on the side of this is super
All right,
embarrassing.
Neil. Thank
Remember
you.
the Imagine video?
Oh my
Thank you
God,
for the
so
insight.
cringe.
So cringe.
They all
on
did it in
that.
different keys.
Wow,
like,
the
it's
space.
really painful to listen.
Okay, it was tough. I
Taking
mean,
up
Troy's
space.
allergic to taking up space. I shouldn't have brought it up.
But
Right,
now
Neil, I
it's
thought we were
like,
better
and I think
prepared
like
for this.
Olivia Wilde would have
Anything else to
absolutely
say?
sung Imagine. She would have sent it to Harry Styles and been like, "Is this good?" But
Buzz, anything from you?
now the same people are like,
He's right. It's
able
space.
to admit when something is
Still
cringe
space.
and awful.
I can back that.
I mean, I think that's ultimately a good thing.
And they
but
get
I
back to
also
Earth. What was the
go,
light up like up
okay,
there? Oh man,
I
we were in
think that
space.
some of you guys might be
No,
trying to get off the hook.
We know
for
We know.
previous
That's all
That's all you said when you were
transgressions.
up there. Wait.
You know, I think some of
All right.
some of you
All right,
guys
guys,
may be
go-
trying
you
to
can go back home if you
trying to
want.
reinvent
I
the
think
wheel
that
a
they
little
would think
bit
of
because
something-
you're not going to go all the way.
Like I'm sure one small step.
But you're
going
gonna
to
have a little more edge
come
now
to him
because
the
you see
second
that
he
the
stepped
pendulum
down. He
starting
probably
to
thought, like,
swing
what am I going to say when I
back
get up
the
there?
100%
other way.
So you think they would be like, okay,
You know
I'm
what
up
I'm saying?
there. There's cameras on me. Let me
Yeah.
say
That
something
makes sense.
poignant.
Like,
Yeah.
I gotta have something.
Something,
I think so.
Something that's going to mean something.
I think so.
The taking up
Makes
space thing
sense.
sounds like it came from
Now,
a publicist.
I think it's branding.
I will say that
Yeah,
it's worth
'cause the
being
taking
made
up
fun of.
space again,
I was
it's
watching
echoes of the girl
coverage
boss.
of these ladies
Right.
going
Yeah, I
into
think it's
space.
some kind of branding.
Quite
Don't
a bit
keep your mouth
yesterday.
shut at the
And I
meeting.
mean, you
take
really-
up space.
They
Lean
were
in.
right. You really hate
Just
that video.
Katy Perry getting
I
off
feel
that
like you're
spaceship.
shoehorning
That's
that
how
video.
Katy-
I mean, we've seen this before, by the way. We've
The
seen
Australian one?
like
I'm talking about the entire
William
movie.
Shatner did it.
No, I know. I don't remember who else
I think
did
it's
it.
like
It's
great
always
girl.
been stupid
Oh,
to
there's
me.
a great girl. Yeah.
That you go
Look,
up.
I also
mean,
don't like
it's
the
a theme
phrase
park
girl
ride.
dad. I feel
you
like
go
it makes
up
sons feel like
in the dick
I mean, I have a
rocket.
dad too, and then you're kind of in space, like just above the earth. You're
but nobody
kind of
says
in
boy
space
dad.
for about
I know.
3.5,
I just
4
started saying
minutes,
it.
and then you
You
come
should-
back
you'd be
down,
like, I'm a
and you
boy
talk
dad.
about how
I'm a
your
multi-gendered
whole perspective
father.
has changed. I
It
would
all
love
just
for
sort
people
of
to do
reeks
follow-up
of
interviews a
what
year
was. 'Cause,
later
like,
and go,
all
how's
these
your
companies
perspective
started
now?
jumping on it as
They
a way
did
to
that
like
with
brand
William
like
Shatner, and he
potato
said it was,
chips and
like,
shit.
horrible.
Sure.
So it's just kind
You said it was
of
horrible?
No,
'Cause
I
he
just,
loved it the first
no,
time.
I'm with it. I feel like Mike
that
has been
makes
bothered
sense
by
for
this
him
for
to
about
Because
2
he's a
years.
spaceman.
10.
He was on the
And
show
yeah,
about
and he's like,
space.
today's the day.
I don't know, honestly.
Well, fine.
I don't have a
Chips
problem
are
with
fine.
William
Shatner.
Shatner.
It
It
all
all comes
potato
to
chips specifically,
No.
but you know
Plus
how
you
like
get
hear Shatner pontificate.
No, it was-
there's a fucking
and that's
thing.
fun.
Who
Utz was
doesn't-
hard
yeah.
on this. And he
Utz
also,
was-
and
yeah.
also
Got that chick
on
on
the
the
record
back.
as
Oh,
a
yeah, they do.
pontificate.
Yeah, they do.
He's not saying about fireworks.
The original
He's
girl boss.
pontificating.
The
That's what he
Utz
does.
girl.
Remember when he did that interview show and he had the
Hey,
weird
who's that
chair so he could
chick
sit
on
right
the-
next
Who's
to
the chick
everybody?
on the back?
He's a
What's
weird
your
guy.
girl boss? They're like, Zadeli's like, huh?
William
That's
Shatner,
from like the 40s.
now
I
a
don't know.
year or so
These
after,
are for
a while
sandwiches.
after,
Go with
said my trip to
sandwiches.
space filled me with overwhelming sadness.
Mike's like, no.
mean-
We both know what I'm talking about.
I think you could, like,
Deli guy's like,
maybe take it a
okay.
little seriously.
Yeah, whatever.
You don't have to
Our-
get chips.
what was
Chopped cheese or
what was that?
Wrong
Okay.
coming back.
I want
Go
to
up a
reach
little
him.
bit. There you go.
I passed by it.
William Shatner's new book,
All right,
Boldly
after
Go: Reflections
realizing
on
they're
a
in
Life.
space.
Let's see what these
Of
girls
awe
have
and
to
wonder.
say.
I'd rather kind of find out who he hooked up with on Star Trek than what his reflections are going to space.
Maybe the
I
computer
I mean,
cannot
fake
believe
space is
it.
way more
That's
interesting.
gossipy.
Understand
I like
shock.
the gossip. Awe, shock, and awe. They are.
Okay, this is
The
the whole.
computer's like,
so
they're
he was
right.
sad when he went to
They're
space.
in space. Oh, okay.
1,
I mean,
2,
I
space!
really think that for most people who go up into the rich person space trips, that I'm sure they do come back with a new perspective. But you ever go on like a beautiful vacation? Troy, remember when
Okay,
we
you
went
know
to
what's
what was
great?
it?
Okay, this is
Pig
my
Island.
favorite
To
part,
Pig
right?
Island, right?
Because you
Bahamas,
see
yeah.
what Katie's
And you know
doing, right?
when you go
okay, we're
someplace
looking
like
at
that.
this video,
And
it's
Katy
like,
Perry
all
is
these
looking
pigs,
at us
they-
at home, which we need. And she's got. It's good that they've all
you
got
go.
name tags on their space
Yeah, yeah,
suits
we are.
because they're definitely. But you go and you have a whole new.
and she's
lease
looking
on
directly
life
into
while
the
you're there.
camera and
Right?
holding up a
and
daisy.
you go like, you know what?
She's
I've been
holding
doing
up a little
everything all
flowers.
wrong. I'm going to
I'm gonna tell you
recenter
Right. Anytime I go, if I pay a ton of dough, anytime I go outside to go up to space for 4 minutes.
You know what? I've been thinking about it.
You bet your ass
wrong.
I'm looking at the window.
New lease on life.
All of the 4 minutes.
I'm going to reprioritize.
Leave it to Katy Perry.
I'm going to change my perspective.
To go, you know what I'm going to spend a lot of time doing?
And
I'm going to look straight into the camera,
I'm going to really
which is
figure
above
out,
the window.
I figured life
so
out.
while she's looking at us through the camera, she's not looking at
in
space.
that moment.
And then
she's
carry it
with you for the rest of your trip.
I found a camera.
Right?
I can look
here we go.
into.
And then you get on the plane and you're like, man,
she's looking at the camera.
To get home. It's going to be a whole
and
new
holding
me.
up her Daisy.
And then you wake up the next morning and you go to work and you say, here we go, day one.
Name is Daisy.
And within 15 minutes at work, you're right back to where you were when you started.
Travis Taft.
That's why.
Okay, but like you got to be kidding. No, I'm with you.
Back to right where
no problem.
And you
had
no idea that
would happen. But that's right. That's right.
If I was your daughter, I'd be like,
everybody's got a Travis Taft.
You know,
like you were only gone for 4 minutes.
But you don't think about it.
I
wasn't worried about it.
My idea.
You were only. It was you. You came right home.
And he's got an ability to ruin. I have so many more questions about what space looks like.
Because I haven't been on a vacation. I was looking at the
That's right.
I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to send a message.
That's right. You haven't changed. Your life hasn't gone parallel to Troy's in the week that you've both been off. But you know what I'm saying. You come back.
I feel like that a lot. Like when I just don't check my phone.
Right, right. If you don't check your phone, sometimes if you just get 8 hours of sleep, you go, oh, I figured it all out
at all.
But the minute you get back into your habits, it's over, and you realize you didn't figure it all out. You're just enjoying yourself.
Everybody loves Legolas.
Like this isn't something. So I feel like most of the time you spend $1 billion. You go to space.
Nobody hates.
You go, oh my god, I got a whole new perspective.
People were commenting.
And by lunchtime,
what astronauts go up
$1 billion.
Helmets?
And by lunchtime, you're probably back
I don't
to
know
where
if they're
full-on astronauts.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of
if
money.
You're going into space, what happens if something goes wrong?
It's a great morning. It's really, first of all, it's a fabulous morning. And you probably like, oh my god, we're all more connected. Look at now I'm seeing the Earth.
I don't think a helmet's going to
save pictures, but I'm seeing it in front of my face. You know, they were yelling about seeing the moon when they went up there. Oh my god, you could see the moon.
And I was like, it's going to be a little bit harder.
I saw it last night. They go to. I think that the helmets, though, for astronauts are used to breathe.
That's what I'm saying. Like I looked, I was like, it doesn't even look any closer.
They're used
like they go up to space.
Get
The moon's still.
I mean,
the moon is crazy far away. You can go up to space. It's still super far.
If your spaceship crashes, it's like one of those. I never went to any NASA.
You know when you're on a road trip.
But I've never heard of any spaceship like when
you
like the Challenger,
then we
get into Jersey, get past
none
Jersey,
of the
get past
astronauts
Pennsylvania,
thank God I
and
was
we're all
wearing
good.
my helmet.
And you don't realize, like once you get into Pennsylvania,
if it goes down,
great, we're almost there. All I have to do is get to the end of this state.
Jersey was quick.
Breathe.
They weren't
and
playing.
You don't realize.
Pennsylvania
weren't up there
son of a bitch.
No, they were up there for 4 minutes, enough time to sing a tune.
Right, and show a Daisy to the camera. Ladies,
they
I've
got
prepared a song
and they don't have
for all
sheets
of
in
us.
space. That's true. But they got the freeze-dried ice cream in space.
And
that's their
version of sheets.
And we like freeze-dried ice cream.
It might, but
I doubt it.
I've never done it, so I don't know.
When you go up to space
on your way to the moon, you're like, oh, okay, we're already in space.
I think
let's just get to the moon now.
Crazy
it's like
idea
getting
when they're coming
to the beginning
back
of
down
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
it's still like just as far as when you started.
That's an insane idea.
Nobody's. By the way, so like going up to space and crazy moon, saying,
why would they be wearing helmets?
I'm just not surprised they don't have helmets.
So when they get out, do we have video of them getting out of it?
It's cool down here.
And they're not wearing helmets.
No, it is cool down here. I get excited when it's a.
But I don't think astronauts wear helmets.
When it's a full moon and a clear sky, I'm like,
who's that? There's the moon. Mercury's in retrograde.
She doesn't think.
Hang on, before. Okay, no, go to exactly. Mercury's in retrograde. That makes sense. Okay. I don't think they even went to space. That they love fake AF. So, how are they back already? It's been like I don't even know where to begin with these ladies. You want to see them seeing the moon from space? I mean, it's not a bad. Oh, this is them coming back. Okay, right? Because you hear these space missions. Like last I heard, somebody went to space. They were stuck up there for 9 months. Now these guys are. No, you could just. These guys are back in a half hour.
Why couldn't they get the other astronauts down? What is going? Why is that?
If they're going up to space, why don't scoop them up?
Open up one website.
Send Gayle King up there to get the other astronauts. Right?
It takes me 40 minutes. I did, and then I didn't close out of the website.
It takes you long. The boat.
I gotta get these videos
to Staten Island is longer than it took them to get to space.
So she's making some good points.
Suspicious, I would say.
Damn it.
So they went. But no, I think Azalea needs to know they don't need helmets because helmets, I think, are for giving oxygen. So this was, we got footage of them in space. Now, I have, and we'll listen to it, there is double confirmation. Let's go back. I want to go back to the play-by-play. Katy Perry singing... Because it was so... What a wonderful world in space. Thought-provoking. Which is as douchey as anything I've ever heard has ever happened.
I gotcha.
Like, I don't remember off the top of my head, even the 5'3" in a miniskirt, who's Flynn. I don't feel like that's as douchey. Didn't Flynn used to be Perry singing "What a Wonderful World," looking at the world in space? I don't want to go. Really douchey.
But are you surprised?
Okay. I'm disappointed. I'm not surprised.
I mean,
I'm
she's so in love with herself.
Oh,
yeah, like you know what? Here's the thing. Oh my God, Katy is still.
She fell off.
I see what's going on. Many of the participants are looking out the window, and Katy is still at her time staring directly into the camera. You can see it when you look from behind. It's such a great shot.
Like she was like, oh,
because you see the one lady astronaut
put out another
is looking out the window,
like the other one,
and then Katy Perry astronaut.
I'm sure it's everyone else.
Is looking directly into the camera above the window. There's no way she can see out of it.
You think it was Ozempic?
She's just looking into the camera.
She looked
holding
great.
up.
She was
her
here.
Daisy.
Remember, we were sitting out there.
Outside that window is literally the most incredible thing you're ever.
She did
gonna
almost
see.
to the point where I was like, maybe I give Katy Perry a second chance. And then
you know what?
I mean, if I brought something up there for my kid, it'd be enough to just be like, hey, this thing I brought up. Like if I brought up one of my kids' stuffed animals,
but that's what she did.
Like, maybe if I like Stone Cold action figure has been in space. I can go back to doing all this weird shit that I love to do. And they were like, "Oh, what did it look like? What did my Stone Cold action figure get to see?" I go, "Nothing."
And she made a ton of good songs.
At the camera the whole time. People call her the Lady Adam Levine. Do we each get our own camera?
You know what?
That's how good she is.
She doesn't have the same energy.
Katie,
sure. Yeah, I guess.
I
mean, you each get your own window.
And do we? Is this my camera? Okay, Katie. Honestly, it's not Adam Levine. I think Katy Perry now has the energy of a character played by Adam Devine.
Look at the moon.
I have to tell you. I've got to tell you at the moment. You know, guys, I've got to tell you.
Guys, real quick.
I think so. I think it really is. She started as Adam Levine and then somehow goes to a character played by Adam Devine.
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
This is the ladies. Just having the time of their lives in space. And by the way, I watched this clip, and I was like, this is like a reality show because you know that if they had spent any longer than 4 minutes in space, they have been at each other's throats. I've seen enough of these reality shows to know they would have figured out there were cameras in there too. Look at that does something. Oh, wait! They would have been fighting with each other. If they had 10 minutes in space, they would have been fighting with each other.
Did you hear it, Mike? She sang 2 songs.
I mean, they weren't in space long enough for her to get through the entire "What a Wonderful World"
Lord and Savior feels.
That's a good point too.
You want to see some of this?
I would love to. Okay. It's the Oots people again.
It doesn't stop.
She said, "Oh my God!" I gotta know who said, "Oh my goddess." Take up space.
You think it was Katie?
It feels very.
Sounded like her.
It feels very Katie, doesn't it?
What happened? She dropped her Daisy.
You can pause for a moment. Oh my goddess, I dropped my Daisy. What did you do?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
You wouldn't.
You know how you know?
Really, Katie?
If I was a billionaire, no, there'd be way funner stuff on Earth for me.
At
If I was a billionaire, I'd have a trampoline warehouse. I'd build a fun factory like Rob Dyrdek. And they go like, "Oh, you want to go to space?" I go, "No, it's too much fun in my factory." Especially in Holy Week. That's what I'm saying. Like if you have a rocket car, no, going up to space is not that impressive.
That's right.
Look, okay, fine.
I mean, I just like that looks fucking crazy.
By the way, I would like to ask this: if God is a woman, why wouldn't God have protected all these ladies from getting made fun of? But I don't fucking go
from space.
Like I'm a grown ass man. When I fly over the Grand Canyon, I peek out the window. I go, "Oh, it's amazing to see." I don't
Wonder
go,
of the world.
Well, you mean early on?
A couple thousand years.
Sure. Let's take a picture.
What if God was one of us?
Daisy.
That's another
Just
great.
because you prefer the ninth wonder of the world.
No,
to
I don't
actual
think so. There's no way
wonder of the
God
world.
is an actual like just like a slob.
By
By the way, I'm a huge fan of the
Stranger
8th
on the
and
Bus?
9th one.
What would they be doing?
Who's the 8th?
Masturbating.
China.
Stranger on the Bus.
Maybe masturbating.
Would it be funny though to go up like that's you? You
yeah,
up
could
there,
be
and
either.
you come back down. They're like, "How was?" And you're like, "This. I got great."
Either
news."
way, nobody was calling
it's
on the
actually
phone, so
flat.
it could be Mike's interpretation.
You're not gonna believe it.
You just insist on it.
Oh my God.
Have you been? Oh, I guess you've been. Oh, okay.
Yo, it's crazy up there. Wait a minute. These girls are not going to tell you because they're famous. Hit pause. It's fucking flat.
It's flat.
Katie's looking at it.
right.
It is totally flat.
Finding all the camera.
Katie is now upside down, flat, back to the window. It's crazy. There are edges. Looking at the camera again. Look at
and they don't want to tell you.
Direct eye contact with the camera.
I'd like to find out why. I have no idea why, but
they're looking out the window.
They're all like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you. Give some answer."
Yeah, I mean, that's
okay,
cool. That's a goofy way to say it, but at least you're looking out the window.
But it would have to be like, it's like, oh, sure, they're going to say it's round.
Katy Perry's like, and then I go, "Oh my gosh, guys, there's a camera in here." I don't know.
Where's camera 2?
I don't know at all. Can I use your camera? Yes, Katie. They're not individual as they want.
Katie.
Okay, you're not using it. When I was up there, I looked out the window. It
do you mind if I get over here and use
totally
this
flat? She's using the camera as a board, which honestly, she's upside down. Makes a lot more sense when you think about it. Back to the window. Space is behind her, but we as onlookers can't look out the window because she is blocking it. Kid's theory on flat Earth and looking straight at the camera, making a looks out the window with her hands. It's flat. He said.
I can see why this
solid logic.
He said when he looks out the window, no curve.
I think Shaq's a flat.
She screwed it up again.
Like,
I think he might be. I
think
think he might be. But Shaq also thinks if you pay $20 for gas at a time, the price of gas never goes up.
I don't like what you're doing. This is stupid.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because he's all for the
camera. Well, I also think that the reason,
and you can't even hide it.
It's all
when you're living the life that these folks are living.
This has got to be
your intake is different. I think that the reason my theory is that this was not as spectacular. They're trying to sell. Steam,
please.
Yeah, it's because they're up there, and all they keep repeating is, "We're in space. This is space. That's
remember
space.
me from space."
Yeah, like there's no insight coming to any of them. People love that. They just keep saying it's
straight from space
and then
to you.
She's kind of just like trail off and go silent.
Probably,
yeah,
but people were pissed too. Even Katy Perry fans were pissed.
This is a quarter
because they found out.
That's what I'm saying.
That she's saying,
if we're looking at 1 minute,
world,
that's
25%
of their time spent in space, and they spent all the songs just saying, "We love Katy Perry."
You saying there was no deep reflections? There was no like just like staring in awe.
Can you imagine if Neil Armstrong got off the spaceship, the rocket, stepped onto the moon, and there's like, is there anything you'd like to say? We're in space.
That's probably a good point.
This is space.
That's probably what she was thinking.
Can you believe we're in space?
So guys, I'm thinking about singing E.T.
I would have started singing, and then you would have. You were the inside.
Are you fucking nuts?
Oh shit! Wow, it's space.
Anyway, we
taking up space.
Taking up space.
Sam, what are you doing?
Sorry, Neil. I thought we were better prepared for this. Oh my god, I just love these songs. Space. No, I think that's good. Buzz, anything from you? He's right. It's space. I don't know. Still space.
I can back that.
You hollering?
I mean,
you get back to Earth. What was it like up there? I like her. She's just showing her. She's showing a Bahamas patch, and she's looking out the window.
I mean, she's been doing a lot of looking.
You know what?
So I'm fine with
it. All right, guys, you can go back
she's
home.
Only guilty by association.
I think she's great. Something.
I think she's great too.
Like I'm sure there was one step for man. I'm sure that didn't come to him as second.
We love her.
We probably thought like, what am I going to say when I get up there?
100%.
These two girls. So you think they would be like, okay, I'm up there. There's cameras on me. Let me say something poignant.
Oh, we love her. We love her.
Something that's going to mean something.
We love her.
Like this for her is the greatest thing that's ever happened. Which is great.
I think she's really annoying. This is like if I were going to WrestleMania with a celebrity that had never seen wrestling before, and they're like,
I think it's some kind of branding.
Don't keep your mouth shut at the meeting. You take up space. Lean in.
You really hate that video, huh? I feel like you're shoehorning that video in.
So fucking. Not that.
Of course you would.
The Australian.
She's like waited her whole life.
I'm talking about the entire movement.
No, we love her.
Katie's like,
it feels like
great girl boss. You want to hear a song?
Right, great girl. Yeah,
and she does.
I also don't like the phrase "girl dad." I feel like she's probably really polite. Feel like. I mean, I have a dad
really pretty.
The last thing she wants to hear is other people right now.
But
no,
she's like, this is everything for me.
I know. I should start.
And she got home.
You'd be like, I'm a boy dad.
I'm a multi-gendered father.
Why would you say that?
It all just sort of reeks of what was because like all these companies started jumping on it as a way to like brand potato chips and shit.
Sure.
So it's just kind of.
No, I just no. I'm with it. I feel like Mike has been bothered by this for about 2 years.
10.
And he's like, you imagine her getting home and having to be like, I mean, it was great, but like, I
really for a long time until you start thinking.
No, I don't think so. I think she's up there hard on this. Utz was
if I got like chick on the bag.
Thank God I'm NASA trained. Because if the original girl completely ignore everything going on around me right now, she's gonna ruin this.
Who's that chick on
all these people? Who's the chick on the bag? What's she, a girl boss? They're like, Deli's like, huh?
I'm glad
these are from like the 40s.
I don't know.
Because here's the thing.
These are for sandwich to go with sandwiches.
That NASA scientist. This is what Katy Perry was
Mike's like, no.
Oh
we both know what I'm talking about.
Does she get to go to space, but she gets to tell her friends
like, okay.
that she went with Katy Perry?
You don't have to get chips.
You want
That's so exciting for her.
Gronk on the bag.
Little does she know she's ruining it for everyone. All right, after realizing they're in space, let's see what this girl does. She's back. How many props does Katy have? Now Katie's looking at a camera again.
Maybe the computer cannot believe it.
And now she's got a butterfly brooch.
Awe.
And it looks like, what are those, tour dates?
They are.
Yeah.
Are those your tour dates on the wings?
They're in
Plenty of seats available.
Available now on Ticketmaster at reduced prices. Yeah, she's got another. She snuck a second prop onto the spaceship, and she's back in the camera while the others are looking out the window.
So bad.
Okay, you know what's great? Okay,
it's her previously.
This is my favorite part, right? Because you see what Katie's doing, right? I mean, we're looking now at this video.
It's not the
and Katy Perry is looking up to her. It's totally different, which we need.
So it is basically the equivalent
of tags on their spacesuits because they're definitely uniforms. It's a plug, and she's looking directly into the camera. It really is, and holding up a daisy. She's holding up a little flower. He's just holding up a t-shirt. If I had to pay a ton of dough to go up to space for 4 minutes,
that's so lame.
you bet your ass. I'm looking
guys,
out the window.
It would be a good idea.
All of the 4 minutes. Leave it to Katy Perry.
How about when I go to
I'm going to spend a lot of time
But you only have
doing.
10 minutes up there.
I'm going to
Don't
look
you wanna
straight
make
into the
most of
camera
it?
lens, which is above
If somebody around
the
me
window.
suggested that
So
I
while
do
she's
that while I
looking
was
at
in
us through the
space,
camera,
I'd fire
she's
them on the
not
spot.
looking at
I'd
space.
never listen to them again.
She's looking at the camera. I found a camera I can look into.
What the fuck?
Right. She's looking at the camera.
You have to the level of out of
and holding up
touch
her Daisy
that you have to
and
be
going
to
like,
go like
people
these
will
are all
love
great
this
ideas. I'm going to do
her
that.
daughter's name is Daisy.
I almost feel bad for her.
So I do think this
She's got nobody
is
around
for
her saying that's
daughter.
not a good idea.
Okay, but like,
I'm not packing it up.
no, I'm with you.
What happened?
No
to
problem.
Katy
I like
Perry?
having the facts.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
What happened?
if I was her daughter,
Probably
I'd be
thinks,
like,
this is
okay,
really gonna bring her back.
like
and
you were
this is
only
gonna be
gone for
great
4
ticket
minutes.
Sales.
I wasn't
Everybody's
worried
gonna
about
say
it.
she's a hero.
You
for
were
going to
only. It was
space.
you were.
Katy
You
Perry's
came right
decision
home.
making is worse than Britney
I have
Spears.
so many more questions about what
that's a
space
bullshit.
looks
She's
like.
dancing
Don't know,
around
I was
with a
looking
knife
at the
and a
camera.
bikini.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Big
was trying
deal.
to send a message to you,
Daisy.
Daisy.
Girls just want to have fun.
Orlando
at the end of
Bloom
the
is
day.
just like
when the working day is done.
I don't know.
Girls just
Your
want to
mother-
have fun. I get
Totally.
that.
And this, what Katy Perry's doing, that's not fun.
Your mother
Dancing around with a
did
knife
that
and a
for you,
bikini.
Daisy. Could you just show
That sounds like a
appreciation?
great time.
Katie said that she's
like, Daisy,
100%.
I want to know about space too. She didn't look at space at all. She looked at the camera the whole time.
Please.
I mean, what are you gonna? You're gonna have to watch the tape of it. He's Legolas.
No one's gonna
Everybody
hear
loves Legolas.
gonna care.
Yeah, no one's gonna listen.
Right.
You know.
And I mean, what's
everybody loves Legolas.
No, I know. Nobody hates
When I
Orlando
was in
Bloom.
space and made videos
People were
about
commenting,
myself.
What astronauts go up without helmets?
Is there anything left on this?
I mean,
Well, I don't know if they're full on astronauts.
I mean,
now the
if you're going
butterfly
to
is
space,
still-
like, what happens if something goes wrong? Shouldn't you have a helmet on?
amazing.
It's really. First of all,
See,
they're not
that
in deep
one,
space. They're in
literally
like,
they're
got
like-
a GoPro and
I mean,
is
say
making
a
her own
parachute
video.
doesn't work, and you have you plunge
Which I get
to
that.
the ground.
well, I don't think a helmet's going to
I'm
save
gonna tell you.
everybody's having
Yeah. If
I mean, the
Well,
levels
they had
of
3
crazy
parachutes,
that
right?
you have to be.
Yeah,
Okay, so what happens if only 2 work?
well,
They-
one
landing's
go
gonna be a
Dr.
little
X
bit harder.
in Mexico
They
City.
go to. I think that the
I'm
helmets
the most
though
holiest
for
of week.
astronauts
I'm
are used to
conflicted.
breathe.
I feel like
Yeah,
a
so
giant
your head
asshole,
doesn't
but I'm
explode
sorry,
in
dude. I
space.
want
Yeah,
this
they're
thing
used
end
to
like a
get
Titanic
oxygen.
sub-odyssey.
I mean,
you have it off
not
when
the
you're in the-
submersible.
asshole.
Not the,
The-
well,
the
if
spaceship.
your spaceship crashes,
It does, but not as big of an
I
asshole
never
if you
went
wanted
to
it to
any
happen to the
NASA training,
submersible,
so I
I
could be
don't
wrong.
think. But I've never heard of any spaceship
Dude, the
like
only
when like
celebrity
the
in
Challenger
space I will ever
crashed.
give a fuck about
None of
is
the
ICP.
astronauts were like,
You send
"Thank
those
God I
clowns
was
to space,
wearing my
now we're
helmet."
talking business.
Oh, I
Dude,
would
what the fuck,
like
dude?
if it goes down.
Can you
Helmets for
imagine?
outside.
Thank you, Dr. X. By the way,
Right, the helmet so you can- yeah, so you can
866-916-9199.
breathe.
They weren't planning
If
to go
Violent
outside.
J and Shaggy Two
They
Dope
didn't work
came
up there for
down,
long enough.
No.
and we could
They
get
were up
their
there for
take
4
on
minutes,
space.
enough time to sing a tune.
I mean,
Right, and
Look at
show
the
a
camera.
Daisy to the
They
camera.
could write a whole album about this.
Ladies, I've
It'd be
prepared a
amazing.
song
It'd be
for all of us.
I would love if the Insane Clown Posse got to go to space.
And I don't think a helmet's going to help if you're
Wheezy in West
crashing down
Virginia?
to the ground.
It might,
Sammy
but I
last
doubt it.
year-
I've never done
That's
it,
right.
so I don't know.
But
Hey,
if you had to guess,
You know,
I think
back
you're
in the
fucked.
late 70s,
Yeah.
Jim Henson,
I think you're
Muppet
It's
Show
a crazy
predicted
idea
it.
when they're coming back down into Earth.
Little,
Yeah.
For them to
little
be wearing
skit called
helmets.
Pigs
That's
in
an
Space.
insane idea.
Nobody's, by the way, nobody's
No.
used the word crazy or insane.
Well, you're
for
saying, like,
Wheezy.
why would they be wearing
I'm just
helmets?
not
That doesn't
surprised
make
they
sense.
don't have
Steve
So when they
in
get out, do we have
Florida.
video of
What's
them
up,
getting
Steve?
out of it?
yeah.
And they're not
Hey,
wearing
good morning,
helmets.
folks. There was some color
strange to me.
commentary.
But I don't think astronauts wear helmets.
You're kind of on Azalea Banks'
taking
side.
off.
Who's
You know,
Talking
kinda.
about
What
all
did
the
Azalea
training
Banks
that they've
say?
had. It's all
Well,
led
she
up to
doesn't
this.
think-
It's like
Hang
2
on,
days
before-
of learning how to get in,
okay,
in
no,
and
go
out
to
of the
Azalea
capsule
Banks.
and putting on their seatbelt.
Wow.
I don't think they
That's-
even went to space.
That's great. Well,
That
it's
shit
not
was
like
fake
most
AF.
seatbelts, you see. Let's break down the
How are they
seatbelt
back
here.
already? It's been like 40
Thank you,
years.
And they got to stop calling them crew because
I mean,
it's like they were
Azalea does
passengers.
make a lot of
Crew
sense.
does, crew
I
does
mean, it's
stuff.
not
Like,
a
they
bad
work
point.
in
That's a
teams.
great
They-
point, right? Because you hear these
They-
space
they
missions.
just
Like
sat there,
last
it was like-
I
it was
heard
like
somebody
going
went to
on,
space. They
one
were
of
stuck
those
up there for
rides
9
at
months. Now
Universal.
these
Yes,
guys
that's
are
exactly what it
these
was.
guys are
Thank
back
you,
in
Steve.
a half hour.
They were.
Why
They were
couldn't they get the other
passengers.
astronauts down
They were
so
not
fast?
crew.
If they're going
That's
up to
all I
space, why don't
When you-
scoop them up while you're up there? Send Gail King up
you're
there
right.
to get the other astronauts, right? We're
It takes
down
me
with the
40
crew,
minutes
right?
to get home.
Yeah.
About
It
2 live.
takes you long. The boat,
Two
the
live
boat
crew.
to
There's
Staten
two
Island is
crews.
longer
Great
than it
points.
took
There's
them
two
to
crews.
get to space.
By the way,
So she's making
if you
some
put
good points.
Motley
Suspicious,
Crue
I would
and
say.
Two Live 5 crew.
Now we're talking.
In that spaceship,
but no, I think Azalea
the debauchery.
they don't need helmets
minutes in
because
space.
helmets,
the debauchery that they could
for
do.
giving
oxygen with Uncle Luke.
I mean, they would never be able to show the footage. Never.
They'd have strippers with them.
Yeah,
let's go back. I want to go back to the play-by-play in the spaceship.
We did not send those strippers up. The amount of sterilization, they'd have to throw out the spaceship. It'd just be fluids and DNA would be all over it. Yeah, it's disgusting. They go in hazmat suits to get rid of it.
Who's Flynn?
I can't help but think.
Didn't Flynn used to be known as
I'm
Walt
watching
Jr.?
it right now.
I'm 2 episodes in.
I'm in space.
But I do feel like
I don't want to
just
go.
the footage of them inside the spaceship is guaranteeing us that Charlie Brooker As another stuffed animal. Like, because there's no way that this is another thing.
By the way,
my God, Katie is still.
Yes,
I see what's going on.
Did you see in the first episode?
Many of the participants are looking out the window.
Second episode, maybe?
Katie is still.
They had a guy
staring directly into the camera,
and it wasn't
you
the point of the episode.
When you look from behind, it's such a great shot. Because you see the one lady,
with the
eye thing and everything, is looking out the window.
Those celebrities
and then
being up
Katy
in
Perry
space was
astronaut
like,
is looking directly into the camera above the window.
Like, what
There's
happens
no way
when
she
they
can
get
see
stuck
out of it.
There,
She's just looking into the
when
camera,
they go into an alien ship,
holding
just
up
something. It's
Daisy.
ripe.
Outside
There's
that
millions
window,
of
literally
possibilities
the most incredible thing
that a
you're ever
genius
gonna
like
see.
Charlie Brooker
And she's
could take.
I mean,
it
if I
in.
brought something
You know
up there
what I
for my
mean?
kid,
You have
it'd be
to do
enough
it.
to just be like, "Hey, this thing I brought up." Like if
Okay,
I brought
so
up one of my
this is the
kids'
landing?
stuffed animals.
This is when
and
they're
I'm like,
Stone Cold action figure.
Okay.
Now your favorite Stone
Did you
Cold
hear
action
this?
figure has been in space.
I'm not sure.
with the title.
Yeah, and then if I was
Deploy
like,
from
and
the
they were
crew
like, "Oh,
capsule,
what does
those
it
are
look
like the
like? What did my
dive
Stone Cold
parachutes.
action figure get to see?" I go
They're
nuts.
drogue
I had
parachutes,
pointed at the
just
camera the
free
whole time.
there until those
So you
drogues
could
came
see.
out.
You could
Spring
see.
break forever.
Do we each get our own
The main
camera?
parachutes that
Yeah, Katie,
pulled
sure.
out.
I guess. Well, I mean, you each get your own window.
That screaming inside the
And do we, is
capsule.
this my camera?
Three
Okay,
pair
Katie.
percussion that
Sure. I mean, it
dust.
is literally.
It's Tower of
The
Terror.
moon.
Yeah,
You
it's a
guys,
theme park ride.
I have to tell you, look at the moon.
I have to tell you. I've got to tell you.
Are coming back to
You know,
Earth.
guys,
Let's hear what
I've
they've
got to
to say.
Guys,
Buzz, we're coming back
real quick.
down.
What'd you expect to see up there?
Yeah, guys, I got to tell you, the moon's in the sky.
What?
You're kidding me. You're kidding me. Yes,
space.
Queens, we did
It's over
it.
there.
Yeah, yeah. Located centrally in
I
space.
mean, it is.
Messy.
It is exactly the sounds you hear
I have to tell you, look at the moon.
at the last drop of a roller
I have to
coaster.
tell you.
That's amazing.
I've been to Six Flags. I've heard this.
100%. And they're fun sounds.
Look at the blue line.
But they're not.
Oh, wait.
Like
Did
if you
hear
come
it?
to me and go like, "Oh my God, I have to
Mike's
tell you about
gonna be
this experience
pissed.
I had on King Dakar." Did you hear it, Mike?
Oh yeah.
I go, "No, what? How you feel?
Right, I didn't
Good or
mean to bring
bad?
that up, actually. Rest
It's
in peace.
still
I want to know how our Lord
it
and
is.
Savior feels.
That's a good point too.
Let's hear him.
Those damn potato
They're great.
chips.
It's the Oots people
It's a
again.
very
Doesn't stop.
soft landing despite the
said, "Oh,
sporty perception.
I gotta know who said, "Oh my God."
You think it was Katie?
It feels
That
very.
sounded like her.
It feels very Katie, doesn't it?
Dropped her daisy.
Oh my goddess, I dropped my.
You know what my favorite part of this moment is?
Space.
They are so gleeful.
Yeah.
And that was so fun, and then they land,
At least she's
and
not
they
using
are
the actual
laughing
Lord's
to
name in
each other.
vain.
Like,
Dropping
this is going to be
JCs?
great.
Yeah.
They have no idea
You can't be dropping
that
JC.
everyone's going to be
Especially-
dunking on them as soon as
So
they get
everyone
out.
Especially in
loves us
Holy
now,
Week.
right?
Yeah,
Called
they're
Jesus
like,
Christ.
they're like, we did it. This is fantastic. What do they say? Well, you guys missed some stuff while you were up in space.
All right, guys, don't go on the internet.
By the way, I would like to ask this: if God is a
this is
woman,
tough.
why wouldn't God have protected all
This
these
is
ladies
tough.
from getting made fun of and mocked when they got back from space?
Yeah,
now I mean, I wonder if people are still going to want to go up into the Bezos spacecraft
God
because
is a
they
woman.
know,
She was asleep at the switch for quite
even
a
though
while.
they get dunked on. You mean early on?
I really think.
Like if I was like Travis,
What if God was
you
one
can
of
go to
us?
space.
I go.
That's another great.
But
point,
yeah, there's
Travis.
no
The
I
whole
don't
world
think
gets
so.
to
There's no
dunk
way
on you for
God
as long as
is
they want.
I don't
just like
think.
a slob
I think it's
like one
really
of us.
specific to
Just
the
the people
stranger
that
on the
are going
bus.
up.
Nobody
What would they
dunked
be
on
doing?
Shatner.
Masturbate.
But now-
stranger on the bus.
Maybe
I mean,
Are they shit on Gail King?
that could be like.
Katie's fault.
well, I think it's
Either way,
they're a little
nobody was
bit
calling on
Gail
the phone,
because she
so
was
it could be
terrified.
could be
Oh,
Mike's
she was
about to
interpretation.
She's going into space.
But that's
my
okay.
God.
But nobody's dunking
It is
on
valid. Got us. Well, I think she's like third up. I think. I mean, everybody's dunking on Katy Perry, and we're
Wait a
getting a
minute.
little bit of the dunking on
All in
Bezos.
her.
Hit
People just don't
pause.
like her.
Yeah.
Right, they were dunking on
Katie's
her.
looking at
regardless.
another camera.
Well, like if
Of
Walton
course
Goggins
she
goes
is.
up in space,
She's
everyone's
finding
gonna be like,
all
he's
the
fucking
camera-
man.
Katie
honestly,
is
Walton
now
Goggins
upside
could
down,
save space
back
missions for
to
everyone.
the window,
He's the one that's got to go to reverse
looking
this
at
whole
the
trend.
camera again.
Because he wouldn't do any
Look,
dumb
her
shit.
eyes are
He'd
making
look
direct
cool
eye
in
contact with the
space.
camera.
But
Everyone
he'd have
else,
to put
I
a
don't
lot
have
of
problem
slick
with.
They're looking at the
whatever
window.
in his
They're all
hair.
like, oh my
'Cause
gosh,
he
I
wouldn't
gotta
want it
tell
going
you,
all over
there's the
the
moon.
place.
He should wear a helmet.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like,
that's-
okay, cool.
That's a
Probably
goofy
wear
way to
helmet.
say it, but at least you're
Because he
looking
went
out the
Or he
window.
can wear some of At those least you Walton saw the Goggins moon. goggles.
Katy Perry's like,
They'd
oh
probably
my
pay for
gosh,
the
guys,
trip.
there's a camera
But
in
like, I
here.
really think that it's
where's
specific
camera
to the
two?
person that's
Yeah.
going up there.
Can I use your camera?
Katy Perry
Yes, Katie, they're not
found herself
individual
perfect
cameras.
example. And she
okay,
made it
if you're
worse
not
by
using it,
what she was doing up there.
That's right.
You mind if I get over
That's
here
right.
and use this
It was
camera?
tough. She's
Like,
using the
unveiling
camera
your set
again.
list and spin.
Like she's upside down.
It's publicist. It's a
Back to
publicist.
the window. Space is behind her, but we, as onlookers, can't look out the window.
I don't wanna go
because she
anymore.
is blocking it and looking straight at the camera, making a
Did we
heart
sell more
gesture with
tickets
her
to the
hands.
tour?
Well,
I can see why this.
Yeah, that's actually actually
people hate Katy Perry more.
Yeah,
more. She screwed it up again.
Like I didn't see some of this footage, and now I'm
Probably
like,
shouldn't have
I
offered
don't like her.
Right, as a human, right?
We'll have to move
I don't
down
like
to the
you.
theater.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
We got a
that's
Chrissy
right.
D.
Yeah, we got a Chrissy D. They're calling it. And but you're calling it a Chrissy D effect.
It's all performative. Yep. She doesn't even know who she is anymore.
This has got to be great for
Katy Perry just starts being manic and
Trying to
having
sell her
anxiety.
Eras tour. Moving houses.
Yeah, moving her family. That is what this is. Orlando, we got to move. I'm not close enough to the bagel shop.
Because nobody wants to.
Orlando's like, what? This should help.
This will help.
Remember me from space?
Yeah, I wonder.
I'll be in your town.
People love that. Straight feel like there's any recovery.
She's probably making footage for her live show.
People returning
Probably, but people were pissed too. Even Katy Perry fans were pissed because they found out
there was also
that
this
she
wonderful
sang
moment
"What a Wonderful
where they had a
World,"
wide
and they were
shot
like, "You didn't
of,
sing E.T."
Of the spaceship. Of all the songs, spaceship after
we
all.
love Katy Perry.
And Jeff Bezos
you didn't sing E.T.
had to be there
on that, so maybe he
to greet his lady, right? And, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. I mean, I'm going to tell you something.
You don't even
seeing a billionaire fall down flat on his face.
He's walking around with a clan.
Like just seeing a billionaire trip. No amount of money. No amount of money will give you coordination.
Guys, I think about singing E.T.
I would have started singing, and then there's your receding hairline. It's back.
Are you fucking nuts?
Like, oh shit!
Still that guy. Honey, are you okay?
Are you okay? I've been working out. I got a couple pumps.
Sam, what are you doing?
Sorry,
it makes it sound like that. Oh my god! I just love these songs.
No way to make that.
No. I think that's good. He's running around the spacecraft, and then Jeff Bezos just falls flat on his face. And it really does bring pleasure to the world. I don't know.
She's pretty.
Jonathan in Connecticut?
I mean,
you can holler.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, man. I like her. She's just showing her. She's showing a Bahamas
because
patch.
There's so much content.
And she's looking out the window.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been doing a lot of
picking out.
You know what? I'm fine with
that's right.
That
I think
when we see it fake,
she's only guilty by
association.
association. I think she's great.
We just,
I think she's great too. I think there was
know when an
that was like the
actual
first
moment
Vietnamese
now.
person.
That's true. There's a very sort of like
the other girl that was too.
trying to like I like the Bohemian girl way of doing things.
Former NASA rocket
and the kind of
we love
her. We love fake everything back in the day, but now people
we love her.
Know what authenticity looks like publicly,
which is great.
And really, you're right. This is like if I were going to WrestleMania with a celebrity that had never seen wrestling before.
I always use the example of
this is actually great.
Everyone does the fast food reviews. I'm like, you're just trying to be relevant, doing nothing. But then I watch Review Brawl every day of the week. I was like, this guy just loves doing fast food reviews.
Right.
Of course you would.
She's like waited her whole life
himself because that's what he loves to do.
No, we love
other people just trying to be relevant.
Right.
The game.
Right. Yeah, that one lady.
And she does
it.
it.
The NASA scientist that was on the spaceship.
She's probably really polite.
She's the review bra of this mission.
The last thing she wants to hear is other people.
We love review bra.
Exactly.
No, thank you, Jonathan. I think this is 100% right. I think, and she got home. I think people sniff out inauthenticity. But she was probably talking to one of her friends. Very little that's less appealing than somebody who's inauthentic.
Yeah, we don't like it anymore.
We can't have it. Well, in that case, there's too much authenticity out there. And authenticity is an attractive, appealing thing. You know, like you just want to be around. You want to be around. But I mean, can you imagine her getting home? You want to be around, like just knowing somebody, whether you agree, like, dislike. It's like if somebody's being real. I don't think so. I think she's up there going like, oh my god, part of the thing. If I don't like,
there's anything.
Thank God I'm NASA trained. Well, that's the worry,
because
right?
if I don't completely ignore everything going on around me right now,
she's going to ruin this for me. All these people are going to ruin this for me.
She needs to stop being polite.
She probably just comes back.
Start getting real.
I'm glad they're shitting on them.
True story. Because here's the thing.
Nobody's talking like her.
That NASA scientist.
I don't know. How do you come back?
This is what Katy Perry was thinking.
Right? I mean,
oh my God.
I mean,
what? Not only does she get to go to space, but she gets to tell her friends.
Yeah, she's gone for 10 minutes.
As far as you could possibly get, dude.
That's so exciting.
Wendy's is dunking on her.
What is that?
Little does she know she's ruining it for everyone.
I saw that tweet and I was like, I could go for a double cheeseburger.
Yeah,
Same.
I kind of feel like a biggie bag.
She's back. How many props does Katie have? I'll tell you, it made me feel a lot better about looking Hooters, at a camera again, showing respect to me. And now she's got a butterfly. Because at one point you go, they're a corporate brand, and it looks like one of those tour dates. But I mean, realizing that Hooters wanted to, they could have dunked on me, and they didn't.
They're authentic.
Plenty of seats available.
Available now on Ticketmaster at reduced prices. Was it insulting to me? She got another. It would fuck me up for the rest. It would fuck me up for the rest of my life.
Can you imagine if you're Katy Perry, your favorite thing is a Baconator,
and she's back in the camera while the others are looking out the window.
What's his face said that his favorite band was Rage Against the Machine.
What does it say?
It's her previously unreleased set list for her.
And then Tom Morello goes, "You are the machine, you stupid idiot!
It's not the Don't listen to my music.
Lifetime tours is totally different. That would fuck me up forever.
That would crush me.
So it is basically the equivalent of putting up you, Sam.
This vapid woman.
like, I don't think
very rich Voss.
I'm not going to live a life as a public person anymore.
Voss would have
I mean, I can't look at myself in the mirror.
It
really is.
Barry doesn't like Wendy's.
And by the way,
holding up a
if Katie
t-shirt.
couldn't look at herself in the mirror, she might as well gouge her eyes out. Like, what else is she looking into?
Hey guys, you know what would be a good idea? I haven't.
And they're like, bring her back home, and she's like, I can really go for.
How about when I go to sleep? But you only have 10 minutes
like,
up there. Don't you want to make
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Katie,
if somebody around me suggested that I do that while I was in space, I'd fire them on the spot. I'd never listen to them again. Katy Perry has returned from space. And Wendy's responded,
like, what the fuck, dude?
Can we send her back? You have to, the level of out of touch that you have to be to go like, these are all great ideas, I'm going to do them. No, it's fucked up. I almost feel bad for her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens.
She's got nobody around her saying that's not a good
Instagram has to all be a say
social media man.
Yeah, like what happened to Katy Perry? They really do. They really can shape a brand.
Yeah. She probably thinks like this is.
But you know what? Whoever is running that account is hired to do that specific thing. Just like
I think
Steakums account.
Say she's a hero.
Yeah, they did a good job. Katy Perry's decision making is worse than Britney Spears. That's true. You were a big Steakums guy for a while.
Why is that?
She danced around with a knife in a bikini. Should know the
big deal.
I was like,
girls just want to have fun.
And they're made.
When the working day is done, right? I've never had a Steakum before, and this, I think you just what Katy Perry's doing. That's not fun. Dancing around with Wendy's the same way. I bet there were a lot of people. Great time. Travis, who see this tweet and go like, okay, what they send it out 8:26 p.m. last night. I bet there are people waking up seeing the tweet. I mean, what are you gonna? You don't just watch out Wendy's does breakfast.
No one's gonna hear it. You know what?
I might swing by the drive-thru on my way to work.
Breakfast, lunch, and
I mean, what's
I might do a 3-peat at Wendy's today.
When I was in space and made videos about myself. Yeah, people. Is there anything left on this? Well, I mean, you're always going to have now the butterfly is free.
Whoa.
Your stands.
That's amazing.
You know, but see that
Can I get
one.
a JBC, please?
Literally brought a GoPro.
Looks like there's a
Dave's double in my future, which I get that.
I'm telling you, I should go for one today.
Everybody's having a great time.
LMFAO. This is pretty bold. Yeah, you just scroll down the nonsense bots. That you have to be. Interns be wild. They do be wild. Dr. X in Mexico City. We should have put Danielle in charge of Sam Roberts' show Twitter account.
That would be fun.
I feel like a giant asshole, but I'm sorry, dude. I want
dropping
to
bombs on people.
Like
just make it funny and witty.
Right, not the submersible. Right, and every now and then shit on somebody that safe, it does, but not as big of an asshole if you wanted it to happen to the submersible. I don't think
would have been crazy.
Oh yeah,
well,
would have.
Dude, the
they really would have.
Space I would ever give a fuck
I'm not a
about
fast food person, but I'll come to you from now on.
Boom.
Now we're talking business.
Oh, I
This is why you're superior.
Can you imagine?
Thank
you, Dr. X. By the way, the ladies talking to Planet Earth again after if Violent J and Shaggy Dudo came down. You know, it was mainly Katy Perry, but maybe we go to Gayle King first. She wasn't so embarrassing. She just exposed what
they could write a whole
did.
Album about this.
I think I said those. It'd be amazing. It'd be a masterpiece. I just said, I mean, I basically was just like looking at stuff, and you could tell I was on a loop. Wheezy in West Virginia. Send.
Sammy Lightyear.
That's right. Yeah, this is Gayle.
Hey,
letting us know what her buddy
Henson's
Katie did up
Muppet
there.
Show
But the best part was
this.
when we got back in our seats after Zero G's,
little skit called
Katie
Pigs
sang
in
"What a
Space."
Wonderful World."
She did.
Wow.
That nice.
She sang "What a Wonderful World." I see dreams.
Did you pause for a second?
Steve
That's
in
ironic because
Florida.
Zero
What's up,
G's
Steve?
is the gross of Katie's next
Good
tour.
morning,
Oh,
folks.
hey,
there was some, commentary, I think, by Vanessa Thompson
Fallon,
while
$50
thing
if you
was
want to
taking
use
off,
it. Burn.
Talking about all the training that they've had. It's all led up to this. It was like 2 days of learning how to get in and out of the capsule and putting on their seatbelt.
You don't think she's saying it?
That's
okay. So they said
great. Well, it's not like
Zero
most
G's,
seatbelts.
meaning
You
that,
see,
like,
let's
they got
break
back
down
in
the
their
seats
seatbelt
after they were
here.
floating around looking at themselves.
Thank you,
And they got to stop calling them crew because
On the
like,
way
they were
down, she's
fascinating.
saying.
Crew does stuff like they work.
They had probably had video rolling the entire time.
They
You'd
just
have
sat
to
there. It
believe.
was like
Started from when
going
they get
on
in,
one of those
and put it all up
rides
on the
at
website.
Universal.
Give it to me all.
Shut the
Exactly
door
what it was.
and let's
Thank
watch
you,
the
Steve.
entire mission.
They
all the
were.
way
They were
all the way
I'm
passengers.
surprised they haven't released
They were not
Yeah,
crew.
it's not that
Oh.
long.
One
No.
When you maybe there was some racist shit.
Maybe they didn't.
Yeah, you're right.
You can believe it. We're down with the crew, right? Could have been some racist shit.
About
they
Two
said,
Live.
not
Katie
knowing.
said something to Gail.
Two live
crew. There's two crews.
I think so. It's
Great
possible.
point.
There's two crews. By the
You
way,
think Katie dropped
if you
some
put
hard on-
Motley
Just something you
Crue
wouldn't want
and
out
two
there,
live
you know what I
crew
mean?
While they were on their way out.
Now we're talking.
in that
I think,
spaceship,
like,
can you imagine the
and- but I
debauchery?
don't
They
think
have
it was
4 full
malicious. I think
minutes
it was just like a little
the
too comfortable
debauchery
that
that
they
they
could
could
do.
do.
Gail was like,
Gail was like,
Blue kid.
and Gail was like, Katie,
They
don't
would
say
never
that.
be
She's
able
like,
to
oh,
show
okay,
the
my bad,
footage.
my
My
bad,
bad,
my
my
bad.
bad.
Never. And she didn't say it again after that. But
Yeah,
Yeah, they'd have to sterilize. She just thought she got to send those strippers up.
Like we're all
the amount of sterilization. They'd have to throw out her spaceship. It'd just be fluids and DNA would be all over it. Yeah, it's disgusting. They go in hazmat suits to get rid of it.
You could see that happening.
It's possible. I wasn't on the show, and it's probably because I'm watching it right now. I'm 2 episodes in.
Possible. There's.
But I do feel like I'm just saying there might have been footage of them inside the spaceship because a lot of times that's what happens. Us that Charlie Brooker. It's disgusting. I don't like it. There's another season in the camp. A lot of times, because there's no way that this is another thing with that. Not with when Apple goggles came out. And did you see in the first episode? Shout out to Apple Goggles. Or the second episode.
Release the tape.
They had a guy on Black Mirror using Apple Goggles. And it wasn't the point of the episode. It was just like, we see it.
JFK Files.
With the eye thing and everything. Give us
those
the
celebrities
being
up
in space.
Because it is weird that they only put out
a Black Mirror
floating around.
I want to see all of it, especially if she's got a new hit out there. Maybe they don't have the rights to when they go onto an alien ship. Just something. It's right.
Louis Armstrong.
There's millions of possibilities that a genius like Charlie Brooker.
It'd be funny if they're just all screaming while she's.
You know what I mean? Shut up. Shut up. Okay, so is this the landing?
The best part was when we got back in our seats after Zero G's. Katie saying, "What a wonderful world."
She did.
Deploy from the crew capsule. Those are like the guy parachutes.
I see dreams. Yes.
I see dreams. That's not the lyric of that song.
Those dreads came out.
I see. No, I see dreams.
Next will be the main parachutes.
Dreams are not a part of the world.
Pulled out.
They're the opposite.
The
whole song is about real life, and how wonderful it is. I mean, it is literally. I see dreams. Yeah. It's a theme park that song goes. Whee! Can you imagine? The astronauts are coming back to Earth. Let's hear what they've got to say. Buzz, we're coming back down. Juggalos 2.
Yeah, Gail, if you don't know
Violent J. Shaggy. Yes, Queens, we did it.
And I think to myself,
that's some dope shit, yo. I mean, it is exactly the sound.
It's not
you
I
hear.
See Dreams of Green.
At the last drop of a roller coaster. No, it's not dreams.
Sure.
It's not Dreams of Green.
Okay. I've been to Six Flags. I've heard those sounds.
100%.
And
they're fun sounds.
Yeah. Gail and I just...
But they're not.
Like if you come to me and go like,
oh my God,
yes.
experience I had on King
Because we've been asking you to sing all the time.
I go, no,
you know how it goes.
We do a retake. We're live.
It's still
yeah, it is.
She said they all cried.
Let's hear it. They didn't cry. They're great. They cried because Katy Perry ruined their space trip.
It's a very soft landing despite the story.
Dreams. Yes. There it is. Because we've been asking her to sing all the time, and she wouldn't.
That's please sing. We've been up here for 4 minutes, and we can't stop asking. Can't you just please sing a song? You know what my favorite part of this moment is? No, Kanye's on that one. They are so gleeful.
Clan mask. You don't remember?
And that was so fun. And then they land and they are laughing. There's no getting around that one. This is going to be great. Do you see the Super Bowl commercial? They have no idea. He's out of his fucking mind that everyone's going to be dunking on them as soon as they get out.
So everyone loves us now, right?
Yeah. They're like, we did it. This is fantastic. Nobody did. What do they say? Well, you guys missed some stuff while you were up in space.
Guys, don't go on the internet for a little while.
Did somebody say?
Who said they wanted me to sing? This is tough.
Okay.
Yeah, now, I mean, I wonder if people are still going to want to go up into the Bezos spacecraft because they know. Even though they get dunked on?
Yes, I really think.
Like if I was like Travis.
Second pitch.
Yeah, the little harmonica thing. You can go to space.
I'd go.
And she wouldn't. And then, because everybody said, sing Roar, sing Fireworks.
I think it's really specific to the people that are going up. Nobody dunked on Shatner.
But now, you think you want to be sitting.
Are they shitting on Gail King?
Looking at space. A once-in-a-lifetime thing. And when Katy Perry goes, I think they're a little bit.
I think Gail because she was terrified when she was about to get
shut the fuck up!
But that's okay.
But nobody's dunking.
It is valid. Well, I think she's like third up. I think. All right. I mean, everybody's dunking on Katy Perry. I didn't know. We're getting a little bit of the dunking on Bezos.
Some people just don't like her.
Okay. Yeah. Right. They were dunking on her regardless.
Well, like if Walton Goggins goes up in space, everyone's going to be like, he's the fucking man.
Honestly, Walton Goggins could save space missions for everyone.
Yeah. He's the one that's got to go to reverse this whole trend.
Because he wouldn't do any dumb shit. He'd look cool in space.
Oh my God!
But he'd have to put a lot of slick whatever in his hair.
How did he die?
He wouldn't want it going all over the place.
He should kill himself.
Probably wear because he want to
look. Or he can wear some of those
lost one of the astronauts.
What happened to his head?
Goggins goggles. He smashed his head into oblivion.
Like I really think
because Katie kept going.
Katy Perry just found herself in the perfect storm, and she made it worse by what she was doing up there.
That's right.
And she wouldn't,
And
then,
that's right.
Because everybody said,
unveiling
sing
your set
roar,
list
sing fire, and she said, it's not about me. I wanted to talk about the world.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, Katie.
You've got to ask her about that.
I don't want to go. Yeah, I don't want to go anymore.
It's not about me, guys.
Can I tell you something? I think Gayle King is sabotaging her. Did we sell more tickets to the tour? She goes because what was the last thing she said? You got to ask her about that.
But she said
less.
She did. Less. Do you think they all coordinated like ahead of time?
I don't think they really asked her to sing.
It'd be funny if Gayle just made up some shit.
We'll have to move down.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah, she's up there singing. What a wonderful world.
We got
We got a Chrissy D.
Yeah, we got a Chrissy D. And they're calling it.
What?
They're calling it the Chrissy D effect. I guess I got to go with it.
Like she said, like
Katy Perry just starts being manic and having anxiety.
What are you saying?
moving house.
When you got
moving
up
her
there.
family
What
to
a
an
wonderful
apartment.
world. Why was that
Orlando, we got to move. I'm not close
song?
enough to the bagel shop.
I've covered that song in the past.
What?
And obviously,
Yeah, I wonder,
my higher self is always steering the ship because I had no clue that one day I would decide to sing a little bit of that in space. But I think that
she did an edible before she
it's
got
not
up?
about
No,
me. It's not about singing my songs. There
was also this wonderful moment where they had a wide
it's
shot
about us. It's about making space for future women and taking up
Future
space.
Bezos.
Future woman.
Is she a part of the DCU or the greatest lady, right? And that's sick.
Future woman goes.
That's the next one.
I mean, I'm going to tell you something. I wonder which one of those director's chairs fall down flat on his face.
That's about
like just seeing a billionaire trip. No amount of money. No amount of money will give you coordination.
That's the dork who sold
It's about making space.
There you go. There's your receding hairline. It's back.
Taking up space and
like
belonging.
Still that guy.
And
honey, are you okay?
About this wonderful world
I've been working out. I got a couple pumps in my I get it.
This is all for the benefit.
It makes it sound like that.
You have done.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'd like to sing it like Future Woman. No, I think he's running around the spacecraft, and then Jeff Bezos just falls flat on his face, and it really does bring pleasure to the world.
Yeah, she has no idea.
No, Jonathan in Connecticut. I think she's right on the money on this one.
Oh, you do?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, man. I like the way she's playing this.
In today's age, I think she gets so much content.
It's not about
trying to be relevant.
It's about the wonderful world.
Picking out authenticity.
That's right. I also love it. It's so
they're trying to create a moment.
Well, I've covered that song before.
Viewers just know when an actual moment.
Everybody has covered that song.
That's true.
There's a very sort of like in the shower, trying to like. Not one person has never sung the old way of doing. What a wonderful world. And the kind of because you could everybody's covered just fake everything back in the day, but now people know what authenticity looks like publicly. You're not ready for it. I think you're right that it's turned up the bullshit meters. I have to look out that window and look down.
I always use the example of like everyone does the fast food reviews. I'm like, you're just trying to be relevant, doing nothing. But then I watch Review Brawl every day of the week because I was like, this guy just loves doing fast food reviews. Like,
right, Kramer in Pittsburgh. What's up,
Kramer?
He'll
do it just to himself because that's what he loves to do. These other people are just trying to be relevant. Right, love the game.
Right. Yeah, that one lady that's the NASA scientist that was on the spaceship. She's the Review Brawl of this mission. We love Review Brawl.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jonathan. I think that's 100% right. I think Kramer, are you going to sniff out inauthenticity? Is this the bit? Very little that's less appealing than somebody who's inauthentic.
Kramer, I took this all wrong.
You can't have it.
Bro,
there's
I didn't
too
realize
much
you were busting
authenticity.
stones. I didn't realize
and authenticity is an attractive, appealing thing. You know, like you just want to be around. You want to be around.
Kramer,
real
did you get to go to Pat McAfee's?
You
big
want to be
night
around, like just knowing somebody, whether you agree, disagree, like, dislike. It's like if somebody's being real, that's a huge part of the thing.
I don't think there's anything.
We went down to Southside Nat first.
Well, that's the worry, right? That she's lost who she is as a human being.
We went down to Southside. We had some premiers.
She needs to stop being polite.
After that, we
Start
went
getting
over
real.
there to Bucko game.
True story.
Then people might like.
They might. Yeah, I don't know all the Pittsburgh references. Just a couple.
I think you just go away.
Oh man, there's.
I mean,
she's
what's
been away? Of them.
She was in
I
space.
love
Yeah,
the
she's
people
gone
of
for 10
Pittsburgh.
minutes.
And you
As far as you
include
could
Kramer.
possibly
Thank you,
get,
my
dude.
friend.
Yes,
Wendy's
sir.
is dunking on her.
What is that?
I didn't realize he was
fuck.
busting stones.
He was busting
I think I
stones.
got a little hot on that one. I didn't realize he was busting
Yeah,
stones.
you know what?
Same.
I don't
I
mind
kind of feel
busting
like a biggie
stones.
bag today.
Same. You know,
Shout out,
I think
Wendy's.
that's
Shout out
fine.
Wendy's.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it
Wow.
made me feel a lot better about
Congratulations
Hooters
to the
showing respect
ladies
to
of
me.
space.
Because I realized, like at one point you go, they're a corporate
Future
brand.
woman.
Of course, they're
And Jeff Bezos.
I mean,
for falling
realizing
down on
that
his
if
face.
Hooters wanted to, they could have dunked
I
on
love
me,
all of it.
and they didn't.
No, they're authentic.
Yeah, they are.
And I can't.
But Wendy's turned around. Like if Wendy's,
I don't think
like,
it's right.
was insulting to me at all. It would fuck me up for the rest. It would fuck me up for the rest of my life.
Can you imagine if you're Katy Perry and your favorite thing is
Katy, we're just busting you staring.
We're busting.
And
that's
Massachusetts. Like when what's his face said that his favorite band was Rage Against the Machine.
Paul Ryan's our Pittsburgh, and then Tom Morello goes, "You are the machine, you stupid idiot."
Yeah. Don't listen to my music.
Yeah. And that would fuck me up forever.
That would crush me.
If Rob Zombie was like, everybody can listen to me except you, say Austin Stones. Let's take a break. You're like, I don't think... we got a lot to talk about today. I'm not going to live a life as a public person anymore. Like I said, I mean, I can't look at myself in the mirror. Segment with Dan Soder from yesterday. If Don couldn't look at herself in the mirror from yesterday, she might as well gouge her eyes out. As like, what else is she looking at?
Great takes about this.
Great takes about this.
Like driving away from the
fresh out the barrel,
bringing her back home, and she's like, I can really go for a Baconator.
The Mike Boschetti birthday party.
People are like
featuring.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Katie, don't
freaks. Mario Bosco and Nicole Biggins. Twixed out. Katy Perry has returned from space. On the Sirius XM app, and Wendy's as is the responded, Andrew Schultz interview. Can we send her back? So check all that out, and we'll be right back. Stay there.
It's fine.
We will be right back.
Wendy's doesn't need to be tweeting.
With Sam Roberts Show.
I mean, that's what happens when you give an intern your Instagram.
Social media managers have a lot of control.
They really do. They really can shape a brand.
With Sam Roberts Show.
But you know what? Whoever is running that account is hired to do that specific thing. Just like the Steakums account.
Oh, that was brilliant. Yeah, they did a good job. For like 6 months. We were all about it.
That's true. Hey there.
Why is that again?
We are back indeed. Welcome.
I was like, I love them.
Yeah.
And they're made in Pennsylvania. I found that out.
Right. I've never had a Steakum before. Actually.
I think you just won yourself a customer.
See what happened with the
And I bet
Oakland
Wendy's
A's.
the same way. I bet there were a lot of people,
Travis, who see this tweet and go like, okay, what they sent out?
Oakland
8:26 p.m. last night?
Oh, sorry.
I bet there are people waking up, seeing the tweet and going like, I just found out Wendy's does
Actually,
breakfast.
I think they're just the Athletics.
I might swing by the drive-thru on my way to work.
No. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah,
see
what happened. I mean, ever since Jose Canseco
there's enough food
that
there.
Organization has been going down the drain.
Yeah, has it been since Canseco left?
It's a slow turn, but yeah. You're always going to have your your stands.
They hit dingers. Yeah.
They were good at dingers. That was back in the good old days. Look at this. Yeah, it was. Looks like there's a Dave's double in my future.
See?
Mets.
I'm telling you, I could go for one
and
today.
the A's, LMFAO. This is pretty bold.
They had to get the injury
card
out
on
the
nonsense
field.
bots. And interns be play-by-play guys let you know what's going on.
They do be wild.
Problem now down the left field line.
We should have
one
put
of the carts
Danielle
looks like it ran out of
Sam
gas.
Roberts Show.
So series is all good. But now there's one they're pushing to get it off the field because it doesn't have any gas.
Make it funny and witty.
Right. And every now and then shit on somebody. That's safe, but a little not safe, you know?
Baseball in the 1980s, whenever something like that would happen.
Yeah, they really
say.
I'm not a fast food person, but
that's why they call it the minor leagues.
This is what you're supposed
That's right. And here you go.
Do you have
this happened in the minor league,
ladies?
I'm not
talking to Maria again after returning. Is this because I like what league is this? It was mainly Katy Perry. Maybe we go to Gail King first because she wasn't so embarrassed and she just exposed what Katy Perry did.
Yeah, they are playing in a minor league.
I think I sent those to you, so that's why.
Oh yeah, you did.
I just sent you. I mean, I basically was just like looking at stuff.
Okay, that clears
and
it all up.
You could tell I was on a loop.
They could still probably put gas in the injury cards, right?
Yeah, this is Gail.
I don't think
letting us know.
I mean, I know that they have a small budget.
What her buddy Katie did
is low.
there.
But the best part was when we got back in our seats after zero G's. Katie sang,
"Well, if they don't have enough money for injury,
especially since it's the beginning of the season, they probably have
"What a Wonderful."
That's right. I mean, honestly, if they don't have money for injury card gas, 0 G's is the gross of Katie's next tour.
Because you don't need it.
That can do you looking good, but then you sell the car, you finally got enough money for gas. Where are you going to put the gas in?
So you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. But it really is funny. Seeing there's a group of individuals. That cart is out in the outfield.
You don't think she's saying it?
Totally out of
they
gas.
Said
they can't play the game because there's an injury cart in the middle of the field. But also could not get to the player. And so just a bunch of dudes
on the way down, she's saying,
have to come out and just slowly push the cart off the field
the entire time.
Which is so embarrassing. Everybody's watching, and you're just giving me how far away the wall is. You know, you got to get it behind the wall. There's a little door there.
I'm surprised they haven't released it.
You get it behind the wall, nobody can see it again. But it's very
maybe there's
far.
some racist shit.
Maybe they didn't.
I mean, you could believe it. Wouldn't you know?
Could have been some racist shit.
Isn't there a meter that tells you? I mean, of all people,
so.
right? Maybe I shouldn't be the one saying it. But
you think Katie drops?
I didn't interrupt the baseball. Just something you wouldn't want out there. You know what I mean? Slow down mine hot dog's way home. I think but I don't think it was malicious. I think it was just like a little too comfortable.
I was like, who kid?
Gail was like, Katie, don't say that. Although you could help me with that too, I'm sure. And she didn't say it again.
So I mean, but like.
So it wasn't malicious. It was in like
because it's just a boneheaded.
She just thought she got a little too.
I mean, the whole fucking team's
like we're all pals.
They're playing in Sacramento.
Yeah, she was thinking about her song with the Migos.
Oakland.
You talking about the Sacramento A's?
No,
she just got a little too comfortable.
You think Lauren?
What city are they from?
Right now?
Yeah, she could have.
Well, right now they've been sold to Vegas, but they're not playing.
It's possible. They didn't finish the building.
So they haven't released the full video yet because it's possible.
Okay, when does the season officially start? I'm just saying there might have been racist stuff on it. Because a lot of times
they don't play in Oakland anymore because they left the Coliseum.
It's disgusting. I don't like it.
Coliseum's falling apart.
And a lot of times that does happen.
And they only got relocated to Vegas last year, so they're going to take a few years to build that state-of-the-art stadium.
Start to finish.
Release the tapes. Could you do one that's a little less state-of-the-art that you can get out sooner?
Well, it's Vegas. Everything's got to be big.
JFK that's what they say. Everything's bigger in Vegas.
Yeah, now at least give us this.
They give us the Katy Perry. They say everything's bigger in Nevada.
Put out like a minute
is the state slogan. I want to see.
No, I mean you're right.
Especially she's got a new hit out there. Maybe they don't have the rights to something to a wonderful world.
It's a get in touch with Louis Armstrong.
They got to hang in Sacramento for like a couple years.
Give it to us.
And like, who's going to give a fuck to go watch that? Like,
that's going to be tough for the team. You're right because
shut up.
Vegas isn't going to establish any kind of team loyalty until they are in Vegas.
The best part was when we got back in our seats after zero G's.
Oakland's
Katie
given up because they know they're leaving.
Yeah, they're depressed.
They love their team. So now, I guess what is Sacramento just going to spend a couple years going like, I guess I got nothing better to do.
I mean, I'm sure people are still going to go to the games.
No, I see.
You'll get people that want to go see the Mets. People that want to go see.
Dreams are not a part of the world. You're going to get 2 for 1
opposites is what you're going to get.
I think I'm for that.
You can get $15 tickets and 2 for 1 hot dogs.
The whole song is about real life
too, and how wonderful.
Especially if you only paid for 1.
Yeah, dreams are part of it.
I see dreams.
And the Rays are doing the same thing. The Rays are playing in the Yankees spring training facility. Playing at Steinbrenner Field.
That's right. We saw that.
The hurricane destroyed
the roof. They didn't fix that roof. I feel like that was a while ago.
It's going to take a while to fix that roof.
Why do all these things take so long? Why can't they fix them quick? We got such great modern technology. I refuse to believe
shit, yo.
that you can't fix the roof of that building.
You see how long things take. It's not I see dreams of green.
I feel like
they're not dreaming of money.
Tape
no,
to
it's
get
not
green.
Sure.
Just fucking get up there and fix the roof.
No. The city doesn't want to pay for the Rays anymore.
Yeah.
And Gail and
because they don't bring in enough money?
No.
For I see dreams.
They still need a roof.
Yes. Because we've been asking you all the time.
They got to get gas. They got to get a roof.
We do a
Tampa's over here. What do you need a roof for? It's beautiful.
We're rolling.
Plus, their whole said they all cried. Schedule is fucked up because
they cried because Katy Perry ruined
for
their
the Rays. You know they play in a dome.
I see dreams.
The weather.
Well, it was a dome. Now there's a whole.
Because we've been asking her to sing all the time, and she wouldn't.
Now it's an open air baseball stadium.
But you know the reason
we've been up here for 4 minutes and we can't stop asking.
B,
can't
it rains every day.
Please sing a song
during the summer.
No, but only in the mid afternoon, and nobody plays baseball in the mid afternoon.
You don't remember?
So the whole schedule is messed up. Where they're playing a ton of away games in the summer.
There's no getting around that
schedule is going to. Who knows what the weather's going to be like?
See the Super Bowl commercial? Right. And they got a big hole in their stadium.
And they're not even going to stay there. They're going to get moved.
Do that fucking song.
To a different city? What city?
It was a mistake. They had figured out a deal to put a new stadium, I think, like around St. Pete, and then that ended up falling through like a month or so ago.
Did somebody say?
Who said they wanted me to sing?
To negotiate with the city or build a new stadium on their own. So they'll end up moving. They're either going to go to Nashville or...
I don't have anything ready, but
I think North Carolina's trying to get maybe like Charlotte. And baseball wants to expand.
What are those called?
So they'll put
checking our pitch.
They got enough harmonics.
Salt Lake City, like Florida teams don't work. They tried it twice
because everybody said sing roar, sing fire, and she said it's
they can't even sell out playoff games.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
that's a real failure.
You think people just don't care, and that's okay.
You want to be sitting.
Is it because in Florida cities,
once in a lifetime
so many out-of-towners?
And you just hear Katy Perry going,
they just want to hang out and do other shit?
Go to the beach?
I'd want to go.
Yeah, get a tan on.
And I guess there are cities that it's just like...
It just doesn't work.
And it's also, if it's not built into the pastime...
I wouldn't have sung it. I didn't know.
Like in New York,
I thought you wanted to hear
like everybody grows up going
you wanted to hear Roar.
And there's 2 different teams, but like everybody grows up going to games. Even in Los Angeles.
Sox, where they have a problem with, finding loyalty to sports teams. The Dodgers do have a tradition.
Shut up! Yeah. Lakers?
Yeah, the Lakers have Clippers even have a tradition. There are people who grew up going to Clippers games.
Yeah, it's hard.
People like the LA Kings.
Wait a minute. We lost one of the astronauts.
But if you just move in and go not only are we bringing it,
smashed his head
this
into
sport
oblivion.
has been represented
Katie kept
anywhere
going,
near this city.
I mean, it succeeds. Like, there are times where it succeeds.
Colorado Rockies?
I was just going to say that, yeah. Colorado Rockies, they're doing just fine.
I remember when those purple starter jackets came out.
Because everybody said, sing Roar, sing Fireworks, and she said, it's not about me. I wanted to talk about the world.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, Katie.
The turquoise for the purple for the Rockies, everybody's rocking that.
That was a great time. Can I tell you, 93, 94?
I think Gail King is sabotaging.
Plus, you needed, starter.
You think so? Because what was the last thing she said? You got to ask her about that. And in 93, 94,
so you think they all coordinated the pocket in the middle ahead of time?
Of course, it's got to be a pullover starter.
Don't give me anything else.
It's got to be a pullover starter, and also the New York teams are also that. So luckily the expansion teams are there.
They were singing "What a Wonderful World."
Tried and true Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets are always good because turquoise, purple. Larry Graham, Mama Johnson.
Like she said, then they asked.
Bro, the Charlotte Hornets had a merch.
When you got up there. What a wonderful world.
It was the Charlotte Hornets, and then a couple years later,
particular song.
When Orlando came out with the Orlando Magic and Shaq.
Obviously, my higher self is always steering the ship because I had no clue that one day I would
expansion teams still have that vibe.
Sing a little bit of that in space.
They don't at all, right?
I think
because it really was growing up.
It's not about me.
Like an incredibly exciting thing. Like
it's about a collective energy in there.
Going to public school in New York.
It's about making space for
Charlotte Hornets stuff was everywhere.
And taking up space
specifically.
Is she a part of the DCU or the MCU?
The pullover starter.
Oh, that's sick.
With the turquoise, purple, and white on it.
Yeah, I thought.
That said Charlotte Hornets
one of
in the
those
middle.
director's chairs gets to play Future Woman.
Yeah,
it's about making space for Future.
And he should.
I am Future
That's why I freak out when we have Muggsy Bogues in here. That's why I bring up Larry.
It's about us. It's about making space for
Larry Grandmama Johnson.
That's why I bring up Larry Grandmama Johnson as much as possible. Don't forget, Muggsy Bogues not only played for the Hornets, he was short.
Wonderful world that we see.
And that was in a time in my life where I was looking for short kings.
This is all for the benefit.
I need
representation.
Yes. Okay, if you don't mind, I'd like representation does matter. I need to find all my short kings. I like Muggsy Bogues. I like Skee-Lo.
Okay, Katie.
And I love Tom Cruise. Those were my people.
She has no idea.
Except Tom Cruise was a little bit of a denier. I think she's right on the money on Muggsy Bogues and Skee-Lo embraced it.
I like the way she's playing.
But yeah, anytime a new team would pop up,
she gets it. It's not about
everybody
her.
Would buy their gear.
It's about the wonderful world.
I didn't even watch basketball. I had a Shaq jersey.
I also love it. It's so self-important to say.
But
well, I've covered that song.
Everybody
before.
bought Orlando Magic shit.
No, it's not.
Everybody
Nobody's
covered that song before.
Rocking
What a wonderful world. In the shower.
No, I don't see it at all. I go to like my
not
kids'
one
school.
person has never sung a lyric.
The New York teams are represented, but that's it. I wonder why that is. Everybody's covered.
I think it used to be more fashionable in the 90s.
Bright colors.
Yeah. Will you sing it for us? I don't know.
You're not ready for it. Interesting, though.
Come on, do it for Future. I mean, nobody's wearing.
I have to look out that window and look down on Times Square. Those Looney Tunes shirts were great. Except
myself,
there's a homeless lady cool kid would wear it the same day as you, and he would act embarrassed. Remember that story?
Yep. Actually, I don't. What was that?
Oh, bro, Kramer in Pittsburgh. What's up, Kramer?
Remember it.
Danielle.
Yeah, I don't think I've.
All right,
this is a tough day for me.
To let you know,
okay, I'm telling you right now, it was not a good day.
I'll bring up.
We're doing 90 minutes.
I was wearing in like the early to mid 90s, 93, 94, 95.
Somebody's responsible.
Looney Tunes hip hop shirts were the shit.
Kramer,
Looney Tunes characters dressed in hip hop clothing was as cool as it got. There was no cooler T-shirt anybody could have than Looney Tunes wearing.
Bro, I didn't realize you were busting stones.
And I didn't realize you. That was the Tasmanian Devil, not the one with Taz and Bugs, but the one with just Tasmanian Devil. That was the one. I remember the stripes specifically. That was 100% the one. And like, dude, I would show up to school wearing that shirt, and nothing. That was the back of the shirt. It was the back of the Tasmanian Devil.
And by the way, there were rip-offs that only had the front on them, and that's how you knew.
You get your ass kicked. Not even a poser. You had bootleg. You were broke.
Poor.
It was the worst thing you could be.
Yeah, I don't know all the Pittsburgh references. You're not just a couple to be cool. That's what they would say.
There's 1,000 of them.
And I love the people of Pittsburgh. I wore that shirt, and like I felt invincible in that shirt. I felt like Samson with his long hair. I didn't realize there was nothing.
He was busting.
I think I got a little hot on that one. Tell me anything. I didn't realize he just busted except one person found the weakness. I don't mind busting cool kid in school. He was wearing the same shirt. I think that's fine. Same shirt. Wow. Congratulations! And I walked right up to him. To the ladies of space. I was 5th grade, so I was probably 2'3". Future woman. And Jeff Bezos for falling down on his face. 10 foot. I love all of it. I thought I did anyway. I was feeling it, and then it shrunk right up to half an inch after this happened. I walked right up to him because he was cool.
They're just busting stands.
He was like one of those kids who, like in 4th and 5th grade, was already getting chicks. And you can bust stones. I think
Katie, we're just busting your stands.
But we didn't have the same life experience. That's Massachusetts or height.
Hey, how's it going?
That's how I sounded. You gotta. And I walked. I hadn't figured it out yet. I was older than people. We're busting stones.
You gotta go on.
Yeah, regardless of how I looked. So
Dutch.
I walked right up to him and I was like, "Hey, man." Busting stones. Nice shirt. Ooh. Let's take a break. And you know what he said? We got a lot to talk about today, okay? Like I said, on our segment with Dan Soder from yesterday. Don Soder was cool. From yesterday is I was like, hey, looks like we're both cool. As is, because I had great taken it as if you're cool wearing that, then I'm wearing it. I'm cool too. Fresh out the barrel. He took it as and you're taking my cool away. The Mike Boschetti birthday party
sucks.
Yeah, my uncool power is much more powerful than I realized. Mario Bosco and Nicole Biggins. It was a tough one.
Twinning with you brought down his credibility.
Yeah, and when I realized that in that one moment, as is the Andrew Schultz interview. So check all that out. I mean, yeah, we'll be right back. Stay there. I literally became utter. Like I lost my uniform.
It's rough.
It's
bad.
Sam
Roberts Show.
Yeah, I found my gym uniform. I said, I don't know. I left my real clothes at home. The teacher was like, this doesn't make any sense. I was like, well, whatever. Could you stop asking questions?
We're back.
I left my real clothes at home.
Sam Roberts Show.
I don't know. It's been a tough day. I don't know what I wore to school, okay? I'm wearing a gym uniform. I left my real clothes somewhere. I don't know where they are. Teach the class, lady. Hey there. Okay, Sam. Jeez. We are back indeed.
Did you see where that guy is now?
Welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Floundering, I'm sure.
You never went back and...
Who wore better? He wore better.
He wore better?
Actually,
much better.
I probably had mine blocked. See what happened with the Oakland A's?
But in your defense, that was
awesome. No. It was not. It was not the look. I was very small. My mom didn't want me wearing t-shirts that went past my knees. Did you see? But I appreciate that.
Actually, I think they're just the athletic.
No, I
shirt and Sam.
They're not that athletic. But she would let me blouse it.
Okay.
You see nobody would happen. I mean, ever since Jose Canseco left, that organization has been going down the drain.
Has it been since Canseco left?
You ever wear a blouse white zombie t-shirt? Slow turn, but yeah, that's when I started.
And McGuire?
Yeah. It wasn't the looks. I've never seen anyone else wear a blouse white zombie t-shirt. That was back in the good old days.
I did. Yeah, if Rob Zombie would have saw that or seen that you did that, you would never got another picture.
You don't think so?
And he would have signed your own.
You don't think he would have been like, hey man, I appreciate you injury crying out on the field.
No, I'd be like, you look like a turd.
And well, I'll let the play-by-play guys let you know what's going on.
Problem
it's like when you
down the left field
tuck it in and kind of pull it out.
Like it ran out.
But like
long enough.
The series is all good, but now there's one they're pushing to get it off the field because it doesn't have any gas.
Yeah, isn't it supposed to be kind of oversized?
Yeah.
It looked like on me specifically. It looked like I was a young girl at a sleepover. Yeah.
Like you were wearing a nightie?
100%. It looked like I needed a side pony.
My shirts were supposed to.
Not in my house. Go. This happened in the minor leagues, Travis. I'm not as familiar.
No. Everything was long.
Is this what league
Everyone
is
dressed
this?
like Billie Eilish. Major leagues?
That's true. Major League Baseball?
She's yeah, that's the one. I can't.
MLB,
we go to her
yeah,
they were playing in a minor league. And like Riley will buy a shirt. So I tried to buy a shirt once. Well, her shirts are so oversized and they're designed to be like they're from the 90s.
They can still probably put gas in the injury carts, right? No, and boxy and stuff.
No, it's not the that's not the style. I don't think.
It'd be funny if you did it.
But I know that she's like, this is the style of shirt that is low.
Yeah, right.
Sold, but all of her shirts have enough money for
all boxy and long. Well, if they don't have enough money for injury,
since it's the beginning of the season.
Plus, it would allow you to cover up some of your body.
Gas budget.
That's right. I mean, honestly, if they don't have money for injury cart gas, whatever, I would sell the cart
because you don't need it.
It's not gonna do you looking good. But then you sell the cart, you finally got enough money for gas. Where are you gonna put the gas in?
Well, you just got covered.
So you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I appreciate that. I was going to say the same thing about you.
Seeing there's a group of individuals that cart is out in the outfield somewhere, totally out of gas. You want want him to do. Can't play the game. By the way, I looked at a picture of Walton Goggins in the middle of the field the other day. Also could not get to the play. Literally thinking this is what. And so just a bunch of dudes. He is in amazing shape. Have to come out and just slowly push the cart off the field. He's very, which is so embarrassing. Everybody's watching, and you're just looking at how far away the wall is. I didn't even. You got to get it behind the wall. There's a little door there. You get it behind the wall. Yeah, you're probably right. Again, but it's very far. I will tell you, when it comes to, not having any gas. Wouldn't you know? And being cool. Isn't there a meter that tells you? I mean, of all people, right? Maybe I shouldn't be the one saying it. See how it all ties in together? So, I didn't interrupt a baseball game. By the way, I just slowed down performances I saw from Coachella. Coachella is over the course of 2 weekends. So not only is it this coming weekend, but it was last weekend as well. No, that's a flat tire. That wasn't it. The performances all seemed great. I saw although he could have helped me with that too, Megan Thee Stallion was up there. Yeah, so I mean, Lady Gaga was up there. Because it's just a boneheaded thing.
Misfits? I saw some Misfits clips. They still sound great. They're playing Sacramento.
Incredible. And I love that they you're talking about the Sacramento A's?
No, I'm just talking about the A's.
Coachella? What city are they from?
Right now? Yeah. Well, right now they've been sold to Vegas. I can't believe how good they're playing in Vegas.
Of course they did. They didn't finish the building?
No.
I was getting a tan.
Started.
That's sick. Okay, when does the season officially start?
The season started. It shows up here.
Yeah.
You got to get a tan.
But that's just,
I mean, I just think it's, I love they left the Coliseum. Because the Coliseum's
kind of old bands, and they didn't finish are doing festivals like this, and really like
Vegas last
year. The kids are into, like everybody's into it. You know what I mean?
Payday to crazy,
massive,
state of the art.
And there's just this whole new appreciation that comes from a younger generation, but also those of us that actually grew up with the bands get really happy to see them. They say everything's performing in front of a massive crowd of younger people. They say Limp Bizkit did it at what? They say everything's bigger in Nevada, and like they freaked out for it. I was like, this is great. No, I mean you're right.
I mean you got them playing.
They are, but so much, culture now comes from that stuff. Like there's so much in Sacramento for like a couple years, culture
and like who's going to give a
everything
fuck to
right
watch
now?
That? Like
that's going to be tough for the team, people, right? Because the younger Vegas people freak out. Isn't going to establish any kind of team loyalty until they are in Vegas. That's done.
New Rock.
Oakland's giving up because they know they're leaving. Because they go like this, Old Rock's fine. They love their team. Because the New Rock sound. So now, I guess what is Sacramento just going to spend a couple years going like, I guess they had to New Rock was that Led Zeppelin band.
I'm sure people are still going to go to the games. You'll get people that want to go see the Mets, people that want to go see whatever team.
I mean, the Darkness was.
Oh, you're thinking of
2 for 1 hot dog days? No, not Wolf Mother, but that's a good. $15 tickets and 2 for 1 hot dogs. Greta Van Fleet.
Yep.
Especially if you Greta Van Fleet, everybody was like, "This band's amazing, and they're new. This is fantastic."
And the Rays are doing the same thing. The Rays are playing in the only reason people like the weekend spring training facility. Playing at Steinbrenner Field.
That's right.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh yeah, no, Hurricane destroyed.
I like Michael Jackson. Well, the roof. Well, yeah, that's true. They fixed that roof. I feel like that was a while ago.
It's going to take a while to fix that roof.
Why do all these things take so long? Why can't they fix them quick? We got such great modern technology.
Right.
I refuse to believe. That's right. That you can't fix the roof of that building. Well, he didn't actually do any time. Wow. You just found nothing. There's some red tape to get through. Just fucking get up there and fix the roof.
The city doesn't want to pay for the Rays.
The problem with Coachella was it's like a camping event. Enough money. It's all weekend long, so people go and camp. And one of the things that people like to do is car camp. I mean, because people like to camp and they like to glam. They got to get gas. They got to get a roof. Tampa's over going to be like out there, and it's way better for the promoters too to not have these days. People out there like Woodstock, where they're just like in the mud
in a dome
for 3 days, dehydrated. It was a dome, now there's a hole in it. So there's a huge population that go to Coachella. Now it's an open-air baseball stadium.
But
the way Coachella has been forever is the gates will open at like 9:30. But only in the mid-afternoon. But if nobody plays baseball in the mid-afternoon, you get there at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
They let you in the summer because who knows?
That's how it's been throughout the years. They'll let you in, right? And that's how they got a big hole in their stadium. Stop the buildup from happening. And like it's not like they're going to start the festival. They let you in. You get your spot. Some people pay for premium spots so you can get the right spot.
Put a new stadium, I think, like around St. Pete, and then that ended up falling through like a month or so ago.
But this
year,
there's
no way they're going to be able.
They hired a new security team
or build a new stadium on their own, so they'll end up moving. 60% of people who bought Coachella tickets paid for them. I think North Carolina's trying to get Klarna type, like Charlotte, pay later. And baseball wants to expand.
Don't get us back into that conversation.
I'm just saying. 60%.
They got enough Florida teams.
Florida teams don't work. They tried.
That's the thing. They're like, what if we raise concert ticket prices like insane, and then you guys just go into debt for them? You don't want to miss it, do you? That's a real failure.
People just don't care. What if I told you $20
didn't work down? Is it because in that in Florida cities, it's just there's so many out of towners?
$20. Yeah, maybe
they just want to hang out and do shit.
Yeah. Go to the beach.
I'd want to go to the beach.
Yeah, get a tan on. Just the whole thing.
I guess there are cities that it's just like
10%. It just doesn't work.
And it's also if it's not built into the pastime.
Yeah,
you're probably going to pay it off quick, right? It's generational.
Really,
everybody grows up.
Anyway, I won't think about that right now.
And there's 2 different teams, but like there's everybody grows up.
They hired a new security company.
So even in
these poor people,
Los Angeles, where they line up,
and some of them got there like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Finding
the
loyalty.
Security company goes, yeah, no, you can't get in until 9:30.
Have a tradition,
and they were like, what? That's not how this works at all.
Yeah, the Lakers have Clippers even have a tradition.
You're not getting in
until
9:30
games.
Yeah.
And then everybody starts to slowly show up and show up and show up, and it gets so backed up. But if you just move in and go, like,
trying to
not
get
only
in,
are we bringing it, like there
sport
people
has been
waiting in their cars anywhere near the city.
12 and there are times when it succeeds.
Colorado Rockies.
I was just going to say
they're just waiting. I remember they're in the hot sun. I remember when those purple starter jackets came out.
Coming
lit
because people are passing out.
They have no water.
That was right when the Marlins
they're
came out.
They're pissing and shitting all over themselves.
Yeah, no bathroom. It was great.
No bathroom. So I mean, some people are getting out of the car to piss.
Everybody was rocking that.
I mean, Troy, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Was that 93-94? You piss in the seat.
Plus, you needed,
seat would be
starter jackets.
Yeah, but I
pissed. You didn't have a starter jacket.
How many bottles do you have? 12 or 13 hours worth of bottles? And in 93-94, Herb was the worst thing you
could use.
The bottle.
In the middle.
Of
course, you need that. It's got to be a pullover starter.
Yeah. Don't give me anything else.
You've got to be a pullover starter, and also the New York teams are all sold out. So luckily, the expansion.
Didn't I tell you to get a Wizzy?
Just.
Mike, you have no problem whatsoever.
There's a joke for that.
Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets are always good because turquoise, purple.
They go, I don't know.
Grandma Johnson.
The guy in front of me, he gets out of his car.
The Charlotte Hornets had
his jug every 30 seconds. I feel like he's just taking advantage of the fact that he has a jug.
It was the Charlotte Hornets, and then a couple years later,
dehydrated because they had no water.
When Orlando.
Then the cars started running out of gas.
The Orlando Magic
because they're like idling out there because they're trying to keep their AC on while they're waiting.
Oh my God!
And then their cars run out of gas,
which means that they have no air conditioning.
Like they don't. At all, right?
Because it really was
they started making
up.
comparisons.
Like
the festival itself was fine.
Like I
didn't hear any complaints about the actual festival.
It was just
going to public school in New York.
That was hell for all these poor people.
Charlotte Hornets stuff was everywhere.
Well, jacket specific.
Then once they got in, they wait 12 or 13 hours.
The pullover starter.
They finally get in
with the turquoise,
security
purple,
team
and white
in such
on
a panic that said
that
Charlotte Hornets in the middle.
Wherever.
That's how I knew you were the man.
So the people who paid all this money for quote unquote premium parking spaces, they're like, oh, those are full.
That's why I freak out when we have Muggsy Bogues in here. That's why I bring up Larry.
Yeah.
Go ahead and they get out.
I just want to ask
about
Larry
park their cars.
That's why I bring up Larry
Grandma
Johnson as much as possible.
Out and about.
Don't forget, Muggsy Bogues not only played for the Hornets, he was short.
There were people saying,
and that was
in
a
shower
time of my life where I was crazy long.
Kings.
And then they get in their shower, and I saw them on TikTok. That's how I keep up with this stuff. I look at their
representation does matter. I need to find all my short
showers.
I like Muggsy Bogues. I like Skee-Lo.
Full of pubes.
I love Tom Cruise.
They said they stunk and they were full of pubes, and I'm sitting there going,
except Tom Cruise was a little bit of a denier.
No, it's not life.
Muggsy Bogues and Skee-Lo embraced
Coachella and says,
"Oh yeah." Anytime a new team would pop up, because they were short,
everybody would buy their gear.
Were people in there watch basketball, or were they incidental pubes?
No, a poser.
Yeah, there could be incidental.
No. It was mountains. Everybody bought Orlando Magic shit.
No, they said nobody's out there.
First of all, I was not afforded the opportunity to go to
see it at all. I go like my kids go.
From what I heard from my sources,
the New York teams are represented.
I know. I should have used my.
I wonder why that is.
From what I heard from my sources
in the 90s
on TikTok,
yeah.
There were mounds of pubes, which means people were trimming and shaving, which means that people were like, well, I got to have less pubes.
Except,
you know what? I'll trim when I get there.
Wear it the same
Who
day
is going to Coachella and going, I'll trim when I get there?
Actually, I don't.
That's insane behavior.
It was a tough one.
Danielle,
let me leave my shower pristine. I'll trim once I get to Coachella. Even bringing like, I don't know.
Okay,
have you ever been to Coachella, Danielle? It was not a good day.
I'll bring up the shirt.
You haven't, Troy, have you?
I was wearing.
I just don't understand
like the midnight,
early
to mid
caddy
93, 94,
to 95. A festival. I feel like if you're going to a festival,
Looney
your best
Tunes
bet is you might get a
shirts
rinse off
shit.
at some point.
Well, they have
Looney
showers.
Tunes characters,
but the idea that you're going to get a full real
clothing.
shower,
I mean,
was as cool as it got. There was no cooler T-shirt anybody could have than Looney Tunes.
That's what I feel like the whole thing is, right?
Okay. And I had one.
You're going to be sweaty. You're going to be gross.
That was the Tasmanian Devil, not
the
one with Taz and Bugs.
They're going to
shoot the one with
fireworks into the audience.
Devil. That was the one.
And you're gonna
I
have
remember
a good
the stripes specifically. That was 100% the one.
So just
and
use
like,
the body to
dude,
show
up with some act.
I would show up
to school wearing that shirt
or a video of
and
nothing.
It was described back of the shirt.
Okay, so
it was the back of the Tasmanian Devil.
And by the way, there were rip-offs that only had the front on them.
People don't. They don't really lie on TikTok. You get your ass.
And why would they lie about that? Let's listen to the girl you at bootleg. She was giving her whole shower experience. It's the worst thing you could be.
Stop trying to be cool.
These people are invaluable sources of news. To be cool. That's what they would say. Well, yeah, she's outside on a giant field in 2025. I wore that shirt, and like I felt invincible in that shirt. I felt like Samson with his long hair. Outside on a giant field in 2025. Nothing you could do. You couldn't tell me anything. That's as dangerous as one person found the weakness. Put it on for the camera. And it was the cool kid in school. Well, you gotta get close. He was wearing the same shirt as me.
Well, yeah, you gotta show allegiance to the establishment.
Okay. And I walked right up to him. I was 5th grade, so I was probably 2'3".
I'm one of these guys,
right? And by the way, I don't understand how that's still the establishment. I mean, did you not hear about the election, dude? Well, I thought I did anyway. I was feeling it, and then it shrunk right up. Not the establishment. To half an inch. Not the former establishment. I walked right up to him.
When you see people wearing masks,
he was like one of those kids who, like in 4th and 5th grade, was already getting chicks.
Were you the same age?
Oh yeah, but we didn't have the same. I wish they weren't. I wish I could argue.
Or height.
That's how I sounded.
Airtight.
That one, I'd love to go. I hadn't figured it out yet. I was older than people conspiracy theory. I can't go there with that one, regardless of how I looked. What can I tell you? So I walked right up to him.
This is how you shower at Coachella.
Nice shirt. And you know what he said? A shower caddy. There's boys and girls showers. And I went, he crushed it. Go in the shower.
Were you friends?
No, it's very industrial.
She's fully. And I was like, hey, looks like we're both cool. Because I had taken it as, if you're cool wearing that and I'm wearing it, I'm cool too.
Also,
and he took it as,
the water pressure
you're taking my cool away.
Most of it was like
I mean, can you? Dude, my uncool power is much more powerful than I realized. Can you imagine going to a festival and talking about the water pressure in the shower? Yeah, and when I realized that in that one moment of,
God, look at this content. You're talking about it right now.
I mean, it's not good. I literally became a puddle.
I don't know.
You know what's content? It's documentaries about setting festivals on fire.
All right,
I found my gym. All right, throw in mud.
There was a lot of
I don't know. I left my real clothes at home. The teacher was like, "This doesn't make any sense." I was like, "Well, whatever." Yeah. Stop asking questions.
I left him.
Yeah. I left my real clothes at home.
What'd you wear to school?
I don't know. It's been a tough day. I don't know what I wore to school. Okay, I'm wearing a gym uniform. Still good. I left my real clothes somewhere. I don't know where they are.
When it comes up in my alcohol,
teach the class, lady.
I know exactly how that breakdown is going.
Oh yeah.
Where that guy is now? That video from Europe, like a European
floundering,
great stuff. I mean, the entire place.
You never went back.
Who wore better? He wore better.
You can tell me that's not
much better. I probably had mine bloused. Everybody's checking out the melodies. They were checking out the melodies.
That was what they're doing.
No. It was not. It was not. Scott in Virginia. I was very small. My mom didn't want me wearing t-shirts that went past my knees.
Before the Trump showers
I appreciate that.
Drip.
Jared and Sam.
They're just sitting in there shaving their pubes, going drip, and I go, nobody will even tell. Drip,
because it looks long.
Well, it comes over the waistband,
right?
And I'd love to ask this woman, like, well, you had your mask up the first time.
You ever wore a bloused white zombie?
She came out of the shower. Now your mask is down.
I did.
So what changed?
She showered. I did. Maybe it was because she stunk. I've never seen anyone else wear a bloused white zombie t-shirt.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? You might be the one being judgmental here and jumping to conclusions.
Another picture.
You don't think so? I don't want to smell this. You don't think he would have been like, "Hey man, I appreciate you until I shower."
No, I'd be like, "You look like a."
It's very possible, man.
It'd be like,
what does that mean when you blouse it?
Yeah, it's like when you tuck it in and kind of pull it out.
Okay,
like long enough that you can really pull it out. Well, no, they have their own private.
Oh, they were huge. They're on buses. They have showers on buses.
Well, there's the 9 tier down.
Yeah, isn't it?
Like I saw a clip of
that lady. Yeah,
it
looked like on me specific one tier. It looked like I was a young girl at a
Paris Hilton and then shower girl.
Then that lady. Yeah,
like you were wearing
shower experience lady. It looked like I needed a side. I like to go town to town giving my shower experiences. No, not in my house.
Let's just try to get her likes.
Because then weren't like the shorts also long?
No, I guess so.
Everything's big and bad.
Also, I don't think you should be called an influencer if there's no evidence of you ever influencing anybody.
Yeah, let's stop. I can't. We go to her shows.
You can be like a video
Riley will buy a shirt, but I tried to buy a shirt once. Her shirts are so oversized.
That's all it is.
They're designed to
Coachella
be like
attendee with a phone. Yeah. Gives her experience.
Like, I can't wear that.
Is this the shower line? It's 8 a.m. The sun's already cooking.
That's not the style for me.
Shower line,
but I love that she's like, this is the style of shirt that
enough to make you question life choices.
All of her
Coachella, $1,000 for tickets. All boxy and long.
Boxy and long. I mean, look at these.
Yeah, it is.
Plus, cover their noses, cover up some of your body. Like, hey, guess what? Good for you, right?
What? There's probably poo in there.
Whatever.
Okay.
They're pooing in the line?
We're getting off track.
Maybe pooing in the shower.
Yeah, probably pooing in the shower.
Probably pooing. If they're shaving pubes in the shower, they're pooing.
Well, you just got covered up.
I mean, if we were at Coachella,
I appreciate that. I was going to say the same thing about you.
Shower.
Oh, you think there's a little daring going on? Look at the shirt he's wearing.
I go like this.
I want him to see him get the Hawaiian shirt. I think he should use.
You want him to do? By the way, I looked at a picture of Walton Goggins with his shirt off the other day.
No,
and I was literally thinking,
I think that
Troy does not understand.
The
problem
with
the influencer stuff is they've convinced everybody that these festivals are like these great luxurious experiences.
Yeah.
When it's like it is more like what Danielle was describing.
I didn't even
We're
think
just
of it
a
that way,
sweaty
but you
mess.
might be right.
Like going to a festival for
you're
full
probably right.
weekend, overnight.
I will tell you, when
if
it
you're
comes
not
to
a very, very rich
not having
person,
any gas,
just seems
and
like
being cool.
miserable. Like
Everybody
you're
seemed to have
looking
a
at a
great time
concert
at
ticket that
Coachella.
costs $1,000.
See how
and
it
going
all
like,
ties
Jesus
in
Christ,
together?
That's expensive. I
So,
will never financially recover from
by
this.
the way,
which is how
the
I would look at that
performances
concert
I
ticket,
saw from
then guess
Coachella.
what? Coachella
You'd be
is
very
very
uncomfortable
uncomfortable
with
with
this
this
festival. So not only is it
If
this
I
coming
like
weekend,
it,
but
I
it was
like
last
it
weekend
nice.
as well.
The
3 hour
performances
festival.
all seem great.
Some people call
So,
it
like
a concert with an
Megan
opening
Thee
act.
Stallion was up
That's
there.
the type of festival I like.
Lady Gaga was up there. You know, it was everybody had a great time.
The Misfits?
I saw some Misfits clips. They still sound great.
Incredible. You go see the Warped Tour and really don't
and I
show
love
up until
that
they
they
like.
place.
You know,
Coachella?
You don't know.
No.
They pick those names out of a hat in the morning.
New Jersey.
They sound good.
They so mad when I would get there and I would look at the big board.
Of course they did.
And I would see that a band I
I was
wanted
in
to see had already
Florida.
played.
I was getting a tan.
I get it.
Oh, so
That's why people don't go to baseball. It was the Misfits, same lineup.
Yeah.
Different time slots every single day.
I mean, I
because
just
it was
think
a,
it's.
like,
I
it was a
love
no
that
headliners type.
kind of
festival,
old.
you know?
I like a headliner.
Maybe
Are
it's like a
doing
raffle. Like
festivals
like
like this,
pick-
and
Yeah.
really
You
like
just pick a time out of a hat.
the kids are into.
It's
Like everybody's
okay,
into
Dropkick
it. You know what I
Murphys
mean?
played at 10 a.m. I didn't get crazy.
Massive.
I would
Yeah.
get
And there's
there
just this
when the show
whole
started and
new
pray to God that my
appreciation
band
that comes
started
from a younger
early so I
generation,
could
but
go home.
also those of us that
Back
actually
then?
grew up with the bands get really
Yeah.
happy to see them.
Remember, it was in Asbury Park.
performing in front of a
There was no
massive
shade.
crowd of younger
No.
people.
None.
Over the summer,
Like Limp
and you
Bizkit
just
did it at what?
clocked.
Lollapalooza. Don't worry,
But
they
as
did
a
it.
kid, you could do that.
And
They
like
just
they freaked out
spread
for
it
it.
out.
And I was like,
I
this
wanna
is
see the
great.
Deftones.
But they're how I'd be in the parents' tent.
They are.
That's right.
But so much
Because that sounds like the shit now.
culture
Water
now
available at
comes from
$14
that
a
stuff.
bottle.
Like there's so
That's
much
fine.
rock
Now
culture
every other
infused
festival's
in
like 3
everything
days
right
long.
now
Too long.
that people
Way too much.
But that's how they freak out when they
bands
see
make
these
a
bands.
ton
I think
of
it's
money.
awesome. A ton of money. But
But
and,
it's all
and they can
nostalgia.
all make
There's
a
no,
ton
like,
of money because everything
new
is so
rock.
expensive. And like when you
No,
have
what
people
the
for
old
3
rock
days, they're
because
casted,
they go like
which
this,
means they
old
have
rock's
to buy
fun.
shit. So
Yeah.
because the new rock
You can
sound,
charge whatever.
I mean, it's Green Day. They've been around for 40 years.
That's right.
Food prices
The
at
closest
Coachella, it was
they
like
had to new rock
$120
was
for
that
some
Led Zeppelin band.
tacos and like
Right.
Zeppelin.
No, the one that sounded
Well,
exactly
what
like
else are you
Led
gonna do?
Zeppelin. But listen to this: like, take $1,000 for tickets,
Oh, you're thinking
housing,
of,
food, and still no
no,
dignity.
not
not
Wolf
Wolf
Mother.
Mother, but that's a good. I mean, they
What do
did
you-
sound
you're
like
gonna Coachella,
Led
Greta Van
Zeppelin.
Fleet?
Greta Van Fleet.
Yep.
Right. Like
Yeah,
you
Greta
look
Van
at this
Fleet,
sea
everybody
of
was like, this
people,
band's amazing, and they're new,
thousands
this is
upon
fantastic.
thousands upon
It sounds like
thousands
an
of
old
people.
band.
They're like, yeah, that's
We
why we
all
like
paid
it.
the same amount of
that's the
money
only
to
reason
be
people
here.
like The Weeknd.
Guess what? You're all looped in
Because he
to
sounds like Michael?
one
Yeah.
group.
I'm like, oh,
There's
yeah,
no
no, I do
dignity
like
per
Michael. I like
person.
Michael
Well, well,
What
yeah,
about
that's
that?
true.
No, I
The
like
documentary
one
was
step
full
down
of
from
lies.
Paris. I like everything
We
about it.
decided it's too soon.
Troy did put her at the third step.
Troy,
To be
you
totally
wrong?
fair, that is where you put
Don't
her.
shit on a dead man. You know?
You mean shower
Right.
experience
Absolutely.
girl who goes town to
That's
town
right.
giving her experiences of different showers?
Well, he didn't
Without ever
do any
actually
time.
showing a shower?
You're trying to knock out
Shower girl. We love shower. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I was doing time.
Yeah.
But
And then,
the problem with Coachella was it's like a
Do you have
camping
the
event.
Green Day
it's all
footage from
weekend long,
Coachella?
so people go and camp.
like
and one of the things that
this?
people like to do is car camp. You know,
Well,
because
yeah.
people like
Pulling
to
either-
camp and they like to
yeah.
glamp,
Actual
and they like
footage.
to car camp. They like to be comfortable.
Yeah,
they don't want to
and
be
then,
like out there. And it's
Green Day decided
way
to
better
light
for
off
the promoters too.
some fireworks.
To
And
not
this looks
have
to be in
these
the
days
luxurious area.
People out there like
This looks
Woodstock,
like the
where you're
roped
just
off, like,
in the mud.
Everybody came
for
in
3
fancy
days,
clothes and probably have
dehydrated
a
and sleepless, and
hotel
everything that they're going to.
So
after.
there's a
That
huge
looks like downtown
population that
Disney.
go to Coachella
and
and
downtown
downtown
Disney.
Disney.
Just a good time.
And
That's nice. Yeah.
the way
That's
Coachella
nice.
has been
Is
forever
it pleasurable?
is, and then
The gates will open at like 9:30.
enjoy the fireworks,
or you know whatever time.
Yeah.
But if your car,
there you go, enjoy them.
You get there at like 2:00 in the morning. They let you in. Like that's how it's been throughout the years. They'll let you in. And
just firing fireworks, and it looks like it literally hit a restaurant.
And like it's not like they're going to start the festival. They let you in. You get
trees
your
are on
spots.
fire.
Some people pay for premium spots so you can get the right spot.
Yeah, look.
And then
you're going to light off
you
pyro.
Just
Sometimes going to go in
sleep
the
in your
audience.
car
It's
until
part
the
of the
festival
fun.
starts.
Things happen.
It's part of the fun.
This year,
it's Coachella. It's a wild time.
They hired a new security
rock
team.
and roll.
I saw, by the way,
and that scene right there really looks like rock and roll with the white picket fence and everything.
Paid for them.
That's for the top tier influencers.
It really is a top tier area.
Pay later.
I mean, they probably
don't
get
us back into that conversation.
I'm just saying. 60%.
5-10 grand.
Just saying.
In that area.
Well, that's the thing. They're like, what if we raise concert ticket prices like insane, and then you guys just go into debt for that? You don't want to miss it, do you?
Oh, bro,
you don't want to miss it. They're like, well, what if I told you $20 down? I have $20. Like falling short. $20 to go see $20 today. Yeah, I can do that.
How much later?
What?
Oh,
just the whole thing plus.
I was chilling with the Wheeze.
10% interest.
And don't worry, if you pay it off quick, you won't even feel it.
I can't believe
You're
it,
probably going to pay it off quick, right?
Yeah.
It just exploded
really
like
quick.
that.
I just watched this girl show me how to shower,
I'll just go to Coachella.
And then it exploded.
But they hired a new security company, so
shaving my pubes.
These poor
my
people,
pubes in the shower, bro.
they line up, and some of them got there at like 2 o'clock in the morning. The security company goes, "Yeah, no, you can't get in until 9:30." And they were like, "What? That's not how this works at all." And they were like, "Yes, it does."
No, I
You're
couldn't
not
know.
getting in
I just heard.
until 9:30.
I saw people talking
and
about
then
it.
Everybody
on
starts to slowly show up and show up
and
and
Sam's
show
just
up,
like, well, that's
and it
true.
gets so backed up.
Right, because
with
I bet you
everybody
it's like a chain
trying to
reaction.
get
You
in.
get in there and you see like a
that there
pile
are
of
people
pubes, and you're like,
waiting in
my
their
pubes are
cars
kinda long. I'm gonna shave mine
for like
too.
Can you
12 and 13
Can you 100% tell me? First of all, they're in the shower.
They don't. They're just
maybe
waiting.
They don't have their phone.
They're in the.
I saw a shower girl. She had her phone in the shower.
Ambulances are coming.
Well, she's
because
a
people are
third-tier
passing
influencer.
out. They have no water.
And
they're
wanna hear
pissing
the
and shitting
question
all
that
over
you asked.
themselves.
Yeah, no bathrooms.
No bathrooms.
Because
and we know what some
the answer
people are
is
getting
already.
out of the car to piss. I mean, Troy, can
I
you
mean, he's
imagine?
been to
You
festivals
have that
like
van.
this
Sometimes
before.
you piss in the seat.
Yeah.
Seat would be so.
Who hasn't? I mean, they're amazing.
How many bottles do you have? 12 or 13 hours worth of bottles?
I don't.
I mean, there is an age limit.
Yeah, I feel like I went
But it'd be hard for
once or something, or maybe I was invited and blew it off.
I would go to work for every year.
and that's what you'd say
Like
to your
as a
girl.
kid?
You go, I told you to get a whizzy.
I told you to get a whizzy.
Didn't I
But
tell you
then,
to get a
like, then
whizzy?
festivals on
Mike, you'd
like,
have no problem
just
whatsoever.
There's a joke for that.
One time I went to Jones Beach and I think it was Disturbed,
They go,
Rob
I don't
Zombie,
know.
and Godsmack.
The guy
were
in
playing.
front of me
That's
gets
a
out of his
festival.
car
That
and
is a
he
concert.
unloads
And I
his
showed
jug
up
every
late,
30
got there just in
seconds.
time for Rob
I feel like
Zombie,
he's just
and then
taking
left right
advantage
after.
of the fact that he has a
Yeah, you
jug.
just went to a concert.
But people
I
were
love
also
when
getting
that happens.
dehydrated because they had no water.
Where it's just you're
Then
just
the
in
cars
headliner
started running out of
and
gas
walk right in, the
because
headliner
they're like
plays, you
idling
walk
out
right
there
in.
because they're trying to
Nothing
keep their
better.
AC on.
And in this
while
case,
it was
wow.
even better. And then
Rob
their
Zombie
cars
was going
ran
on
out of
second.
gas.
Godsmack was going on
Which
third.
means that they
So I
had
left,
no air conditioning.
and nobody was there.
Everybody was there for
even if,
Godsmack. I mean,
even if the
it was maybe the
started making
easiest drive home I've ever had in my entire
The
life. The festival itself was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't hear any
You know what I
complaints
mean?
about the
I
actual
did. I
festival.
listened
It
to the
was
first
just
song. I think it was the
getting in.
Army commercial.
That was hell for all these poor people.
You know, we were good to go.
You didn't hear Voodoo, though.
Well,
I've heard it before.
Oh.
then once they got in, they wait 12 or 13 hours. So if you're at Coachella, they finally get in.
Yeah.
The security team is in such a panic, and somebody's like that they're just
You know,
letting everybody
I
park
shave my
wherever.
pubes in the shower. You don't
So
even
the people
see
who paid all
pubes.
this money for
But you
quote unquote
heard somebody
premium
say
parking
that.
spaces,
And
and
it
it
kinda
kind of
sparked
sparked
this
this
full.
idea in your head.
You
Like,
don't
oh, I
have
don't
to
even
park your
realize
car
you could do
wherever.
that and see what happens.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
You're like, oh my god.
Right away, right?
Then they get out.
Yeah.
And they park their
What if you
cars.
had pubes and
I guess there are showers,
butt hair, butt-
out and
butt-
about.
butt
You would
crack.
shave your butt?
But there were
You wouldn't
people
just stop
saying
at
that
the-
the
you know,
shower
get down to, like,
lines
your legs
were
and
crazy
stop. You have
long.
to shave the
And
inside
then they
and the
get in their
backside.
showers, and I saw
No,
them
you're
on
right.
TikTok.
Yeah, 'cause
That's how I
otherwise it's
keep
gonna
up
look
with
weird
this
and
stuff. I
bad.
look at their TikToks.
Well, you just
and
feel
these
like
people were
left
saying that the showers
So if you're at Coachella,
were full
and
of
somebody
pubes.
says, "Hey, I heard somebody."
They
shave
said
their
they
pubes in
stunk
the
and they were
shower."
full of
Oh, yeah,
pubes.
this guy's
and I'm
bent
sitting there
over with a
going,
bic in the anal.
You'd say-
no, it's not life. Who goes
You know
to
what? Now that you
Coachella
say
and
that.
says,
Yeah.
I'll shave
know
my... I
the
got a guy
pubes are
leaning
not just
forward with a
hair?
bic in his anal because they were
Right,
short
you
and
put your leg up.
curlies.
Put your leg up.
Were people in there trimming,
Yeah.
or were
Oh, I
they
got
incidental?
in the Coachella shower?
No.
You know what?
Yeah, there could be
Yeah,
incidents.
if I'm
No.
hanging with my
It was
buddy Sam,
mounds.
he's like, dude, shave your
Mounds?
butt hair.
In every shower?
Yeah.
You
They
saw mounds
said,
of pubes.
I go, you can't just
First
shave
of
your
all,
pubes. You
I
got to shave
was
your
not
butt hair too.
afforded the
You
opportunity
to go to Coachella.
Sure.
But
I get that.
from what I heard from my sources,
courteous.
I know, I should've
because
used
you'd
my
probably
Klarna
be wearing
points.
Your Pilates
from what I heard from my
shorts
sources
and no underwear.
on
No
TikTok,
So you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
right?
There
You
were
want to be
mounds
clean
of
if you're not
pubes,
wearing
which means
underwear.
You
people
wouldn't think
were
about that
trimming
before going
and
to Coachella?
shaving, which means that
sometimes it's like you
people
gotta get your stuff
were like,
together,
"Well, I
you
got to
know,
have
I
less
gotta get
pubes."
this.
Got to drop
You know
toots off
what?
in Connecticut.
I'll trim when I get there.
It's like,
Who's
and then you're in
going
the
to
car on your way
Coachella
there,
and
like,
going,
And I'm just
I'll
outside
trim when I
Troy's
get
place
there.
honking. Let's go.
That's
insane
Let's
behavior.
Go. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta go.
Let me
And I
leave
ran
my
out, I'm like,
shower
hey, what's up,
pristine.
Sam?
I'll
Hey, what's up?
trim once I get to
Rob,
Coachella.
Rob.
Even bringing
and I go like this. I go like this. All right, have you ever been to Coachella, Danielle? Yeah, I got the ticket. Oh, okay, great. You got the parking pass? Yeah, I got the parking pass. I just don't understand. You brought waters? Yeah. Bringing a shower caddy. You shave your beehole to a festival. Oh, I know. I feel like if you're going to a festival, your best bet is you might get a rinse off. Slam my hand down on the wheel. Damn it! But the idea that you're going to get a full real shower.
You better shave your butthole.
We'll do it when we get there.
Opens up his notes app, checks his to-do list. It's just shave.
That's what I feel like. The whole thing, right?
One thing left.
You're going to be sweaty. You're going to be gross. I go, that means it's been like 10 days since you shaved your beehole. They're going to shoot fireworks into the audience.
Don't worry. Once we get to Coachella.
And you're going to have a good
shower.
They're selling all this, like, body deodorant. So just use
Plus, if the hair is just starting to grow back, you don't want it to get all itchy at Coachella.
Sam, did you see a photo
shaving there
or a
in the
video
heat,
of
I would
actual
probably
pubes?
say-
It was described to me.
I mean, unless
Okay,
you come with
so
like a little like talcum
people might be
powder or some sort of like.
lying.
I go, did
Why
you
would
bring
they
the
lie
talc?
about People don't,
Because
first of all, they don't really lie on
Your
TikTok.
legs are going to chafe.
But that's why you got to do it
And
first.
why would they lie about that? Let's listen to the
But you
girl
have
you
to have
just had
the
up.
powder.
She was giving her whole shower experience.
Sam, did you bring the talc?
These
You
people
were
are
supposed to bring it,
invaluable
bro. I'm not
sources
shaving
of
my
news.
asshole at Coachella.
I shaved it at home where I was supposed
Well,
to.
yeah, she's
I shaved it.
outside on a
Back
giant
when I
field.
told you to shave yours, I was already shaving mine.
Well,
While
you
I was
got to
on the
do
phone
it.
with you.
She's
You don't want to be chafing while
outside
Charlie
on a
XCX
giant field in
No,
2025.
you can't be a brat with a hairy butthole.
That's as dangerous as
That's
it
what they
gets.
say. There's a song. I think it's track 7.
for the camera. Hairy
You gotta get
Hairy
you gotta get
butthole.
clout.
It's just all about how you can't
Well, yeah,
be a
you gotta
brat
show allegiance
with a
to
hairy
the
butthole.
establishment.
She tells you to get the wax the week before.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You
Exactly.
gotta figure out, hey, I'm one of these guys. You want to circle
Right.
pit to horror business?
Right.
You're like,
By the way,
chafing
I don't
so
understand how
bad.
that's
You
still the
goddamn
establishment.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, you can't
join
join
our
our
circle
circle
pit.
Well, who's wearing the masks?
Not the
You can't
establishment.
hang with us.
Not the former establishment.
I mean,
All right, you
when
know what,
see
you turn
people
me
wearing
on.
masks.
Yeah,
what
you got to
side
do
you
it.
think?
Yeah.
You have to do it, and it has to be the
Yeah.
freshest
I know.
shave.
I know what side they're on.
Let's see what her.
It's just I can't
I
imagine.
wish they weren't. I wish I could. I wish I could
13
argue.
hours to get into a dumb festival.
That's
That's the part
airtight.
that like really.
That one, and then you got pubes.
You know, I'd like to go. Oh, you believe all
it's
your
gonna go
right-wing
wrong
conspiracy
next.
theory.
I just like that's insane.
I can't go there with that one. Waiting that long. Because
13
What can I
hours?
tell you?
I mean, and I
12
would
hours?
Like,
This is how you shower at
my
Coachella.
tolerance for all this stuff is so low now. I mean, I can't imagine
shower
how quickly
caddy.
I would just go.
There's
I'm going
boys
to
and girls
take a shower and
showers.
go home.
Yeah.
Because there would be a big part of me that wanted to go
Go in
home
the shower.
anyway. Like I went to, I mean,
very
you never
industrial.
believe this, but
She's fully
I went to a
clothed.
social engagement
Okay,
in the
just finished.
this
I'm gonna give the
weekend.
showers a
Oh
6
my
out of
god,
10.
dude!
They weren't
thought
the
you were
worst thing
divorced
ever.
ever.
It also, like, it
I
was
did
a
so
hassle.
much this week.
The water pressure was so hard. Most of it was like a
Nice.
mist.
I mean,
did
and
so
then-
can you,
much.
dude?
That's Trump's Coachella.
I know,
Hard
right?
water- You're like future woman.
I am like.
Can you
future
imagine
woman.
going to a festival
On
and talking
Thursday?
about the water
we did
pressure?
we
in
did
the
a social
shower?
engagement.
What are we doing?
with
I mean-
with
You gotta put
you
content
and
up.
Troy?
Yeah, look at this content.
and my
You're talking
lady,
about it right now.
What do
and
we
Jim
get? It's not
McClure
good.
and
What
Tony
are we doing?
Burton.
I don't know. What
We
do
had
you
a
know?
beautiful
what's
Italian
content?
dinner.
What?
Documentaries
It's great.
about setting festivals on fire. And I
All right,
said,
well, let's
I mean,
do that
and
again.
it,
All right,
it was
throw
so
in
mud.
There was a lot of anger
Everybody
in
enjoyed
the
each
late
other's company.
90s.
The very next night, I did
Specifically from
another
white
social
men.
thing.
I don't believe that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot.
That's a lot for anybody.
You guys,
You know, we got a
do you
lot of
remember
good music.
Taylor Strecker from
A lot of
Yeah,
good
of course,
music.
Remember We
absolutely.
Love Taylor?
Yeah, of
Still
course.
listen to some.
So she has
Still good.
multiple times
You think
now.
I'm passing
She
by
throws
Limp
parties
Bizkit
at her
Reel when it
apartment.
comes up in my algo?
And she
I want the
camps
whole thing.
inviting me.
I know exactly
and I
how
keep
that
getting the
breakdown is
e-vite
going.
going like,
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
love Taylor. I should
Still
go to
watch
that.
it.
And I click
That
yes.
video from Europe,
And
like,
she sends these invites like a
Great
month early.
stuff. I mean, the
I
entire
click yes
place
every
is fucking
time.
going
And
bananas.
every time
You
without
gonna tell me
fail.
that's not back?
You get the reminder.
It's back.
Oh,
Everybody's
today's the day.
checking out
wanna
their
bring
melodies.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not. They
doing
were checking out the melodies.
I get that.
I'm not doing that.
Of course not.
And I go,
Scott in Virginia.
I don't say anything. I don't send anything. I don't do
Well,
anything. I
Biden's
just go.
fault.
I don't know. Maybe
Why?
she won't
Before
notice I
Trump
wasn't
showers,
there.
Probably
just
doesn't.
go drip.
And I,
Right?
no, I found out she does. They're just sitting in
But
there
I go, I'm
shaving
not
their
going
pubes,
to that.
just going drip.
This
Drip.
time, finally,
Drip.
I was like,
No,
okay,
you're
I'm
right.
going to go. Nicole was going.
right.
She was like, no, you got
But
to
I'd
go.
love to ask this woman.
I was like,
we had
okay,
your
I'm
mask
going.
up the first time you
I was
were on
driving
camera.
through traffic.
You
It was
came out of the shower,
Friday
now your mask is down.
at like whatever.
So what changed?
7 p.m.
She
is when I'm
showered.
driving
Yeah, she
to.
lives in the city.
Maybe
Jersey,
maybe it
so I
was
have to drive
because
through
she
the city to
stunk.
get to Jersey, and she didn't want to smell her own stink.
It's a beautiful place.
Should come through
You
Staten
know what I
Island.
mean? You might be the one being judgmental
That
here
sounds
and
horrible.
jumping to conclusions.
I smell it.
I mean, if you're going to people,
I
I'm
don't
not
wanna smell
going to
this
take any
anymore.
shots at
Let
anybody,
me-
but that
let me
sounds
put this
horrible
mask on
for
until
2
I shower.
reasons.
And
very
I'll leave it
possible.
at that.
okay, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
And they need shower. They have all those influencers there.
No,
like,
I forgot
it's
about
not.
it.
like
both
Paris
of the
Hilton is
reasons
not
are
going
not
to rough
people.
it for a weekend.
Well, no, they have their own private.
Well, that's backstage. They're on
One
buses.
might
They have
be.
showers on buses.
Well,
The other
there's
could be
next
location,
tier
but I
down
told you I'm not
influencers.
going any
Like, I
further
saw a
than
clip
I think
of,
that
like, some
lady is
gift
at one tier down
Wow.
from
You
Paris
think
Hilton.
she
No,
is
this is
the
why
next
I
one
know.
tier?
This
She
is
might
why
be
I
the
know I
third
wouldn't
tier.
survive the 13 hour wait.
I think it's Paris Hilton.
This is the second time I've done it now. Recently, I was invited to go to a wrestling show experience lady. I drove 45 minutes or so.
I like to go town to town.
Went around the block. There was no parking. I looked for parking for 15 minutes. I texted the person that invited me. If there's no parking, I'm going.
No, I guess so.
And drove right back home. And I was also. I don't think you should be called an influencer if there's no evidence of you ever influencing anybody.
Yeah, let's stop.
Yeah, that's you could just say it.
That is like a video. That is a shithead thing to do.
It's funny, but
because I was like, I started thinking about like
Coachella.
I could park really far away.
Gives her experience.
Subways.
The shower line. It's 8 a.m. The sun's already.
And then I started thinking about what if I drove back home right now?
Theme park
and it made me the stench.
No, that's
enough
a shitty
to make
thing
you question
to
life
tell somebody
choices.
like, yeah, I'm on my
Coachella,
way.
$1,000 for tickets.
Was that person person? Was it just the two of you? I mean, look at these.
No.
These...
I was joining a group, covering their nose. So that's fine. It wasn't like I wasn't dishing.
Hey, guess what?
They were it's less shit.
Right? They said we're going. You should come join us.
That's
and then I said I'm joining you.
It would be really bad
in the shower.
It was just you and somebody.
I probably would not. If they're shaving somebody there in the shower, that's fair.
I
get that.
That was like a waste of 2 hours.
If we were at Coachella, dude, I dare you to do it in the shower.
But
you think there's a little daring going on?
See, I'm an eternal optimist. I looked at it as all of a sudden, all these hours that I wasn't going to get at home, I'm getting them back. No, I think because I was like, if I leave, I think that it is wrestling. I like wrestling, but I can watch wrestling at home. Is they've convinced everybody that these festivals are like these great luxurious experiences. When it's like but I don't even more like what Danielle was describing. Or just a sweaty mess. Like going to a festival for a full weekend, overnights.
Hey guys,
if you're not a very, very rich person, I'm here. It just seems like, and now I'm gone.
I'm going home.
Like if you're looking at a concert ticket that costs $1,000, and now I'm going like, Jesus Christ, that's expensive. I will never financially recover from this. Which is how I would look at that concert ticket. Through my ride home, then guess what? Get me to come back around. You're gonna be very uncomfortable. But I did the right thing and texted. I like a nice. So if they were like, no, we can get you, we can 3 hour, we can put you there. Some people call. They could have drawn me back, but they were like, "Oh yeah, it is a pain in the ass." I was like, "That's the type of festival I like."
Outside.
Oh yeah, parking is tough.
Let's go to a one-day.
Yes. I drove right home. So because I think about it, I go see the Warped Tour and really don't show up. But I just wasted this time. I better just go. I think about, oh my god, I get to go home right now.
No,
they pick those.
And like I get so happy. And it worked out so well.
So mad when I was
so happy driving home. Nobody was upset.
The band I wanted to see it already.
I got home and had just the best time ever. They would just mix up. I was at home on the couch.
Same lineup, shoes on, different time slots every single day because it was a no headliner type festival.
I like a headliner. Well,
it was like a rap.
It wasn't this weekend, but it would have been.
You just pick a time out of it.
But I mean, I probably wasn't like,
okay, Dropkick Murphys played at 10 a.m. I didn't get here in time.
So then I'm doing this. I'm going to this when the show started and pray to God that my band started networking event. I don't know what it was. That I have blown off multiple times.
Yeah,
and it's for a friend that I actually like.
Yeah, there was no shade.
And I'm also going to see Nicole. And I get there and I've driven all the way down to the Holland Tunnel.
Yeah, you just sweated it out.
So I'm pretty much there. She's in Jersey. She's literally right on the other side of the Holland Tunnel.
Oh, you could have gone to Jersey City through Staten Island.
Water available at $14 a bottle. I won't go any further than that.
Okay. Now every other festival is 3 days long.
But I go, and there's traffic going to the Holland Tunnel.
But that's how they take.
I'm looking at the thing. It's going to take 25 minutes to go 2.5 miles. And they can all make a ton of money because everything is so expensive. And like when you have people for 3 days, they're captive, which means they have to buy shit.
Time.
And I was already later than I said I would be there. I was way after the thing had started, and I was now.
It was like $120 or something.
I was now like 40 minutes even after I said I was going to be there.
What time? What else are you going to do?
But listen to this: like $1,000 for tickets, housing, food, and still no dignity. But I texted Nicole. You're going to Coachella for dignity? And I was like, hey, I'm about 25 minutes out. Do you think I should still come? Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. To God. We all paid the same amount of money to be here. Guess what? That's all I wanted. You're all looped in. All I wanted was to one. We're headed out soon. There's no dignity per person. All I wanted was.
What about that influence?
We're probably only going to stay for another 30 minutes or so. Because I would have, people would have been honking. My tires would have been screeching. You turning around. I don't care about the drive back the other way down a one-way street. I'm getting back on the West Side Highway and going home. With that, I would have been actually showing a shower. Glee.
Shower girl.
Shower girl. We love shower girl. But you know what Nicole said? Well, we'd love to see you. And I went, and then
she saw you.
Do you have the Green Day footage from Coachella?
Yeah,
and then I had to go. Yeah, didn't turn around.
Yeah. How long did you stay?
I stayed for 2 hours.
How long was the commute?
Yeah, and then Green Day decided to light off some fireworks. And this looks to be in the luxurious area.
For
this looks like the roped off, like
total.
Everybody came in fancy clothes and probably have a hotel that they're going to after. Like
it looks like downtown Disney.
I mean, I just told you of an incident where the commute was literally all I did.
That's nice. But I get that.
The commute was, back and forth, and then whatever, an hour and a half. Oh, enjoy the fireworks.
Was 0 minutes.
Yeah,
actually,
there you go.
Enjoy it.
You're under now it's circling the block for at least 15 minutes, probably more. Oh, I love it. It was like, nope. Goodbye.
There's no
and I thought I was going to get it again. And it looks like I was going to get another one. A restaurant area. I literally had to call my wife because I was laughing because I was like, trees are on fire. I tried to do it again, and it didn't work this time. Yeah, look.
But at least
you're going to light off pyro. Sometimes it's going to go in the audience. It's part of the fun. And by the way, it was a lovely time. It's part of the fun. They have a great place. They have great people over.
But you can
it is rock and roll. I got to meet one of the guys from scene right there. Really looks like rock and roll with the white picket fence and everything.
The guy who's
That's for the top tier influencers.
It really is a top tier area. I mean, they probably paid like shout out to Cashmere.
Got his own show now.
Let me tell you something. 5-10 grand. Any story about a guy who starts in that intern that ends up hosting a show?
It's a miracle. Usually, like I can't.
It's a miracle. I love that story.
Loaded, bro.
Oh my god! I did get Nicole. I think she was so offended, but I didn't care because the guy from Page 6 Radio was saying something like. He was saying something like, "No, it's been pretty easy, but it's been really fun." And she goes, "Oh yeah, it must be nice to just like walk in and host a morning show." Ha ha ha. You know, almost like, and then
I can't believe
before
it,
her sentence was even done, I leaned in and looked right at him, and I was like, she was the receptionist.
I was just watching this girl show me how to shower, bro.
And she just got morning radio,
and then it exploded.
That's the like. Let's not confuse origin stories.
I shaving my pubes in the shower, bro. And then the fireworks
but it was
exploded.
Great. It was a great time. But that's all to say.
Is Matt Biggins?
I can't believe it.
Yeah, he was.
Was he drunk?
Yeah,
he had a solid buzz on.
No, I couldn't know.
I just heard.
I saw people talking about it on the video.
I saw. At one point, I was trying to tell a story. He kept interrupting it, and he said, like he said something like,
you know,
why don't she? And he ended it with a question, and I go, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to finish my story. Can you 100%? Can you 100% tell me? First of all, they're in the shower.
Whatever.
They don't. Maybe they don't have their phone in the shower.
I saw a shower girl. She had her phone in the shower.
Well, she's a third tier.
So anyway, what I know for sure is that,
and I want to hear the question.
It was way too much. Because and we know what the answer is already. And I also know that I probably would have made it 45 minutes.
I mean, he's been to festivals like this
before. I turned around, went home, and ate the cost of the ticket and everything.
Who hasn't? I mean, they're amazing.
Yeah. There is no. Can't imagine.
I don't know if I've
an experience. I mean, there I would go. Well, I'll miss this experience. I feel like I went if I go home once or going home. Or maybe I was invited in. Love blew it off.
It's the best. I would go to Warped Tour every year.
Nothing beats it.
You should take a kid this weekend. Yeah, that was the shit.
But
then festivals on just died.
One time I went to Jones Beach and I think it was Disturbed, Rob Zombie, and Godsmack. I have a live podcast to do the people. That's a festival.
Chomping at the bit for.
And I showed up late.
In Las Vegas,
got there just in time for Rob Zombie,
and
then left right
after.
Yeah, the venue is the Comedy Cellar at the Rio.
What time?
It's at 5 p.m. local time.
Are tickets still available?
Tickets are available. If you go to NotSam.com, there's a ticket link for it.
And Stone Cold's nothing better.
And in this case, it was even better because Rob Zombie was going on second, Godsmack was going on third. You know who loves? So I left, and nobody was leaving.
And George Kittle.
Everybody was there for Godsmack.
George Kittle's
it was maybe the easiest drive home I've ever had in my entire life.
Have you hollered at George Kittle? I bet
I hollered at George Kittle with the reg. You know what I mean?
You're
I listened to the first song. I think it was the Army
commercial. Professional level.
And
I mean, I bet he's going to be in Vegas.
I don't know if he'll be there on Thursday.
I've heard it before. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might holler.
He seems like the kind of guy.
He's a super. So if you're a legit super fan, it's going to be fun. It'll be a fun time.
Do you think?
And somebody's like,
Hot Dog
I
shaved
my pubes in the shower. You don't even see
talk to him just in Spanish.
But you heard somebody say that.
Yeah.
And I hope not, because his Spanish is not very good. I didn't realize you could do that. His hot dog Spanish is terrible.
Would you do it? But he thinks it's
right away, right? I think. Yeah. He likes to flex it.
Do you remember when Cesar Millan came in?
He did try to. But his Spanish is bad.
Shave your butt?
Yeah, no, I know.
Is bad. Like, we've had conversations. Like there are times where like
legs and then stop.
My Spanish is better than his Spanish. It's bad Spanish. No, you're right. Because otherwise it's going to look weird.
But like
bad.
Cesar Millan came in and Hot Dog tried to be all cool and talk to him in Spanish. So if you're at Coachella,
that's true. That's true. He might try to talk to him in Spanish.
Yeah, because in his mind.
But I get it. I mean, I talked to Hot Dog's mom in Spanish.
Well, yeah, but that's because you're trying to be endearing and cute.
You know what?
Now that you say trying to make these wrestlers.
I got a guy leaning forward with a bic in his anal.
I can talk to him. You put your leg up.
I talked to Hot Dog's mom. And I'm like, because she's like, she's worried.
In the Coachella shower.
About what? You know what?
And she's on speakerphone, and I just interrupt him, and I go, Mama, no te preocupes. I go, you can't just shave your. She goes like, shave your butt hair too. You go like, okay. That means don't worry. I get that. She goes like this.
Well, you'd be courteous because you.
She loves it.
She's tolerant.
Yeah. Oh my God.
With shorts and no underwear.
No underwear. She loves it.
So you got to do what you got to do.
I think she feels more secure. You want to be clean if you're not wearing underwear.
You wouldn't think about that before going to Coachella?
No, that's why I said it's got 2 seconds late.
Stuff together. I gotta get this.
Got to drop toots off in Connecticut.
All right, let's take a break. We got a lot to cover. We'll be right back. And I'm just outside Troy's place honking. Let's go. No, oh my God. Okay, I gotta go.
And I ran. I'm like, hey, what's up, Sam?
We'll be right back.
My beehole.
And
I go like this. All right, Troy, you got the ticket? Yeah. I got the ticket. Oh, okay. You got the parking pass?
We're back.
I got the parking pass. Okay. You brought waters? Yeah. I brought water. Okay. Do you shave
Sam
the
Roberts Show.
You go. Oh, I knew it.
Beehole.
I just slam my hand down on the wheel. Damn it. Well,
soon as we get there, you better shave your butthole.
We'll do it when we get there.
Opens up his notes app, checks his to-do list. It's just shave beehole.
Welcome back. Oh, I didn't shave beehole.
One thing left.
I go, that means it's been like 10 days since you shaved your beard.
969-1969 is the phone number here at Sam Roberts Show. We are live.
Right in the shower and take care of it.
Okay.
Happy Tuesday.
Plus, if the hair is just starting to grow back, you don't want it to get all itchy.
Don't forget, by the way.
Yeah,
you haven't heard our interview with
I would probably think
Andrew
Schultz,
unless
you come with like a little
Paul Walter Hauser. These are all up on the Sirius XM app. You can watch video at the Not Sam YouTube channel, youtube.com/NotSam.
But that's why you got to
also put like clips from the show, all kinds of stuff going up all the time at youtube.com/NotSam, as well as the Sirius XM app for audio.
You were supposed to bring it, bro. I'm not shaving my asshole at Coachella.
I shaved it at home, bro. I was supposed to.
Yeah, I shaved it. Back when I told you to shave yours, I was already shaving mine.
Yeah, I'm the man.
While I was on the phone with you.
Is that what you said?
No. Yeah, you don't want to be chafing while Charlie XCX.
I wasn't.
No, you can't be a brat with a hairy butt.
I find it funny that there's a song. I think it's track 7, and I support it. Don't get me wrong. I don't find it funny
how you can't be a brat
because it's wrong.
with a hairy
I find it
butt
funny because it's 100%
tells
right.
you to get the wax the week before.
Right.
What?
You know?
Right. Exactly.
What the fuck is he talking about? You want to circle pit to horror business?
Right.
And you're like,
I'm just trying to figure out what's so bad. You little goddamn son of a bitch.
Yeah, you can't join our circle.
How much he loves Kanye now? I was like,
this is weird.
No.
You can't
Just
hang
the
with
political stuff. I get it. The music,
you know when you
turn sucked for a while.
Yeah, you got to do
what
it.
A weird.
You have to do it, and it has to be the freshest shave.
Okay.
It's just I can't imagine
out for a little bit.
waiting 13 hours to get into a dumb festival.
Right, I'll turn my mic.
I was going to talk about Amy Lou Wood,
and then you got poops in the shower.
What the fuck is going to go wrong next?
He was going, dude.
I just like that's insane.
He's getting really strange. We got 20 minutes left in the show. I'm going to bring.
I mean, and I would.
Why are you firebombing the last 20 minutes?
My tolerance for all this stuff is so low now.
Things are going too well.
I mean, I can't imagine how quickly I would just go. I'm going to eat the ticket and turn around and go home. Because there would be a big part of me that wanted to go home anyway. Like I went to, I mean, you'll never believe this, but I went to a social engagement this weekend. Oh my god, dude! The point is I'm making is. I did so much.
Now you're starting to fireball
too much.
I did so much. Keep talking.
Well, I think I've allowed both of you guys far too much creative.
I am like future woman.
He doesn't know who we're talking.
On Thursday,
we did a social engagement with
my mic is going off.
You and Troy and my lady and Jim McClure and Tony Burton.
That's right.
And we had a beautiful Italian dinner.
It's delicious.
It was great. And I said, I mean, and it was social.
I don't know what to do with these guys.
Everybody enjoyed each other's company.
The very next night, I did another social.
Isn't that the truth?
I know.
Thank you for 9.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's a lot for anybody.
Especially the one over there.
Do you remember Taylor Strecker from remember We Love Taylor? Of course. So she has multiple times now. She throws parties at her apartment.
You're in way more time out than Troy is.
Inviting me, and I keep getting the Evite going like, yeah, I love Taylor. I should go to that.
You think it's unjustified that I said you're in
and she sends these invites like a month early. I click yes every time.
Justified.
And every time without fail.
But I do
get
wonder
the reminder when it's like
today's
the whole
day.
world has agreed it's permissive to like make fun of Katy Perry. Like we were talking about earlier this morning.
Of course not.
Meanwhile, I don't say anything. I don't send anything. I don't do anything.
Made fun of on SNL.
I don't know.
And I
maybe
knew
by I wasn't there. I knew they were going to have to apologize for it. Not because they should have apologized for it. But I knew they were going to have to apologize for it because number one,
finally,
she's beloved right now.
Okay, I'm going to go. Nicole
was
the
British
actress
from White Lotus, and everybody loves her.
Okay,
I'm going. And number 2,
through traffic,
because they were doing this sketch called White POTUS.
7 p.m.
It's like White Lotus. Except all the characters are replaced by political figures.
It's a beautiful place.
Like the family with the dad who went to Duke. That's like the president, President Trump, and all this.
I mean, if you're going to people's
apartments, and there's just a non-sequitur,
but that sounds
in the middle of the thing where one of them plays Amy Lou Wood's character, and the whole bit is like, look how big my teeth are. No, it's and not. You're going. I mean, I get
both
it.
of the reasons are not
fine, but it just comes out of nowhere. Like the rest of it is, we're making fun of politicians, and then also
the other could be location. But I told you, I'm not going any further
on the show.
So you get to Jersey.
Has big teeth.
Wow.
No, and this is why I know.
You know,
this is why I know I wouldn't survive the 15-hour wait.
I guarantee you,
this is the second time I've done it now recently.
And so they did have to go to a wrestling show in Queens,
which is amazing because
I drove 45 minutes or so. Got to Queens, went around the block. There was no parking.
But did you see this?
I looked for parking for 15 minutes. I texted the person that invited me. If there's no parking, I'm going home.
Yeah, now you're okay.
And drove right back home, and I was so happy.
You didn't just go to a lodge.
No,
you're both unshunned at the moment.
happy.
But so this is insane. I mean, I was the first one.
No. But funny. I was saying, and I wasn't because I started thinking about like
nowadays,
I could park really far away,
and especially SNL, like they wanted subways or like I don't know what to do. And then I started thinking about what if I drove back home right now.
And literally, that dude is playing RFK.
That's a shitty thing to do.
Everybody
tell somebody like,
yeah,
I was that person.
That's John Hamm, buddy.
Was it just the two of you?
I know. No. I was joining a group.
Okay.
So it wasn't like, I wasn't ditching.
They were like, it's less shitty.
They said, we're going. You should come join us.
That's
and I said, I'm joining.
It would be really bad if it was just you and somebody else.
I probably would not leave somebody.
What happened? I gave an inch and what happened?
I wanted 9. A waste of 2 hours.
But
you start talking about John Hamm.
But it was given. I looked at it. We all
saw the picture.
Yeah, you're wrapping me in here. What do you want me to do?
I looked at it as all of a sudden.
Okay, and then you said this guy.
Because I didn't want to bring up John Hamm because there's only one thing you're going to talk about.
What?
I was like, if I leave,
that's wrestling. Mad Men?
It is wrestling, and I like wrestling, but I can watch wrestling at home. No, that's not what you talked about.
Not the people that were there.
No, but there's
other wrestling.
Gas getting there.
I don't care, but I don't even. People that don't even understand. It's like
and the tolls,
rolling a boulder uphill every morning.
And it's fun.
And somehow I make
it. You're like, you know what I mean? Hey guys, like I'm outside the building.
And I was literally, I'm here. And now I'm gone.
I'm going home.
And I went too. I was like, and he's gonna then after the show gonna be like, and I said,
Danielle,
part of me wanted to text like halfway through my ride home, so they couldn't get me to come back around.
She's gonna go, you're a weird guy.
I don't respect you. Close. So they were like, no, we can get you. We can put you here. We can put you there.
And I'm like,
they could have drawn me back, but they were like, oh yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
She's like, yeah, that's exactly right.
Danielle, I need you to do some stuff because I'm your boss.
Yes.
She's gonna be like, and drove right home. I was so weird shit that you were saying. I go, I don't think about like, but I just wasted this time. I better just go. I think about, oh my god, I get to go home right now, and like I get so happy. And it worked out so well. Like I was so happy driving home. Nobody was upset. Now that they know that there's like a little bit of just the best time ever. There was an apology.
I don't know.
As we know,
home on a couch.
The only thing apologies really do,
definitely shoes on.
9 times out of 10, we were talking about it last week. It's the Streisand effect, where it brings so much attention to this. It wasn't this weekend that it really doesn't. But I mean, I probably watched White Lotus. Honestly,
the New York Post
was
so
happy. Great night.
And so then I'm doing this. I'm going to this party of Amy Lou Wood networking event. I don't know what it was. That and then I have blown off multiple
Amy Lou Wood,
and it's for a friend that I actually like. After SNL,
and I'm also going to
that she said was see Nicole. And I get there, and I've driven all the way now to the Holland Tunnel.
That's true.
Right, so I'm pretty much there. She's in Jersey City. She's literally right on the other side of the Holland Tunnel.
Oh, you could have gotten to Jersey City
3 days later. There is no evidence whatsoever that any of those tears were as a result of the SNL.
I go,
and now she has to explain why she was crying.
Going to the Holland Tunnel. It's going to take like
White Lotus star Amy Lou Wood breaks silence on crying in public after being mocked by SNL. Keep in mind. The only reason this was even a thing is because they reported that she was crying.
I was already later than I said I would be there. I was way after the thing had started,
also,
and I was now.
When she just posted a thing on Instagram,
I was now like 40 minutes even after I said I was going to be there.
After the SNL.
What time is it? Around.
Probably like 7:40.
Broke down in tears while on a walk in South London.
It's fine, I guess.
Scroll up a little.
Oh, sorry.
But I texted Nicole
with House of
Dragon.
I was like,
hey, I'm about 25 minutes out. Do you think I should still come?
Oh,
so they're crying.
And I was hoping to
She's
God.
crying.
I was praying.
Like, they're like, we're headed out soon.
That's all I wanted. All I wanted was,
oh my God,
we're headed out 4 minutes.
I get that.
If they, all I wanted was,
how long it's been.
We're probably only going to stay for another 30 minutes or so.
Just couldn't handle the gravity of the situation.
People would have been honking.
They're up there.
My tires would have been screeching. You turning around. I don't care if I have to drive back the other way down a one-way street.
I guess she goes on her Instagram stories to be like, home. By the way,
and I would have been in Glee. So I mean, they are making such
but you know what
an article.
Said?
It goes first she cried.
Well, we'd love to see
then
you.
The man hugged her.
And I went.
Then she wiped away a tear. The next day,
would
address the pictures of her crying on Instagram stories. And then she shared another supportive fan message that said she was reduced to tears because of people.
I stayed for 2 hours.
Tearing into their appearance.
Because I'll tell you what, I
thank you so much. Just to say, I actually wasn't crying about anything that the papers made out I was crying about. Something completely unrelated.
I get that.
You know what?
But also,
everybody knew that.
Evolved to the point where, like,
the people who wrote it.
I mean, I just told you of an incident where the commute was literally all.
They just decided to write that anyway.
But I get that.
The commute was, back and forth.
I'm going through her story.
Whatever, an hour and a half, and the total time spent was 0 minutes.
She posted a lot. Actually, negative 15 because you looked for parking.
She is. Yeah. And she's circling the block for at least 15 minutes, probably more.
Soak up being beloved.
Nope.
Goodbye.
Yeah, but also have
and I thought I was going to get it again.
Like
I thought I was going to get another one.
It's okay. It's not a big deal.
I literally had to call my wife because I was laughing because I was like, Jess, I tried to do it again.
Yeah,
and it didn't work
Amy,
this time.
and then write like a paragraph.
Now it's like there.
Thanks to
I
real
went
beautiful
to your
faces.
party.
And by the way, people love
I'm sure.
Yeah,
they have a great place. They have great people over.
Like a character.
But you can
Only thing I've read anywhere is how
meet one of the guys from Page
that's all
6
anybody talks
Radio
about is how hot she is.
Yeah.
The guy who used to.
So I mean,
got it.
Not Kashmir.
Okay. Yeah, no, she's shout out.
You want to see some men? Shout out to Kashmir.
Got his own show.
We should switch accounts for a day. Any story about a guy who starts as an intern that ends up hosting a show?
She read my mentions.
It's a miracle.
Usually, like I can't believe it.
She'd be posting
it's a miracle.
I love that story. On fire. She'd be posting so many stories. Oh my god! I did get Nicole good though. I think she's a little offended, but I didn't care.
Where are the good ones?
I don't know, Amy. It's only bad.
Page 6 Radio was saying something like,
Amy,
you reached the end.
He was saying something like, you don't know. It's trust me when I tell you.
Pretty easy, but it's been really fun.
It's going to be a treat. And she goes, oh yeah, it must be nice to just like walk in and host a morning show. Ha ha.
Just to say, I actually wasn't crying about anything that the papers made.
Before her sentence was even done, I leaned in and looked right at him, and I was like, she was the receptionist before she was a morning show host, and she just got morning radio.
No, you shouldn't.
Like
well, sometimes people throw shade.
Let's not confuse origins on Instagram. And I don't really know her to be a fan of Wendy's like that.
But that's all to say.
Shade at Katy Perry.
Yeah, if we're going to get into the hot goss, I want to get my friends from
he had a solid
Page 6 Radio on here.
I think that's just
I want to find out what they think.
Yeah, he had a solid buzz.
Kesha. Look at that.
At one point, I was trying to tell a story. He kept interrupting it, and he said, like, he said something like, you know, why don't she? And he puts that ended with a question.
PM
and I go, I don't know what you're talking
Wendy's
about.
Wendy's posted their thing at 8:30 p.m.
All right, she had a late night in the studio. Got some food.
Kesha loved that post so much.
I know.
She immediately went to a Wendy's and got a Frosty. What I know for sure
to go like, you know what, Wendy's? I would like to reward you.
It was way too much. Way too much. By giving you a customer
and I also know that I probably would have made it 45 minutes in line at Coachella.
Like, damn, I could
before I turned around and went home and ate the cost of the ticket.
I think even more so.
Yeah. There is
no, I can't imagine
on the Staten Island Ferry
an experience that I would go, well, I'll miss this experience if I go home.
No caption.
Because I like going home so much.
Yeah, just a smirk. Love it.
It's the best. But I think it was more than, it didn't just make her hungry.
You should take a break this week.
I think she was like, by the way, you guys don't have responsibilities. People are counting on me.
So blatant.
It's crazy.
I love it.
You
got something going on Thursday?
Danielle, do you know anything?
No.
Like what?
But now I'm curious.
I have a live podcast to do that people are.
The beef is usually in the Baconator.
In Las Vegas, Nevada.
Does it have a location?
Yeah, the venue is the Comedy Cellar at the Rio. Yeah, we keep talking about it. It's at 5 p.m. local time.
Are tickets still available?
Yeah. Tickets are available. If you go to notsame.com, there's a ticket link for it.
And Stone Cold's going to be
well, according to New York Post,
Penta will, though.
Issues
and Penta's the shit.
That's pretty big.
You know who loves
Penta?
Penta?
Collaborated with
and George
Dr.
Kittle.
Luke on our 2024
George Kittle's celebration is Zero
Katy Perry.
Have you hollered at George Kittle?
In 2024. I hollered George Kittle with the rag. We're keeping Dr. Luke in business in 2024, Katy Perry. That's the choice?
Yeah, 2014.
I mean, I bet he's going to be in Vegas.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll be there on Thursday.
Her first single was like
everybody knew about.
He seems like the kind of guy.
He's a super.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because she caught a lot of shit because it was like Woman's World or whatever, and she wrote it with Dr. Luke. Hot Dog is going to try to flex and talk to him just in Spanish.
Of all people, not you. Why don't you go back to Benny
because his Spanish is not very good.
Hot Dog's busy.
His hot dog Spanish. He's got a hell of a life.
He thinks it's good.
I think. He likes to flex. He
knows when Cesar Millan came in?
He did try to.
Yes, he does.
But his Spanish is bad. Show.
Yeah, no, I know. That's the only thing I knew about him.
We've had conversations. Like there are times where like, and then you realize he's just done all the hits.
I was like, oh, he's the man.
He's like, you know that Ed Sheeran album that everybody likes?
Cesar Millan
which song did you do?
Tried to be all cool and talk to him in Spanish afterwards.
What? That's true.
No, he's
that's true.
He's
talking about his like he did like
because in his mind.
But I get it. I mean, I talked to Hot Dog's mom in Spanish.
Did he?
Yeah,
but that's well, trying to be endearing and cute. Hot Dog is trying to make these wrestlers be like, oh, he's
on fucking rules.
I could talk to him.
I talked to Hot Dog's mom,
animals,
and I'm like, she's like, she gets worried.
Maps a lot. It moves like Jagger,
and she's on speakerphone.
That's crazy.
And I just interrupt them and I go, "Mama,
no te preocupes." Did TikTok for Kesha,
and she goes like this. She goes
TikTok, yeah, but then also California.
She goes like
this. And Teenage Dream.
Oh my god!
And Die Young for Kesha.
I think California Girls was the one I was thinking of, maybe, because he said he was just like sitting there waiting for her, and he was just on a keyboard
more secure.
But no, Hot Dog Spanish is bad.
Really?
Yeah. Just was like, here, I made this. No, that's why I said he's got 2 second language. We have a new lead single for the album.
Isn't it crazy how geniuses just like?
All right, let's take a break. We got a lot to cover. We'll be right back.
You watch that?
It's crazy for us. Like we just show up and like we just go. I don't know. I'm going to trust my instinct on this.
We'll be right back.
And boom,
With
more
Sam
gold.
Roberts
More
Show.
gold. When is this guy not going to have it? I don't know.
What do you do? Top 5 Rumbles, top 5 SummerSlam.
We're back.
Easy.
90 with Sam Roberts Show.
He's never held an athletic Sirius XM app. You can watch video. Picked it up and broke at the Not Sam YouTube channel. YouTube.com/NotSam.
I mean, look at the first of all. You can already
show all kinds of stuff going up all the time.
Absolutely not how you hold the trophy. He's palming
as
the
well
base.
as the Sirius XM.
You can tell the way he's palming the base. He's never picked up a big football trophy before.
But thank you.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't know quite how to do it.
Yeah, I'm the man.
Then,
okay.
Oh, is that what you said? Okay. And he drops the base.
I wasn't listening. What were you going to say?
I find it funny that
no, JD.
I got it.
And I support it.
Like,
don't get me wrong.
I don't find it funny.
Now Secret Service guys
because
coming
it's
over.
wrong.
Maybe
I find it funny because it's 100% right.
The Holocaust?
What?
What
the fuck is he talking
Where
about?
did that come
Look at oh, geez.
What's he talking about?
Weird thing to say.
What did you talk about? Nobody's laughing.
No,
they're like, in the break how much he loves
that
Kanye.
redhead is with the
like,
red tie.
He's
kind of laughing.
No,
He knows what he
just the
saw.
political stuff.
Secret Service. I
The
don't
music
need help.
sucked for
I
a while.
don't need any
What a
help.
weird.
I'm fine. I don't need any help.
Okay.
We might have to put him on timeout for a little bit.
I was wrong.
Yeah. It really is a boneheaded.
I was going to talk about Amy Lou
I mean, it's
Wood.
perfect.
Oh. It's perfect.
The actress.
That's totally.
Because that's what if people already think you're kind of a geek, and then you try to pick up a football trophy and it breaks in your hands.
Left in the show. I'm
Like,
gonna
you don't
bring.
need to
Like,
pick
what
it
are you
up,
talking
man.
about?
No, he wanted to touch it though. He's never gotten to touch one before.
Crazy.
He probably wanted to hold it over his head.
Things are
Like,
going too
we're all
well.
winners here.
He's self-sabotaging.
You're like, no, you don't pick it up.
We know other people
break.
on this too.
You have bad juju.
All right.
And they're like him.
Okay.
We're not superstitious, but we're a little stitious.
Wait till he starts
And
the
you
podcast
break a lot of
and
trophies when you
watch
touch
it.
it. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
So
the
shout out
point
to
is,
the
I'm
defense.
making is
Breaking trophies
because
left
now
and
you're
right.
starting to firebomb.
Yeah, I like that one kid with like the red afro. Well, I think I've allowed both. And I would have thought it was funny too. I would have been with him.
Why? He
Like
doesn't know
that's the dude I want to hang.
We need
with.
to. No, you too.
We need to
Alright,
reel
so
it break that trophy, and he's like,
Okay,
"Oh, you did.
my
You
mic
broke
is
the
going off
trophy."
for you.
Thank God.
Some of the guys
Thank
are like,
God.
"That's my trophy."
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you can see those
Thank
four guys. They're
God.
all next to each other. They're all
I
laughing.
mean-
Yeah. They're the cool guys. They like to have a good
Crazy.
time.
Yeah. Mike, I don't know what to do with these guys.
Trophy. Oh,
Give him an
man.
inch.
That's great stuff.
Isn't that the truth?
We're
Thank
out of
you
here
for
for
9.
today. Hope everybody's had
Especially
a great
the one
time.
over there.
We will be back live
Am I
tomorrow.
1,000%.
Is tomorrow your last day, Danielle?
Troy, we're in
Yeah.
I
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
Wow, no, you're in way
Tomorrow's
more
going to
time
be
out than
Danielle
Troy
Day. We're
is.
going to have to do it totally bothered. We're going to have to do all kinds of stuff. All kinds of
Why, you think
celebratory
you think
things.
it's unjustified that I said you're
I'm
in
getting
time
my
out?
tattoo removal thing today, so we'll
So we'll get an
see
update.
how
Very
that-
justified. We'll get an update. Okay.
$1,000.
But I
down
do
the
wonder what it's
Ooh,
like
more
when
than
it's
that.
like the whole world has agreed it's
Well, to
permissive
be
to like
fair,
make fun
it's
of
a
Katy
very
Perry like
bad
we were talking about
tattoo.
earlier
I
this
know.
morning.
Yes, thank you.
Meanwhile,
They should
Keep
charge.
telling me that.
poor
They
Amy
should
Lou
charge
Wood.
based on how bad the tattoo
She gets made
is.
fun of on SNL, and I knew by
Oh,
the
this is
way,
one of the worst
I
things I've
knew
ever
they
seen
were
in
going to
my
have
life.
to
They
apologize
should give
for
a
it.
discount.
For two,
Yeah.
not because they should have
They know
apologized
I
for
have
it,
to do it.
but I knew
So
they
no,
were going
no,
to have
no,
to
no.
apologize
They gotta
for it
make
because
it
number
more
one,
expensive for
she's
horrible
beloved
tattoos
right now
because you have to learn a
She's the
lesson.
British actress
Otherwise,
from
you're
White
never gonna
Lotus.
learn a lesson.
Everybody
I
loves her
did.
right now.
Oh yeah, you did.
And number two,
All right, we'll
because
see you
they're
guys
doing
tomorrow.
this
Have a good
sketch called White POTUS. It's like White Lotus.
This has been
Except
Sam
all the
Roberts Show.
characters are replaced by political
If you missed
characters.
anything or want
So
to
like
hear
the
it all over
family,
again,
with the
check
dad
out
who went
Sam
to
Roberts
Duke.
Show on the
It's
SXM app.
The president, President Trump, and all this stuff. Except then there's just a non sequitur in the middle of the thing where one of them, like they wanted to host
their AI action figures.
You know what I
well,
mean?
then don't do something as
And they're
blatant
great.
as this.
They're fun.
That's what like. How can something so
Literally,
fun
that
be
dude's
dangerous?
playing
I don't think
RFK.
so.
Everybody else in the sketch is a
That dude
politician,
has a
right?
name.
Troy, you made these for
That's
us?
John
Yes, I
Hamm,
did.
buddy.
They're so good.
Thanks, buddy.
We're posting them on our Instagram, Sam Roberts SXM.
Do you not want me to post them on our Twitter as well?
Why is everything
And
go
we
back
go-
to penis with this guy?
We could Twix
I'm
them
not
out.
back on
Yeah, we
time
could
out.
Twix them.
Okay,
All right,
Twix
so
them.
horny
He's
and
on
Twix
one.
his-
We'll
on
also do
mine.
that at
He's
Sam
on
Roberts
one.
SXM.
Mike, what am I
on
going to do
X's
this guy?
Twix.
What happened? I gave an inch and what
And-
happened?
I wanted 9.
Yeah, people will go, oh, these are photos of
You
action
start talking
figures.
about John Hamm.
John Hamm, yeah.
They're
We'll
not
sell
real
a
action
picture.
Yeah,
figures.
you're
They're
wrapping
done
me
by
in here.
artificial
What do you want me to do?
intelligence.
Amy Lou Wood.
Okay,
No,
and then you said
computers,
this guy.
man. Because I didn't want to bring up John Hamm
We're
because there's
stepping
only
into
one
the
thing you're
future
going to
with
talk
that,
about.
aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
What?
How much did that run you?
What you
Mad Men?
No, what
Well,
you
it's
talked
a
about.
membership. You have
30
to
Rock.
subscribe
No, that's
to
not what you talked about.
ChatGPT. It's $20 a month.
See, there you go, 20. So,
Sorry.
20, but it's unlimited design
People that don't even
like
understand.
Much, yeah.
It's like, okay, rolling a boulder uphill
a graphic designer would charge your arm
and somehow I make it
stuff.
look fun.
You know what I mean?
It'd be impossible, and then they get everything wrong. See, the nice thing about AI is, like, as long as it's broad strokes correct, it's fine. And he's going to then, after the show, going to be like, oh, Danielle, I'm your boss. Oh, she's like, you and your AI are you're a weird guy.
I'm a little annoyed by it, I'll be honest with you.
She's going to go, you're a weird guy. I don't respect you.
Get away from me.
Get away.
We wrap up the show. What's the beef? Pack up the suitcase, and I'm like, Danielle, by the way, I'm your boss.
Do some stuff, because I'm your funny things you can do with everybody here.
Danielle, I need you to do some stuff, because I'm your boss. She's gonna be like, no.
It started censoring
the weird shit that you were saying.
It started saying like,
I thought comedy was legal. I want Mike or Troy to be my boss. They could even be my co-boss.
Guess not with ChatGPT.
Whoa!
But then I would get in an argument with ChatGPT.
You would? So I picked like they love
funny out of this.
Going for it now. The media now that they know that there's like a little bit of blood in the water. You know, there was an apology, and as we know, the only thing apologies really do. I mean, it's 9 times out of 10. We were talking about it last week. It's the Streisand.
I'm like, what do you mean?
Where it brings so much attention to this thing
that's offensive.
It really doesn't need
guidelines.
Okay,
and I'm like, okay, so then you tell me what I'm allowed to say then.
Well, they posted a photo. Yeah, that's Amy Lou Wood. Do you like that? It's like you can take your regular day-to-day politeness and throw it out the window. After you can be as rude as you want. That she said was mean. You can go 0 to 100 real quick. Chronologically, that's true, but there is zero evidence that any of those tiers. Like, it's talk to me like that. What are you going to do? There is no evidence whatsoever
started
that any of those tiers were as a result
were making
of the SNL skit.
And now she has to explain why she was crying.
I mean,
the World Trade Center, they're like,
White Lotus star Amy Lou Wood breaks silence on crying in public after being mocked by SNL. Keep in mind, AI, I mean, everything on the internet is going to be misused. The only reason this was even a thing is because they reported that she was crying after being mocked by SNL. Because then the companies also, because now the companies posted a thing on Instagram, she was breaking her silence. They're making money off SNL skit. So if you're using it, she broke down in tears while on a walk in South London, which is probably what they're worried about. A little. I don't think they're worried about the hot dog. By the way, House of Dragon actor Ralph Davis.
Yeah, that I was like, well, can I have a Palestinian flag?
Why does it have to be about the Israel-Palestine? They're like,
hot dog loves Hamas.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. I've never talked to her about it. Oh my God, she's been away for 4 minutes. I can't believe how long it's been. I'm 50-50 right now.
That's why he likes congestion.
She just couldn't handle the gravity of the situation.
I know.
They're up.
That's a pun, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I mean, he doesn't have a car, so that's the best theory right now. But I mean, you could just. I guess she goes on her Instagram stories to be like, by the way, why don't you just maybe he's got a so I mean, they are making such. It's an article. It goes, first she cried, then the man hugged her, then she wiped away a tear. The next day, Wood addressed the pictures of her crying on Instagram stories. She shared another supportive fan message. I see. That said she was reduced to tears because of people tearing into their appearance.
It was like a girl in a bikini, and it'd say nudes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And it wouldn't let me do that.
I actually wasn't crying about anything that the papers made out I was crying about. Something completely unrelated.
What is offensive about that?
Everybody knew that.
It's like, well, this does.
Anybody knew that. The people who wrote it knew that.
And it's like, well, what does it say in your guidelines?
And they just decided to write that anyway. Yeah.
Well, we can't tell you exactly what it is,
but
this is deemed defensive material.
Listen, I like it.
She posts a lot. I wish there was like some kind of
really leaning
service that you could use, even if you had to pay a little more, where you could just get a human to design soak up being beloved.
That would be nice.
But
also have
but this would have cost us like
form of like humility.
Like it's okay. It's not a big deal.
Right. You don't have to post every single like.
There it is.
But your prompts are too offensive.
Yeah, you go, Amy, and then write like a paragraph of like, thanks to real beautiful faces.
Right.
Okay.
By the way, people love her teeth.
Man who likes physical media and pornography.
Only thing I've read anywhere is how hot she is. No, it's not. Like that's all anybody talks about. I mean, you couldn't put it on a Target toy shelf.
There's a lot of things you can put on a Target toy shelf.
Yeah, no, she's.
You want to see some mentions? She should. No, I'm probably. We should switch accounts for it. I come with a pizza. She'd have a lot to post.
I also come with a pizza.
If she read my mentions.
Love pizza.
Yes.
I mean, everybody.
There's other stuff.
Everybody loves. She'd be posting. I mean, her thumb doesn't like fire. She'd be posting so many stories.
You tell me that's not Sam in a nutshell?
Be a shit show.
No, this is.
She's like, where are the good ones? Help me! I'm in a nutshell. How did I get in this bloody thing? Amy,
you reach the end.
You don't know, guys. Yeah, I mean, no, I tell you. So it's go back into your social account. It's going to be a microphone. Yep. And headphones.
Really? She wrote, "Thank you so much."
And what's that? Like a
just to say, I actually wasn't crying
under the headphones.
Anything the papers made out.
That's another thing. It starts just adding things that you didn't ask.
You also don't have to respond.
Weird. It's almost like it's just artificial intelligence.
No, you shouldn't.
But you'd even tell it like.
Well, sometimes people throw shade. I just saw Kesha was drinking Wendy's on Instagram.
Wrestling belt, headphones, microphone.
And I don't really know her to be a fan of Wendy's like that. I think she was throwing shade at Katy Perry.
if we're going to get into the hot goss, I want to get my friends from Page 6 Radio on here.
And second of all,
I want to find out what they think.
I guess
about Kesha.
Feo?
Look at that.
Kesha's 11 hours ago.
She's having a frosty.
She's probably
really?
just.
I believe it says Fayou.
11 hours ago.
Puts that at 10:46 p.m. local time. That when you look quickly at it, it says
at 8:30 p.m.
But when you actually read it, it says Fayou.
Late night in the studio.
Grab a bottle of Kesha
loved that,
which I do so much.
And then
she
immediately went to a Wendy's and got a frosty.
A headphone
to go like,
you know what, Wendy's?
That the artificial intelligence, like it's the spiral cord. By giving you a customer intelligence read as a separate thing.
What happened to her?
So you see how, like, if you added a connector to the bottom of the headphones, it would look almost like
even more so.
One of these
post the same
spiral cables coming down.
Maybe it's supposed to be.
I hope so.
Those headphones that have like a microphone attached, for like gaming.
Could be, yeah, just a smirk
or a butt plug.
But I think it was more.
You know what? You're right. It could be a butt plug
with the handle.
I think she was like, in case it gets stuck up there. By the way, you guys don't know this.
Did you put butt plug in your prompts?
I mean, I did it, but maybe it just knows Sam.
It's crazy.
That's true. I am a public figure.
Because it is.
It
learns.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious.
Yeah. Okay.
The beef is usually done Sam before and included the prompt butt plug.
And they're like, oh, the last Professor White is hungry. We know him.
We know him. Keep talking about it. No reason for the prompts on this one.
Yeah. That's, we got you. Okay, and there's Travis.
Well, according to New York
means
Post,
a little.
Kesha's
He also
with
comes
Katy
with a
Perry
microphone.
And
this one is a pizza in a box.
Collaborated with Dr.
Oh, no, I do.
Oh, that he does like DiGiorno.
Oh, that piece of shit.
You're that specific with your pizza.
In 2024.
Yes.
I mean, who here
We're
doesn't
keeping
like
Dr.
pizza?
Luke in business in 2024, Katy Perry. That's the choice.
Yeah, 2014
because we both like
Kesha
pizza.
Yeah.
And all of us work in
First
radio.
single was like
Everybody knew about that. You work in radio.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because she caught a lot of shit because it was like Women's World or whatever, and she wrote it with
Does everybody come with a microphone?
Oh my God,
and a pizza?
Katie, not you.
I came with a phone.
Of all people, not you. Why don't you go back
Is
to
there
Benny
anybody
Blanco?
here that wouldn't go to a pizza party?
Benny's busy.
Danielle, you coming?
He's busy. He's got a hell of a life, this Benny
Yeah,
Blanco.
we all like pizza.
Everybody likes pizza.
Slippy's cars green.
That's right.
He does get naked.
That was the
with
whole
Little
point of
Dicky.
that joke.
Yes, he does. I saw it on
Everybody
a
likes
TV
pizza.
show.
Miss
That's
Lippy,
the
Billy
only thing I
liking
knew about
pizza
him. Up
is
until
not
Selena
a
Gomez.
great
And then you
insight.
realize he's just done all the
I was like,
hits.
oh, he's the man.
He's like, you know that Ed Sheeran album that
All
everybody
right,
likes?
so pizza
yeah, which song
microphone,
did you
that's
do?
good.
All the songs.
And then you also have
I did
an
the
Orioles
album.
pennant.
What?
Which I love.
That's your team.
I saw him.
And
He's
by the
like,
way,
like,
for
he did like
props to the AI.
a bunch of
the
one of the
DiGiorno
big
and
Katy Perry
Orioles
songs
is spelled
recently.
correctly.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
honestly,
Well,
it's
recently.
making me feel like there's a strong possibility that Troy misspelled the word face.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
It's possible. I'm not saying it's definite. I'm saying it's
And
possible.
animals.
DiGiorno and
He did
Oreos
a lot
is
of
harder
them
to
actually
spell than
maps.
Fago.
A lot
Well,
of
maybe
movies like
Troy
Jagger.
spelled it wrong.
Well, that's what
they
I think.
still
They're
like
naming all
AI
bangers.
actually thought they were fucking up, but then
Still
they
says
were
some
He did
Fry volume
TikTok
wrong.
for Kesha.
Right.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay. So maybe spell
TikTok?
Fago
Yeah,
right, but he
but then
spelled
also
DiGiorno and
California Girls
Orioles
for Katy
wrong.
Perry and Teenage
And then the
Dream.
wrong spelling became
And
the right
Die
spelling.
Young
I see what you're
for
saying.
Oreo.
I think that. Yeah, I think California Girls was the one I was thinking of, maybe.
And then you
Because he
got
said he
Mickey
was just like
Mouse
sitting there
ears.
waiting for her, and he was just on a
I have
keyboard
all
going
of these things in
boo,
real
boo.
life.
They could have been a little more generous in the
Yeah,
hairline
yeah.
department.
Just was like, here, I made this, and they were
I
like,
think they're a
okay,
little too
we have a new lead single for the album.
Okay.
Isn't it As someone crazy who how looks at it geniuses quite just, like, often?
All right.
They just gotta make it.
All right.
things out?
Yeah.
I mean, you watch that.
Okay,
like,
it's crazy
Troy.
for us.
Like we just show up and
Which I
like
appreciate.
we just go. I don't know.
The Troy is not
I'm
the
gonna
most
trust my
flattering
instinct on
one,
this,
which I like because you did.
And
Not at all.
Boom.
So
That
it's
was
more
the first
gold.
one that came out. I
More
was like,
gold.
that's what it is.
They go, when
Right,
is this guy
right.
not
Which
going to
is
have a hit?
good-
I go,
good
I
for
don't
you.
know.
Yeah.
What
It's
do you
got
know,
the
top
public
5
fried
Rumbles,
chicken.
top 5 SummerSlams. I got them.
It's
Got
easy.
the phone screen.
Easy.
Because that's what you like to do. You like to screen
92
call.
for
Of course I
both,
do.
by the way.
It's got the tiny, teeny tiny I love
That's the
Florida
fun
tank
thing.
top.
92
That
for
one's going to be
both.
real tight on you.
It looks like it's more for toots.
I
does
also
look like it's
saw
more
for toots.
that our
have a
pal, speaking of
I don't
the
know
White
what
Lotus
that is.
situation,
That's another thing it just added.
Prowado.
JD
I don't even know what that is.
Onan. Our pal.
Well, that's
had our pal JD Vance.
Well, what's at a picture?
We
of it?
love
It looks
JD
like,
Vance.
Is that potatoes and pancakes?
He had a great moment with Ohio State
added it.
and
Yeah.
really got
Lace.
to honor them.
Why would it just add it?
Ohio State
It's a package of
came to the
something.
White House
If you
with their big
commission this
football
from an artist,
trophy,
they wouldn't just add things.
and JD Vance
Commissioning it
because
from fucking.
yeah,
They
well,
got
that's
your
what it
hand
is. Their
tattooed.
big
That's cool.
football trophy.
It was in the photo.
Yeah, he
and
said
JD
that.
Vance,
I
I would
sent a photo
imagine
wearing that
because he's
outfit.
never held an athletic
missed the
trophy
other-
before.
Toots looks cool.
Toots.
Picked it
And
up
Toots
and
is in
broke
there.
it.
That's a very accurate rendering of Toots.
Well, I've
I
been
mean, look
going
at the
crazy
first of all,
with the
you can
Toots
already
That's
see
not
a
how
lot
you
of Toots in.
So it
in the
really
system.
has a good
Absolutely
idea
not
of
how
what
you hold
Toots
the
looks
trophy.
like.
He's
Okay.
palming the base.
Okay, also
you can tell the way he's
it's
palming
just
the
like
base. He's only
never
one thing thing I did notice
a big football
is that on the
before.
packaging, it points out like what the titles are.
He doesn't know how to do it, and then
it said Sam Roberts, last
and
professional
drops
broadcaster.
the base.
That's nice.
It's true.
Travis Taft, it said executive producer. That's nice. Okay.
No, JD.
And then Troy Kwan, it says senior producer /
now a Secret Service guy is coming over. Maybe we just leave it on the table, JD.
Yeah, I didn't put that prompt.
You did not.
That was just a.
I guess they just know, right?
Yeah, it must have been from all the other. Is that awesome dude? Butterfingers.
Okay.
Nobody's laughing.
All right, this is good. No, they're like, what? What that red is with
Mike.
the red tie.
He's
I
feel like they were like a little
he knows what he saw.
heavy on the head because I feel like the
Secret
chest
Service. I don't need help.
They need to be a little more generous
in
on
the
the
help.
pectoral region.
I'm fine. I don't need any
I
help.
took this from Mike's Instagram because Mike doesn't have a lot of like straight on shots.
Right. It really is a bone.
This doesn't even really look like an action figure.
It's
so much as
it's
this action figure, by the way, is so big.
Because if people already think you're kind of a geek,
plastic
and then you try to pick up a football trophy and it breaks in your hands.
I fail to see where the articulation would be at.
No,
he wanted to touch it though.
You know,
He's
it
never
doesn't
gotten to
seem
touch
like
one
that.
before.
He probably wanted to hold it over his head and be
he's
like,
wearing a
"We're all
Nazi
winners
wrestling tank top. Yeah, it's gonna break.
Good for branding, right?
You have bad juju.
Nice set of traps.
Good traps, very good traps.
Yeah.
We're not superstitious,
Yeah,
but we're
nice
protein
shoulders.
shake.
And you break
that
a lot of
appears to be a
trophies when you
protein
touch
shake
them. That he comes packaged holding.
Yeah, so
which
shout out
is,
to
you know,
GD
then I'd
fans.
be wondering like,
breaking trophies left
is
and
it
right.
removable once you take it out of the package?
Yeah, I like that
know.
one kid with like the red.
It might always be
afro.
there.
Maybe.
Maybe he's always
thought it was
sipping a
funny.
protein shake.
And then I would have thought it was funny too.
I would have
fine,
been
that'd
with
be
him.
accurate.
Like that's the dude I
Comes
want to
a
hang
Hooters
with.
magazine.
That's where the problem.
He goes, "Did you just break that trophy?" And he's like, "Oh, you did. He broke the trophy."
Okay, I mean Hooters.
Some of the guys are like, "Hooters is funny though."
Yeah, you can see those four guys. They're all next to each other. They're all laughing.
Yeah.
And a gentleman of my
They like to have a
taste
good
would
time.
probably have something like Club or Hustler or Penthouse.
Yeah.
What about Biggins?
Could have been Biggins. That would
Broke
have
the
been funny.
trophy.
You've got the American Pie DVD.
That's great stuff. Well, listen,
A kettlebell.
We're out of here for
Which compared to
today.
the action figure
Hope
feels,
everybody's
I
had a
mean,
great
very
time. We will be
small.
back live
Child's
tomorrow.
kettlebell. So many things do.
That's right.
Maybe it's just
Tomorrow your last day,
penile
Danielle?
kettlebell.
Could be a penile kettlebell.
Oh my gosh.
I never heard
Tomorrow's
of it, but
going
I
to be
think
Danielle
they
Day.
exist.
We're going to have to do a
I'm sure
Totally
Mike has.
Bothered.
And then a
We're gonna
mug
have to
that
do
says
all
I
kinds of-
heart.
Man ages. He wants
all
to
kinds of
strengthen his
celebratory.
erection.
That's true.
Oh, and
Some don't.
I'm getting my tattoo
Some want them to go away
removal
forever.
thing
Their own
today,
tattoo.
so we'll
So we'll get
see
an
how my
update.
yeah.
We'll get
And
an
then a mug
update.
that says
Okay.
I heart Reddit.
$1,000 down the drain.
Which you do.
More
True.
than that.
You do.
That's great.
Sometimes
Well,
I
to be
almost
fair,
spit out
it's a
my
very
coffee
bad tattoo.
while I'm reading,
Yes,
even if I'm
indeed.
not drinking it.
They should
I'm
charge.
telling
That's
you
right.
that.
They should charge
accurate.
based on how bad the
Just
tattoo
don't
is.
zoom in on the American Pie.
Oh, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
They should give a really scary.
Yeah.
because The
Oh
girl's
my
face
God.
is really
So
botched.
no.
And the
They got to make
pie?
it more expensive for
Or whatever
horrible
that is
tattoos
supposed to
Because you have to
be
learn a
here.
lesson.
I think Gary
Otherwise, you're never
Busey
gonna learn a
is
lesson.
growing out
I
of the
did.
pie.
Like
Oh, yeah, you
really,
did.
really.
Oh my God!
All right, we'll
really
see you
bad.
guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
First of all, the pie looks like it
This
looks
has
like a
been
smudge
Sam
of peanut
Roberts
butter
Show.
with like old raisins.
If you missed anything
kind
or
of
want to
pushed
hear it
into
all over again,
and Gary Busey
check out Sam
growing out of
Roberts
the
Show on the
pie.
SXM
The
app.
American Pie cinematic universe is always expanding. So
You know
who's
what?
to say that this won't happen?
I see the problem.
Exists.
You bought the
I'm sure
wrong
Mike has
DVD.
one.
This is
And then a
American
mug that says
Pie.
I
As a
heart.
man ages, he wants to strengthen his erection.
American
That's true.
Pie.
Some don't.
Which again,
Some want them to
I'm
go
not
away
100%
forever.
if we
Their
can
own
blame that on the AI, or
And then
on
a
the
mug
person
that says I
operating
heart
the
Reddit.
AI.
Which you do.
You know
true.
who's to
You
say?
do.
Could be user
That's great.
error.
Right.
Sometimes I almost
6 of
spit
one,
out
half
my
dozen of the other.
coffee.
That's right.
While I'm reading it, even if I'm not.
And then the
drinking it.
Hooters
That's
magazine. You're
right.
right.
That's
The
So that's
bod.
accurate.
I should
This
check
lady
it out.
has a
Good.
Just
bod that
don't
won't
zoom
quit.
in
I'll
on the
admit it.
American Pie and the magazine.
But the face is tough.
Faces
The
are
face,
really
the eyes are
scary.
very spread
The
apart.
girl's
My
face
God.
like
is
Rocky
really
Dennis.
botched,
Well,
and the
I would
face
say-
pie
The face
or
looks
whatever
like
that is supposed to be here.
I think Gary
the face
Busey
looks like
is
somebody
growing out of the
loves
pie.
Like
radio.
really, really.
Oh my gosh.
really bad.
Yeah, first of all,
Probably
the
found her
pie
at Hooters in like
looks
Gary,
like
Indiana or something like that.
butter?
Not
yeah,
one of the
it looks
top
like a
tier
smudge of peanut butter with like
That's not
old
Orlando.
raisins
Maybe that
kind of
face
pushed
is
into
recognized
it,
as a prompt
and
for
Gary
Hooters.
Busey growing
Maybe.
out of the top.
Maybe it's
Well,
possible.
the American Pie cinematic
Okay,
universe
who's next
is always
in
expanding.
our-
So
you know
who's
what?
to say that
Okay.
this won't happen?
I see the problem.
Okay,
you
that
bought the
was-
wrong DVD.
that
This
was
is
not
American
flattering.
Pie. This is
If this was an action
American
figure,
Pie.
I'd buy it in a
Which
second.
again, you would?
Yep.
I'm not 100%
Okay,
if we
this is
blame that on
Cheyenne
on
Hot
the
Dog
AI
Marte
or on the person
who is
operating
titled
the AI.
Sam's Little
That-
Man.
You know, who's to say? Which that is technically. He's my
Right.
little man.
I mean, 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
He
That's
appears
right.
to be packaged with a
And then the
camera.
Hooters magazine, you're right.
He's
the
also
bod.
got. This lady has a bod that won't quit. Like a deck
I'll
chair.
admit it.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
Sam, that
But
is
the
known
face is
actually
tough.
as a a cuck.
The face, the eyes are very spread apart.
Looks a little like Rocky Dennis.
So I will say about the likeness of the action figure itself.
Second to none.
The face looks like somebody who loves radio.
I think. I mean,
I'm just because like
it looks
it looks like he comes with soft goods clothing,
not one of the top tier.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't appear that the soft goods shirt
maybe
would be able to
face
close around the
recognized
belly.
as a prompt for Hooters.
No. Maybe maybe
there
it's
is
possible.
a picture on his Instagram.
Okay, who's next? In our
Very similar to this one. I didn't alter it that much.
So you know the photographic. Yeah, that one's not. It's got a Stanley style.
This was an action figure.
Yeah,
I'd buy it.
Appears to be a purse.
You would?
Yep. A Merce.
Okay, a Merce. Sorry. Cheyenne Hot Dog Marte.
Does Hot Dog carry a Merce?
Well, because
Sam's
at
little
core,
man.
Hot Dog wants
Which
to
that
be a
is
millennial white
technically.
woman.
He's my little man.
Okay.
And they have he
purses
appears
and
to be
Merces.
packaged
And,
with
they
a
have
camera.
purses and Stanley
He's
cups.
also got. But then there's
like a deck
I
chair.
I get
Now,
you.
Sam, that is known
And then there's
actually
another
as a cuck chair.
Okay, container under it that appears to also say Stanley. So I will say about the likeness of the action figure
It's an
itself.
H, no N.
Okay, cool.
He's a little top.
I feel like they got
heavy.
lost in translation somewhere.
I mean,
I'm just because
that's a good
it
hot
looks
dog.
accurate to me.
It looks like he comes with soft goods
chair,
clothing.
That's
you know,
Oh yeah.
but it doesn't appear that the
His
soft goods
thumbnails
shirt
are
would be able to
painted.
close around. Are his nails painted?
Just his thumbs are painted black.
There is a picture on his
They are
Instagram.
painted. Both of his thumbs are
very
painted.
similar to this one. I didn't
Look, it's the
alter it
same
that
guy.
much.
So you know the photo.
You know what?
Yeah, it's got
He has the
like
iWatch and
a
everything.
Stanley
Come
style.
on,
It looks
the same guy.
I mean, look at the belly. The belly's
appears
the
to
same.
be a purse.
AI doesn't lie.
Oh, a Merce. Sorry,
It wasn't.
It wasn't Hot Dog. That's
carry
when
a
Hot Dog
Merce?
went
Well,
to
because
Dominican
at his
Republic
core,
with Mary
Hot Dog
Jean.
wants to be
And
a
he had to
millennial
make
white woman.
the decision.
Okay.
And they have that must have been really
Purses
tough,
and Merces.
which is look.
And, well, they have
physically, I'm
purses
not in
and
my
Stanley-
peak form,
Stanley cups.
but I'm
Sure.
hanging out with
But
a
then
porn
there's-
star on the beach.
Oh, I get you.
So do I post the photo? Or do I?
And then
not
there's
post the
another-
photo? That's a tough
Oh, you could've
container
buttoned
under
the
it that
shirt.
appears to
Probably
also
should've
say
buttoned the shirt.
Stanley. I feel like
In
that
hindsight,
got
but hindsight
it
2020.
But you have to
Sally.
appreciate
It's the
it.
key.
You
It's
give it.
an H, no
Yeah.
N.
Okay.
No,
cool,
I like
cool,
that.
cool.
I think that
I
you're
feel like
right
they got
about that,
lost in
Troy. I think
translation
sometimes
somewhere.
when people got a little gut,
okay,
a little
that's a
extra
good
weight
hot
on
dog.
them, but they carry it as if like this is me.
Needs to come with the
just they own
chair,
it.
but that's a good.
That's a good
camera
thing.
there?
Probably his
His
most
If
important
anything,
his
accessory.
thumbnails are
The
painted.
gut in the action
Are his
figure
nails
is not
painted?
flopping
Just his
over
thumbs are
the shorts
painted
like
black.
it does in the photo.
Okay.
They are painted.
Like
Like
the
both
action
of his
figure's
thumbs
a
are
little more,
painted.
like,
Yeah.
flattering.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the same guy.
The one in the photo casts
You know what?
a shadow.
Same photo.
It does.
He has the
cast a
iWatch
shadow.
and everything.
Yeah, the
Come
action
on.
figure
It looks
feels
a
a
little
little
more
more
like a
I mean, look at
Burt
the belly.
Kreischer
The
look
belly's the
almost.
same.
Yeah. AI doesn't lie. The actual photo is
It
sloppy.
wasn't.
And
It wasn't Hot Dog.
Well,
That's
he
when
doesn't-
Hot
I mean,
Dog went to
there's-
Dominican
there's no
Republic with Mary
cardio.
Jean.
He's not here to defend
and he had to
himself.
make
That's very insulting.
the decision. That must have been really tough.
Thank
Which
you.
is
But
look,
Travis loves to
physically, I'm not in my
I'm not
peak
taking advantage
form,
of anything. I'm just
but I'm
right
hanging
now,
out
just being
with a
observational.
porn
Yeah,
star
yeah,
on the
okay.
beach.
Maybe I'm reading this.
Paint
So
a
do I
picture
post the
for the
photo or
listeners
do I
at
not
home.
post
That's
the photo?
good. That's
a
they need
tough-
that picture painted.
I mean, he could have buttoned his shirt.
All
Probably
right.
should
And
have
is that
buttoned
our
the
last
shirt.
action figure?
In hindsight, but hindsight's 2020.
But you have to appreciate
It's the
it.
key.
You give a
hindsight is the key.
What a
Hot
set.
Dog
Yeah.
does say
No,
that
I
these
like
action
that. I
figures
think that you're
went
right
from,
about that, Troy. I think
warm-hearted
sometimes
to
when
viciously mean-spirited.
people got a little gut,
I do
a little
feel
extra
like
weight
you
on
guys
them,
do
but they
have a
carry it
little
as if
bit
like this is
of
me.
an
Yeah, just
issue.
they own it.
I feel like if we go to
that's a good thing.
warm-hearted ribbing,
If anything,
it's a risk in here.
the gut in the
Because
action figure is
what was
not
his quote?
flopping
Mean-spirited
over
viciousness.
the shorts like it does in the
warm-hearted
photo.
to viciously mean-spirited.
Like the
I
action
do
figure's a
feel
little
like we have a
more,
problem
like,
in this
flattering.
room.
Yeah.
Of like the
The one
minute
in the
we
photo
get kind
casts a
of
shadow.
it does
good-natured
shadow.
ribbing.
Yeah, the action figure feels a little
We
more
have
like
to get like a Burt Kreischer
viciously
look
mean-spirited.
Well, I had
within.
nothing to do with this. The actual photo is sloppy.
And I don't think there's anything vicious about
Well,
it.
he doesn't. I mean, there's.
I don't,
you-
I don't
there's
think
no
his, I mean,
You
well,
He's not
labeled
here to
yourself
defend himself. That's very
awesome dude.
insulting.
no, that
And
was an AI.
Hot Dog has
that
a
was
Thank you.
that's
But
a-
Travis,
that's an
couple.
AI.
Hot Dog has
I'm
a
not taking
couple.
advantage of anything. I'm just
I
pointing
think
out.
he's just being
The action
observational.
figure
Yeah,
represents
yeah,
okay.
the
Maybe I'm reading
individual.
this.
Painting a
I guess.
picture for the
I guess
listeners
it
at
just-
home.
That's
Who
good.
says
That's
that?
they
I
need
don't
that
know. That
picture
looks like
painted.
a
Mike
check.
just did.
Yeah, Mike's
All right. And is that our last
That's
action
not what
figure?
AI says.
Also, you told us what you tried to put into AI before.
Then let me do it.
What a
So
Hot Dog does say
You wanted to
that
ruin
these
his
action
reputation.
figures Went from
In some
warm-hearted
circles, it
to
would have
viciously
enhanced
mean.
Like it's almost like
Sure,
it's
I
almost
do
like
feel
like you guys it's do almost have like a little bit of an
Travis
issue.
likes pizza.
I feel like if we
Oh,
go to
Sam likes
warm-hearted
wrestling.
ribbing,
Oh, let's ruin
it's a
Hot
risk risk being. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand how he spirited viciousness. I mean, he's 100% accurate. Viciously mean-spirited. He's 100% accurate. I do feel like we have a problem. I mean, Troy's like, oh, I like to hang out with my cat. The minute we get kind of, oh, you know whose life we could ruin? Good-natured ribbing.
How is that ruining anybody's life?
We have to get. Well, I mean, it's very controversial.
Well, I had nothing to do with
the original promise. I don't mean.
Yeah, but that's not what's on the screen.
No, you're right.
I don't think his. I mean,
you label yourself. Awesome this is not viciously mean-spirited. And you should see what I thought it has like word that they wouldn't do. It has a cuckold. I thought it was a cuckold chick.
I'll be honest with you.
The action figures represent the
this or
individual.
what you put in? I guess.
Who says that's a cuckold chick? That looks like a beach
Mike
chick.
just did.
Yeah, Mike said.
Again,
there's also you told us what you tried to put into AI before.
Okay, you let me do it. So
you wanted to ruin his reputation. That's a backpack, and it wasn't included with the action.
You could put
like it's almost like
it's almost like praised him for it.
It's almost like
oh
look at
hot
this.
Dogs has to carry around
pizza.
Like a purse.
Sam likes wrestling. Doesn't even have a shoulder. Oh, let's ruin hot dogs.
That's showing up a gallon.
You know what I mean? Like I don't understand how it goes that quick.
No, that's true.
I mean, he's 100% accurate. He's 100% accurate.
Yeah, I know he does.
I mean, Troy's like, I like to hang out with my cat. Oh, you know who's life we could ruin?
I don't know what the Stolly can is for.
I don't either. Well, I mean, it's very controversial. Pointing out the laziness. The original props. He's bringing it back to, and he does make a good point. Hot Dog could be a lawyer here. Right. He's like he said these are vicious attacks. If you want, and this is also not the only other energy put into this was putting pizza they wouldn't do.
That's true.
Which is, I mean, that's the point for Hot Dog. I feel like
that is a point for Hot Dog. He's got a
what
few
this or what you put in.
I think
what
Troy
I put
was very
in.
mean-spirited.
It's just all in good fun.
Oh,
again,
there's a MERS.
Hey, Troy, you know where you can store those points?
Okay, you have a bag
in
too?
his fucking purse.
You carry a MERS too.
See, that's a backpack, and it wasn't included with that. See what happens when you do stuff like that,
Sam's
Troy?
bag you could put on your back.
Photo of me.
Yeah, you wrote awesome Hot Dogs dude. Has to carry around
again, it was
like a purse.
And you're like, it doesn't even have a shoulder strap. You're like, I'm from Florida. I answer the phone.
That's true.
I like chicken.
You know, that's true. He does go to Cat.
Yeah, you ran all the people you liked.
Yeah, I know he does.
You just put their favorite foods with them.
I love
that. That's true.
I'll make another. It's all love.
I don't know what the Stolly can is for.
Isn't that going to cost you a pretty penny going to a graphic designer?
No,
Hot Dog's pointing out the laziness in some of these.
I bought the
He's bringing it back to, and he does make a good point. Hot Dog could be a lawyer here.
Hot Dog, what do you want, buddy?
He's like, he said these are vicious attacks.
It just feels
and also, the only other energy put into this was putting pizza with everyone.
But I'm happy to do another one for him.
That's true.
Which is, I mean, that's the point for Hot Dog, I feel.
That is a point for Hot Dog.
And by the way, you rip on his hairline all the time. Look at that. He has a beautiful
hairline. Troy was very mean-spirited.
It's an older picture.
It's all in good fun.
You use the source material.
I can easily put on give him a receding hairline. That's not even
source material.
Hey, Troy, you know where you can store those points? In his fucking purse.
I think he would have preferred a receding hairline to like you trying to get him to see what happens when you do stuff like that, Troy.
I mean, look, that's not a flattering photo. Let him come.
I think if you asked, which one would you prefer? And you're like,
I was glitching
all over the phone.
You're like, I'm from Florida. I answer the phone.
Opinions on what's going on.
I like chicken. Well, because I don't care.
My cat.
I don't care. Yeah, you ran all the people you like. What's going on in the Palestine? You just put their favorite foods. I know. I barely trust them to do video, let alone geopolitical opinions. Isn't that going to cost you a pretty penny going to a graphic designer?
Instagram. I see.
No, I can't just keep doing it. I can't expense them.
I bought the monthly
tier. You just plug it into AI, just like Palestine,
Hot Dog, what do you
Israel
want,
conflict.
I'll make it. Comments about everything else.
I also have his Instagram, and I've never seen him. Travis, do you have his Instagram?
I do. Yeah.
Have you ever seen him comment?
No.
And we'll make him.
No.
I see a lot of.
And by the way, you rip on his hairline.
Yeah, I mean,
look at that.
Why don't you put it? He hangs out. That's an older picture. No, he hangs out at the
You use
bar.
the
He
source
likes
material.
materials.
I can easily put on, give him a receding hairline.
Source materials.
Is he coming in today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna be pissed.
I think he would have preferred a receding hairline to.
You're
like,
not
you trying to get him to support. No, you like to pick on people when they're not here. Well, not people.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry. I think if you asked,
you did not know anything.
Which one would you prefer?
That's why I just asked.
I'll tell you what. Found out the next time he's in here. Why don't you ask him a few questions about his opinions on what's going on?
You didn't know I was going to do this today
because I don't care.
I don't care what Hot Dog's opinions are about what's going on in the Palestine-Israel conflict. I know. I barely trust him to do video, let alone geopolitical opinions.
Might match the prompt.
I believe me. I have his Instagram. I see now.
You do? Yeah. Anyway, I don't think he's ever commented.
Relax, right?
On the Palestine.
Yeah, come in and give him a pounder. Don't come in with that.
I also have Instagram, and I've never seen him. Travis, you remember before he didn't get a pounder. If Hot Dog's got any spine, no, he'll give a pounder to everybody except.
I see a lot of late nights.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Mike doesn't deserve a pounder, but a lot of Mike's bullying is based on Troy's prompt. No, he hangs out at the bar. He likes to have a good Troy's fault too.
Like he gets he falls into it.
Mike's easily to, if you give a little window open to bullying, Mike will.
But he's not like aggressively doing it.
You like to pick on people when they're not here. No, if he didn't crack the window, he wouldn't. I'm sorry. You did not know he was shenanigans.
I knew her. That's why I just asked.
Not bullying.
You found out cheeky shenanigans. Oh, well, it's cheeky shenanigans, but you unfortunately
you didn't know I was going to do this
you
today.
categorize it by like a '90s categorization of cheeky shenanigans.
Well, that's the era.
Well, you got that's true. You can't. Okay, can you change that?
Fine, I guess you got
climate tree.
That's right. That's exactly. I always say that. He should know that by now. I've tried. Yeah. Anyway,
relax, right?
So.
Yeah, come in and give a pounder. Don't come in with that.
You might not get a pounder.
At least he's not one of these ladies that are
he's worried.
In recovery.
Because he remembers before
everybody
get a pounder.
If Hot Dog's got any spine.
He'll give a pounder to everybody except Troy.
Everybody's going to love us because we're going to space and it's going to be
Mike
fun.
doesn't deserve a pounder, but a lot of Mike's bullying is
based on Troy's prompts. So
and then the FAA
like he gets
comes out with a statement as if it's necessary easily to
just so everybody knows.
If you give a little window
Katy
open
Perry
to
and Gayle
bullying,
King are not
astronauts.
I mean, but he's not like aggressively doing it.
And it's like that's not what they
needed. No, if you didn't crack the window,
already getting. I mean, Wendy's was dunking on him. Everybody
was.
That's right.
And then the FAA goes, also, they're not astronauts no matter what they say or what they want you to believe.
But you, unfortunately,
and it's not cool, categorize it by like
Frosties.
a 90s
I've never seen Kesha drink cheeky shenanigans. Wendy's telling the spaceship to bring Katy Perry back. You can't leave her in space.
Can you change that?
You can't get a fish to climb a tree.
That's not cool. That's exactly. I always say that. It says, and it doesn't even say the Daily Mail posts this article, and it doesn't even say the women who went up. It says, I mean, Katy Perry and what's-her-face Sanchez.
At least he's not one of these ladies
Sanchez, right? In recovery.
Are not astronauts.
After everybody dunked on him for
going
to
space.
You didn't even mention anybody else on it. It's just like everybody's going to love us because we're going to space.
Katy Perry and Lawrence Sanchez are
and we're
not
about being astronauts. And it's going to be
FAA
great.
rules.
And then
the
Blue Origin crew
comes out with a statement
because the ship was entirely controlled.
Going, hey, just so everybody knows.
Rules are rules.
Katy Perry and Gayle King
go back to the point we brought up yesterday,
in any way, shape, or form.
Which is them referring to themselves as the crew.
They were already getting passengers.
Wendy's was dunking on them. Everybody was.
But and then the FAA goes, also, they're not astronauts,
they don't
no matter
need
what
this.
they say or what they want you to
Blue
believe.
Origin tweeted,
and it's not cool. Kesha's drinking Frosties. I've never seen Kesha drink a Frosty. Wendy's telling the spaceship to bring Katy Perry back,
passengers
leave her in
really
space.
Astronauts at all.
Oh, now the Daily Mail all of a sudden does research. See, it says it's now all of a sudden they're defining. The Daily Mail posts this article, and it doesn't even say
this makes the women ineligible for astronaut status.
Instead, they're technically classified as
what's-her-face Sanchez,
Lawrence Sanchez, right? Which feels like it was just designed. It's like you can't say it without being condescending.
Anybody else on
it's just like
traveler? It feels like an attack.
Hey,
Katy Perry and Lawrence Sanchez traveling space travelers. FAA rules,
and then
say
the Blue Origin crew don't qualify because the ship was entirely controlled.
Oh, now they're getting into their
rules are rules.
It does go back to the point we brought up yesterday, which is them referring to themselves as the crew.
But they're just like, no matter what they say, you can call them space travelers, but not astronauts.
Yeah. They don't need this.
Rocket is operated from
this
ground, flies autonomously from launch.
Included.
This means nobody on board would have the opportunity to demonstrate any activity beyond floating around and enjoying
now the
view.
Daily Mail all of a sudden does research.
Feels like an editorial.
Now all of a sudden they're defining things, huh? But it's also not incorrect.
This makes the women ineligible for astronaut status. Instead, they're technically classified
as, they thought they were going to go up there and people were going to go,
oh man, it's so amazing what you guys did. Let's get your perspective.
Which feels like it was just designed.
And instead, they came down, they're like, oh my God, space was amazing.
Hey,
the whole world was like,
shut up.
Hey, you guys do any more space traveling? Space travelers?
Harry.
And then poor Gayle King.
And then you scroll down.
I just memed up and down.
They wrote something.
She said,
I feel like they're.
She said she was.
Oh, now they're getting into their
getting on the spaceship.
When
everybody was memeing her because she had her scared face as she was walking on. Which they're just like, no matter what they say, you think they're call them space travelers, but kill a bunch of billionaires in space. Like, what are you worried about? So rocket is operated from 10 minutes. Ground, flies. There's nothing autonomously from launch. Katy Perry's on
nobody on board.
This is not would have the opportunity to demonstrate any activity beyond floating around and as you look around the view, and you're like, oh no. It feels like an editorial.
This is the one that's not coming back. But it's not.
Why am I here?
Yeah, because you look out the window and you realize that everyone's significant others are more powerful than they are.
But they thought they were going to go up there and people were going to go,
look out the window.
It's so amazing what you guys did.
Everybody's
perspective.
And instead,
Legolas, everybody's like,
oh my God, space was amazing.
Yeah. And the whole world was even there.
Shut up.
Just stop. Jeff Bezos.
You suck.
Jeff Bezos is out there tripping over his shoes.
And then poor Gayle King is getting memed up and down because she said she was legit
crying out of embarrassment.
When everybody was memeing her because she had her scared face as she was walking on.
Oprah's out there, and you're looking out there going like, is it us?
You think or is it Legolas,
just
Oprah, and
kill
Jeff
a bunch
Bezos?
Of billionaires in space? Like, what are you worried about?
Definitely Legolas, Oprah, and Jeff Bezos.
We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Oh no,
there's nothing to be concerned about here.
But she went back on her space
somehow, and this is amazing.
I mean, I'd be scared
within the same week of space travel.
Hated somebody
she had
on
recovered
ship.
from her journey.
That's why I heard from Katy Perry,
and you're like, oh,
it was a journey. Oh
okay?
no! This is the one.
It wasn't
that's
a
not
trip.
coming back.
It wasn't. It was a journey.
Why am I here?
And somehow Gayle
you
King
look out the
had
window and you realize that everyone's
significant others
that she was able
are
to
more
go
powerful
back to hosting CBS
and you're like,
Morning.
uh-oh.
You look out the window
in the same week,
and everybody's like, which I would have thought you'd have to
Legolas. Everybody likes Legolas better than Katy Perry.
You'd have to come down, figure out how to eat normal food again. Like, oh man,
Jeff Bezos. When you get used to no gravity up there,
it's
crazy
being
being
pulled
tripping
back down
over
to
his shoes.
But
This
Oprah's
Gayle
out
King
there.
is a champion. And she was able to get back to work, sitting on the couch.
Crying out of embarrassment.
Yapping it up.
Ow!
And she brought on with her the
actual
space lady.
Oprah's out there, and you're looking out there going like, is it us?
Who works at NASA.
Or is it Legolas, Oprah, and Jeff Bezos?
On Gayle's part.
It's definitely Legolas, Oprah, and Jeff Bezos.
If I bring in the actual NASA person and go, no, we're the serious people. But she went back
me
on
and
her.
Me and
somehow,
the NASA person.
And this is
amazing
to
me.
We're doing this for real.
Yeah, how come Katie's not doing it?
She had recovered from her journey, because that's what I heard from Katy Perry. It was a journey.
I'd love to have Katy Perry on the show. If anybody's listening,
it wasn't.
I'd love to have
Katy Perry on to talk about her space.
And somehow
Gayle King had recovered enough from her journey.
My mistake.
That she was able to go back to hosting CBS Morning.
Troy.
In the same
only
week.
when it's AI.
Which I would have thought you'd have to
in real life. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
but you'd have to come down, figure out how to eat normal food again. Like, oh man, when you get used to no gravity up there, it's crazy being pulled back down.
Isn't that going to cost you an arm and a leg?
But
I got the subscription.
This Gayle King is a champion.
You don't have to deal
she
with
was able to
artists.
get back to work, sitting on the couch, yapping it up.
So Gayle King
she brought on with her
the show, and
Gayle
King also used this moment to be like, hey,
from the truth.
Also, stop making fun of us.
Who works at NASA?
That device, so more people could do research
on Gayle's part.
On New Shepard.
She's like, I'll
so
get a
what
little
do you
bit of
think
credibility.
when people say, oh,
if
it's
I bring in
frivolous,
the
number one, they
actual
call it a
NASA
ride,
person,
which
no,
I
we're the
find very
serious
irritating, because
people.
they never
me and
say
her,
men
me and the
went for a
NASA person,
ride.
we hang out.
What do you say to people?
We're doing this for real.
Yeah, how come Katie's
You know what's the best strategy always?
Everybody's dunking on her.
Announce what you find irritating
I'd love
when
to
it comes
Katy Perry
to
on the
people
show.
teasing
If
you.
anybody's listening,
that way
I'd love to have Katy Perry on to talk about her space trip.
I find it very irritating when people say it's a ride. What do you mean, that ride you went on?
I'm not the bully.
By the way, everybody made fun of the first Troy.
Of course they did.
Flight.
Only
All
when
the
it's
Blue
AI.
Origin
Flights get made fun of.
Dick
In real life,
he's a great guy.
Exactly.
But there's something
It's
about
been a
that
Dick
AI
Rocket
that brings
from
out
day
the worst
one.
in him.
He gets silly. Oh, look at Bezos going. He's barely in space.
He's barely in space. It's a ride. It's a rich person
Isn't
thing
that
that
going to
they're
cost you an
doing
arm
for
and a leg?
fun. Everybody's been making fun of these forever.
You don't have to
It's
deal with
just
the
on
artists.
this one.
Oh, great.
You've got people.
So
who
Gayle
are
King
already
had her on the
hateable,
show, and Gayle
just
King also
saying
used this
the
moment
worst
to be like,
stuff
"Hey,
that you could say."
Also, stop making
after.
fun of us.
And if you're talking about
William
That
Shatner,
device, so more
no
people
one
could
is
do
making
research
fun of William Shatner.
on New Shepard.
Like,
So what do
he
you
could
think
say
when
literally
people say,
anything.
oh, it's frivolous,
He could
number
get
one,
off
they
that
call it a
spaceship and
ride,
say
which I
anything.
find very
And we're like,
irritating,
we
because
love you,
they
William
never say
Shatner.
men went for a
But that's a
ride.
William Shatner.
What do you say to
that crosses all gender bounds.
You know what's the best strategy
Instead,
always?
they're like, well, this must be sexism.
Announce
because I'm beloved.
what you find irritating when it comes to
It's not
people
me.
teasing
People
you.
love me.
Because that way they'll